to Mobile Legends.
Yeah, I was building on the lecture.
5 seconds till the enemy reaches the battlefield.
Working on the plot and the scheme. The true style trademark is at the edge of your dreams. I'm talking one shot for the kill. The beast come freeze up, straight drop for the kill. Taking out the pieces and shares. A ball with the sky high. Check the movement is here. Yeah, it's one shot. Now the future is yours. Go.
Legendary!
Habol dito, Raflisha, buhay pa rin. May labang papatay dyan galing sa ONIC. And it's gonna be ang sunod. Ito na ba ang pagbangon ng api? Naku po, si Jay, yung gulo.
Pero here comes the initiation. Wala nang gusyon.
Yes, wala nang puso ka may mawawala pa. Sino nga ba yun? JT to mukhang makakatakas. Pasok o may Venus flicker in. Ganon kalupit ang reyna ng ONIC. Wala siyang pake. Pero may kasigas below despite the...
Oh my! Napapalibutan lang namin! Napapalibutan na po!
Ito na nga ba? Malalaman na ba natin ang kampiyon sa
Oh my goodness!
Flicker out si Few. Ito na, mga kaibigan, ang unang ng... Oh, naku po!
Tinamaan na naman!
May magnet, tol! Ito muna siguro, dahil si Renny J sa likod, siya na lang pa. Almost a wipeout. Is it a wipeout? It may be. This is looking very strong. So with the bread of the ocean, double kill. Yung Lancelot, pero si Huilta muna yung nawala. Sino ang bawala?
Wala si H2!
Ang bida nagpabubugbog daw sa una, pero ito nakakaya dahil ang NXP Solid ay unti-unting nawawala. Si
Magandang hapon at mabuhay Pilipinas, and to everyone watching from all over the world. Welcome to MPL-PH Season 6 Playoffs. Before we start the show, we would like to thank our sponsors and partners making this all happen. Thank you so much to Smart, our official telco partner. Squad up and rank up and keep up with your favorite teams as Smart powers up your game with free games for all. Get up to 14 gig for Mobile Legends and Facebook Gaming for 7 days. Simply download the new GigaLife app and choose free games. Thank you as well to Realme. The Realme 7 series is now available nationwide. Join the revolution and own the fastest charging smartphone in the country. Like and follow Realme on social media to know more. Thank you as well to our official sponsor, Gillette. Get free diamonds with purchase of Gillette's Mach 3 Razor, Vector 3 Razor, or Blue 3 Simple 4s pack in select Pure Gold doors nationwide. As well, our partner in esports, PayMaya. Get free 50 pesos credits for PayMaya when you download and register using the code MLBB. Terms and conditions apply. Thank you as well to TikTok, our partner in esports. You can watch the MPL-PH Season 6 playoffs live via TikTok, kaya download na. And as well, thank you so much to our official gaming headset partner, Logitech G, here like a pro. This is all powered by Moonton, and just in case you didn't know, now you know. We've got an awesome event coming up right after the MPL, starting October 26th to November 13. You can get your hands on this limited edition skin from for Terizla from Moonton for free. All right, just follow the in-game instructions. Make sure you log in, play, and get your spins. After 10 spins, it's a guaranteed skin. So get in on that. All right. So once more, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the panelist desk. It's an awesome pre-show here for you. My name is Leo. Kasama natin dito ngayon, Chin Valdez at Paolo Expert. And boys, today we are about to make history. These matchups, they spell so much. Sobrang action-packed niya. Pinag-uusapan pa lang natin. Kinikilabutan na ako. But first, let's look back at the days that have come to pass. Kahapon, NXP versus BREN.
Yes.
Aura versus ONIC. The stories tell themselves. You were there, Chin.
Yeah.
Kumusta ang day 2 ng playoffs?
Actually, I was actually expecting more sana from yesterday, like from both games. Like, I didn't expect a 3-0 day.
Yeah.
As in 3-0 and then 3-0. Parang, what? Talaga? Ba't ganun yung nangyari? I was expecting a little bit more. Pero, I think ano din like some of the teams that even made it through from yesterday, they were still holding back pa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And-
So I think they have more prepared pa. Like I'm sure naman na ONIC didn't prepare just for ONIC didn't prepare just for Aura. I'm sure they prepared for everyone else here in the playoffs. So I think meron pa silang mga ibang strategies na tinatago. As well as BREN, of course. I think they wouldn't unleash their secret weapon just yet.
Yeah.
Dahil nga na 3-0 nila yung kalaban nila kahapon, di ba? Wala silang kailangan bagong ipakita kung gumagana naman yung draft nila.
Both BREN and ONIC.
Yes. So they could still be hiding something talaga, no? May pinakita si Madam Venus na bago, I guess, with the Eudora, yung BREN kadita.
Yes,
That's something new.
Yeah.
Yes. Pero there's more. Katulad ng sinabi ni Carl Tizzi sa interview nila, that is not yet 100%. That is not BREN's 100% yet.
But you know what is 100%? I mean, mababanggitin to mamaya. Carl Tizzi is actually 100% win rate on Lancelot.
Wow. 12 games, tama?
Yep, there you go. The numbers speak for themselves. But speaking of numbers, we are looking to fill these out, ladies and gentlemen. Today, we are going to be witnessing the semi-finals. Magsimula tayo sa Execration versus Omega. It's going to be a best of 5. And then later on, ONIC versus BREN. It's going to be the battle of black and yellow. Sino nga ba talaga ang tunay na malakas? Yep, and sino nga ba talaga ang mas malupit na 3-0? To be honest, I think yesterday, kasama mo si Midnight,
Yes.
Despite the 3-0, I think it's safe to say that we were all expecting so much more from NXP.
Right.
And even in the post-show discussions, even in the Facebook statuses, lahat na pinag-uusapan, parang now that they're out of the playoffs, we're looking back and saying, parang meron nga talaga sa NXP. Like, there could have been more. I mean, putting aside all of the threats of a new metagame shift, of new strategies that may come out, parang we kind of miss the potential that could come out from this rookie team.
Well, you could look at it this way. Pati rin naman ng Aura na 3-0 din sila ng
Yes,
ng ONIC,
yes.
di ba?
Yes.
So, we could say naman na baka same caliber at hindi mahina ang Aura. Actually, napakalakas din ng Aura, di ba? Super team din yun. Pero na 3-0 sila.
Yeah.
So, who are we to say na hindi malakas ang NXP?
Yeah. I have a question for you, Paolo.
What is that?
I'm wondering if you agree with me here. Hindi day 1 ang day of upsets. Day 2 ang day of upsets.
Day 2.
Diba?
Yes.
Sobrang
yes.
lapit ng mga laban nung day 1. Again, game 5, every single series. Yesterday, hindi man lang natin nakita yung defending champions make a comeback, at least give a single game out, right? And then same thing with NXP, our hotshot rookies, diba? It's their first time in the MPL. It's the rookie season, despite them being around the scene for quite a while. They've been trying to break out through the qualifiers. Pero nandito yung yung nag-iisang malakas lang, 'di ba? BREN esports. How do you feel about that?
Actually, super surprised ako sa ONIC versus Aura results.
More that one.
Yeah. Hindi siya upset, but the fact na 3-0 ng ONIC yung Aura is what makes it so surprising and mind-boggling, di ba? Yung next play versus BREN naman, actually, I was really waiting for that new meta that they've been stating. Right?
And
I really thought they did have it. Right?
It's not even for the memes anymore. Literally,
Yes,
we were
yes.
expecting it. Kasi kung ilalabas nila yon, dito yon.
Yeah.
Right at game number 3 to clutch 4 and 5.
Yeah, because that's like your last breath in the playoffs, right? To live and keep going in the
Yep.
playoffs.
Do or die, right? Do or
Yes,
die.
do or die.
But because of that, ladies and gentlemen, ito na nga ang ating magiging semifinals. Execration versus Omega and BREN Esports versus ONIC. Let's get to know our first matchup. Here is Execration. Ladies and gentlemen, Execration pegged as possibly the most chaotic team coming out of the playoffs. Nung naglaban sila ng Signal Ultra nung day 1 dito sa playoffs, we called it the Battle of Order versus Chaos. But with this lineup right here, I'd like to change that. I think it's less of chaos. It's more of just harnessed energy. Kasi malakas talaga yung team na to eh, right?
Yes, yes.
In addition to their coach coming back into the boot camp, being physically there, helping out Hate, Benny Cutie, Sagitnu, Eto Max, Chaknu, and Zapnu, parang yung Game 5 series nila against Signal really showed that it's not just off of their pop-offs. Kaya din nila lumaban when it comes to just hard strategy, drafting, and just good team fights. Paolo, you're the one who keeps saying they're now so focused on the team fight.
Yes, I do agree. Etong execration kasi guys, napaka-focus nila on team fight. They're not like a methodical team, you could say. They like building their draft for team fights, all right? And for late game, kaya nga yung stats nila, pag nag-late game, most likely mananalo sila because they build for that draft, right? So that's their win condition, okay? Win team fights, don't let the enemy team microplay you.
One more thing I think that came out of the playoffs na ngayon lang natin napansin, Chin, sila lang ang kayang magkaroon ng side lane marksman na successful.
Right, sa kamay ni Benny Cutie, if ever, diba? Actually, this whole semifinals, I'm looking for or I'm expecting pretty solid and solid and wild drafts. If you get what I mean. Na
Just enough, just crazy enough to work.
Yes, exactly. From all 4 teams for today, actually, yun yung hinihintay ko talaga.
And Execration, they have a very deep hero pool. Again, 43 chosen and played over the regular season. But their opponents, more of the fundamentals. You'll know what I mean when we introduce them. Ladies and gentlemen, Omega. This is not Omega's first run around the block. This is a spot that they are so at home with, and to be honest, it feels like a curse. Season after season, Omega has failed to make it into the grand finals, and it's the same for Execration as well. So that introduces now a very interesting storyline, no? For sure, we're making history because one of them is going to be facing off against either BREN or ONIC for the Season 6 title. Off of the back of Hajizi, Toshi, Curtizi, Hayes, Clutch Time Kenji, and Mr. Fundamental Heath. Yan ang mga mukha ng potensyal na makakarating ng grand finals. Is it their time? Paolo, I gotta ask you, man, Toshi the other day, he was playing Alice and he was also playing Freya. One of them just did not work out.
Yeah, yung Alice medyo okay pa, but the Freya pick, it felt like it did not make a big impact. Just my opinion at least, all right? But they made it work at the end. Game 5, they got it to Game 5. I can't believe it got to Game 5 actually.
Parang save for those little things, right? They should not have made it to Game 5.
Yeah.
Parang besides the shock factor of Blacklist International's crazy off-meta draft, parang dapat nakaisa lang eh, no?
Yes.
Based on how we know Omega to perform. Very, very consistent.
A lot of people expected a 3-1 Omega actually. Okay. But dun talaga sa draft nagkatalo. Both teams, both coaches of Omega at saka ng what was it? It was who were they?
Blacklist.
Blacklist, yeah, sorry.
Bonchan.
Yes, were actually super good. Di mo talaga alam kung sino ang mananalo just based on draft. It all came down to execution at the end of the day.
Yep, despite it being a draft battle, no? Chin, I gotta ask you, man, Curtizi, he holds down his lane. So it's gonna be between Curtizi and Sagitnu in the off lane. What does that matchup look like to you?
For me, medyo ano pa rin yun eh. For me, medyo patas pa rin naman talaga. I think it's gonna come down to like their overall draft. Although, we could also say na sobrang bigat din talaga ng responsibility ngayon ng side lanes. Well, because of the new mechanic of the project next. Pero, I don't know. For me, it's a little... I think this will be a good fight. Tingin ko balanced yan, both Execration and Omega.
Yeah? I think besides it being balanced, you're the one who said it, there's a potential for it to just explode.
Right.
To just get crazy. Right?
And because to break that balance, yun talaga dapat eh. I
Dapat
mean, hindi
medyo-
pwede, kasi pag sinabi mong balance patas lang yung laban, it could go 50-50. So, hindi pwedeng 50-50. Parang sa ano lang yan like when you want to secure a lord, kailangan, di ba, iso-zone out mo muna lahat.
Yes,
Kailangan
yes, yes.
isi-secure mo yung area. Hindi pwedeng parehas kayo may retribution.
Nag-aantay lang.
Right.
Yeah.
So, parang ganun din for me. I think they have to break that balance with their draft.
Well, it's enough for us to discuss. We'll go back to some hard stats in just a bit. Pakinggan natin kung ano nga ba ang masasabi ng mga teams na to sa susunod na laban na to. And of course, their experience here in the playoffs. Let's hear from Execration and Omega.
Captain, eto Max, ikaw na ngayon yung captain. Ano naman yung journey ng Execration ngayong Season 6?
Ngayong Season 6, bago mag-start yung season, syempre sobrang excited kami dahil nga alam namin, nahanap namin yung role ng bawat isa, tsaka sobrang ganda ng performance na lumalabas sa amin. Tsaka mas nakikita ko na mas lumalakas pa yung team namin ngayon. Tsaka alam kong mas lalakas pa sa darating na playoffs.
Coach, paano naman sa'yo? Paano naman naka-apekto yung pandemic situation para sa team?
Parang 50-50 kasi meron kasing time na hirap kasi yun nga yung mga pamilya inaalala namin. Tapos nakalayo pa kami. Tapos di pa kami nakakauwi. Yung good side naman is parang hindi naman kasi nagbago sa amin. Nasa bootcamp lang kami. Kumbaga mas naging pabor pa sa amin nakapagbatak yung team eh.
Zapno, gaano ka-importante itong MPL Season 6 para sa organization mo?
Siguro, every season naman, importante talaga na manalo kami. Pagpapalagay na natin na win or loss, okay lang. Pero para sa akin, malaking bagay sa akin na lagi kami nananalo. Lalo na makuha namin tong championship na to. Since season 1, although na nag-champion na ako sa mga ibang tournament like MPC, pero gusto ko rin talaga mag-champion dito sa MPL. Since day 1. Since season 1 yan.
Para po sa akin, kumpara sa mga nakaraang season, ito yung pinaka-importante. Kasi iba na yung dinadala naming pangalan eh. Hindi na katulad dati na. Ngayon, sobrang laki na nung dala-dala naming pangalan sa MPL.
Ano gusto mong sabihin sa mga fans ninyo tsaka sa mga makakalaban nyo sa playoffs?
Sa sumusuporta sa amin simula season 1 hanggang season 6, maraming salamat, nandiyan pa rin kayo sumusuporta sa amin. Tapos doon naman sa mga kalaban namin, siguro digmaan na talaga. Dito ng mga batang pasaway.
Salamat sa mga sumuporta sa Smart Omega. Supportahan nyo lang yung Omega, lalo na this coming playoffs. Sa mga makakalaban namin, hindi kami magbibigay ng easy na panalo.
Tsaka sa mga kalaban namin siguro, may panahon pa kayo para matras.
Ramdam mo talaga yung gutom at uhaw ni Billy para dito sa kampyonato na to. He's been here for so long, since season 1, I believe, under OBS. And right here, right now, he has, I guess, the clearest path towards the championship since then.
Right.
Since then.
The best chances to get that trophy.
Kasi confirmed eh. You literally just have Omega in your way before just either BREN or ONIC, and you get to take this home.
Right.
I mean, how crazy is that na yung gustong-gusto ni Zapno, yung kailangan ni Billy ay nandito sa tabi ko. Ladies and gentlemen, on the other side, it's Kenji and Hayes. One of them actually has had this come home with them. That's Hayes.
From day 1 also.
Yes! But for Kenji though, natikman niya na yung ginto. He has taken home with his masterful show, among other things, the SEA Games 2019 gold medal for Mobile Legends Bang Bang. But this, di pa. So you really feel there how much these two teams care for this title. Chin, iba ba si Zapno nung season 1 hanggang ngayon? Is that a different Billy you see in these interviews?
I think nung season 1 kasi iba yung fire niya noon. Dito medyo mas nakikita ko siyang mas kalmado, medyo mas tamed in a way. Pero it's just inside. So feeling ko like pwede pa rin niya yun ilabas ulit.
We'll see. Maglalaro ba si Zap, no?
Then when I say na it's here lang inside din na ilalabas na, hindi naman necessarily like on the battlefield.
In game.
Yeah, not
Yes.
necessarily in game. Like he's there kahit in spirit, kahit lang ganito lang, nasa table lang sila.
Ramdam mo.
Sobrang laking ano na yan, sobrang laking influence at impact na yan for a team.
There you go. And that's something that you can't put into numbers. It's something that you can't write down. It's something you feel. And we can only really imagine how it's like at the Execration Boot Camp for one Billy Alfonso. But for now, let's look at the numbers. That's something we can actually digest, something that makes sense when you read it and look at it. It's tangible. Here we go, the head-to-head between Execration and Omega. KDA, the highest overall average through the season. And I think this is off of Hajizi. Sobrang na-skew
Yes,
ni Hajizi tong number na to.
Because he has like a 9 KDA.
Crazy.
9 point something. Okay.
Ridiculous.
Yes.
So that's definitely undeniable. Hajizi, the prodigy. Looking at their match win rate, pretty close, but Omega has the lead here. First blood counts. Omega dwarfing Execration twice as much.
Wow.
So you do 4 team fights, parang tatlo doon ang mga first blood Omega. More times than not. But look at this. What does this mean? Paolo, what does this mean whenever you see that the average team net worth difference is huge?
Yung sa Omega, ang ibig sabihin niyan, lamang sila most of the time.
Nang ganyang,
Yes,
by that amount.
By that amount, yes. Sa Execration naman, they always have close games. That's why
keep
that's
it tight.
the team net worth difference, yes. Kaya nga most ng games nila, it goes to late game. Most of their games go to late game. And that's what these stats show, okay?
And I think we'll see it in the next slide wherein this point was brought up. I think it's closely tied to the average team net worth difference. Execration likes to play the 50-50 near the Lord.
Yes, I agree. Yes. Nagagamble sila sa Lord. Katulad ng nakita ng mga tao against Exe versus Signal, where Hades actually stole the Lord many times.
Yep.
Where Exe, dapat sinecure muna nila yung vicinity and they should have been sure about getting the Lord. Make sure na walang retribution yung Signal before getting the Lord, na may man advantage sila.
They have eyes on Hades.
Yes, and zoning potential to secure the Lord. But they keep gambling, making the games and the series closer.
Yep. Hence the difference being very little, 800 gold, give or take.
Yeah.
And their 25% Lord per game, or 0.25. So they get it less times than they do.
Yes.
Despite their higher than average win rate, around 60%. Turtle control rate, Omega rin eh. So this shows that Omega is able to really set it up for Hajizi.
Yeah, this just shows that Omega, like I said earlier, actually I said that Execration is more of a team fight-oriented team. Etong Omega naman, guys, methodical. They're more on objectives. Their microplay is amazing, all right? And that's what also these stats show. Kaya mas marami silang turtle, more lords as well. But this actually surprises me. Mas marami yung heroes na ginagamit ng Exe kumpara sa Omega, as you can see.
Yep, and I think day 1, 43 lang ito sa Execration. So somewhere during the playoffs, they brought out a new hero. It's hard to remember now.
It was Leo.
It was a Leomord.
So that's
there you go. Yes.
Leo.
I don't play Leomord, but yes. Leomord making a showing though in the playoffs.
Yes.
So far, day 1 and 2. Lumalabas na. And it's becoming more consistent. Chin, your thoughts on Leomord, since it will not show up in any team's hero picks na top, di ba? Kasi nga, medyo nagka-comeback pa lang siya. So what does this say for the remaining days of the playoffs?
Earlier, we were talking about how we can break the balance, di ba? So for me, if you have a bigger hero pool, medyo mas pwede ka maglaro sa draft. If you get what I mean. So if you, feeling ko mas may chance na maglabas ka ng crazy na draft kapag mas malaki din yung hero pool mo. With that Leomord out, being used also by BREN, feeling ko nga baka ano lang yun eh, baka hindi nila talaga pinanong gamitin ng si Leomord, but since it had such good performance in the previous games.
It showed up.
Oo, kasi nakita ko na nung pipili na sila nung last pick nila, nagtatawanan pa sila nun eh. It was more like, sige, ito na lang, try nga natin. Parang ganun.
And I actually wanted to point out that this Leomord pick is nothing new. This actually originated from Basic. And yes, I know people know that me and Basic have had our feuds, but
A
I will
history?
a history, but I will give credit where it's due.
Yep.
Okay? Sa kanya nag-originate yung funnel Leo. Sa M1 namin ginamit yan, but we lost, but still it showed there.
It's a thing.
Yes, but also in qualifiers, Basic actually did that funnel Leo. So yeah, that's where it originated from.
Yep, real quick, the slide before this one was a look at the recent history and the distant past of One Execration and Omega. So again, I mentioned these teams have been here for quite a while and they've always been stuck at the top 4, at the semis. But today, isa sa kanila ang aakyat. And right now, look at this head-to-head. It's going to be the Chak Mamba versus Mr. Fundamental. It's Heath. And with this being said, mas mababa ang KDA ni Chakno, but you'll agree with me, boys. Paolo, Chin, yung laro ni Chakno hindi mo mailalagay sa numero.
Exactly. Ibang klase yan eh. Like, sometimes kasi, some of the real MVP plays, hindi siya sa kill or nasa assist eh. It's more of yung kahit yung sa presence mo lang sa map or like what you're actually doing on the battlefield.
Yung kay Chakno, guys, kaya mas mababa yung KDA niya is because he's trying to make plays. Okay? That's what he specializes in. He tries to make plays. Ito namang si Hit, guys, he specializes in opening up the map and giving vision. Yun yung maganda kay Heath. We call him Mr. Fundamental for a reason. So that's the difference between these two tank players.
Yep. And I like how Mr. Fundamental is actually making up for his relatively smaller hero pool no regular season. No? During day 1 of the playoffs, naglabas siya ng bagong hero.
Yes. Baxia and Akai.
Yeah. Dati naalala natin, Hilda, Cho, and Johead lang.
Those 3 are his specialized heroes.
Now, fighter tanks lang.
Yeah, mostly fighter tanks.
And now he has 5. So how do you draft against that? Remember, there was a key to victory for their opponents in Blacklist. Diba? Parang block mo si Heath.
Oh, deny pick mo.
Yeah.
Huwag mo siyang papiliin ng tank.
Yeah.
Ubusan mo siya.
Paano na? How now?
Yeah, it's hard to do it now. So,
So I'm pretty sure that's what Coach Sire is considering, and that's another thing we can think about, right? Coach Sire versus Coach Dale. Parehong veterano yan. And looking at our lane predictions here, for sure, this is what we can see. Unless merong going kakaiba ang exe, diba, Chin?
Right,
Just
right.
crazy enough to work. But looking at this, Benny Cutie in the gold lane, I want to focus on this. Execration, the only team in the playoffs to pull off the 1-2-2 to some success. Why do you think that is, Paolo?
well, yung kinalaban rin nila, same setup eh. So nagma-marksman rin yung signal eh. So same setup. So we don't know how this is gonna go against on like a two fighter offlaner or 2 mages offlaner. It depends on what you draft. Okay? And actually Midnight posted something about this na sinasabi niya yung playstyle ng mga Filipino pro MLBB players, it might not fit the way that, you cannot integrate the Indo draft into the Filipino playstyle. But
Not so easily.
Yeah, not so easily.
The next matchup, we'll talk about that when it happens. Parang doon, may potential.
Yes.
But from these two teams, yun ang nagiging parang wild card effect, right?
Tama.
That's the thing that we can expect. Benny Cutie with a marksman, and Toshi. I'm really crossing fingers here. Toshi also might pop off with his marksman. The Omega lineup coming at you right here. Gold lane. That's where he plays his Alice, and I think the Freya, we don't want to talk about it too much,
Yes.
wasn't very good. Chin, you remember the days, right? When he would play
yes.
Granger, he does a
Exactly,
good
yes.
Claude.
Right.
Lilia, pero mas malapit yung Lilia sa Alice. Do you think Omega has the potential to do that here?
I think they'll have to. I think they would have to. I think yung mismong project next, like the whole patch and this whole everything that happened to the battlefield, feeling ko yun na yung magiging bagong meta eh. Like yung talagang yung marksman gold lane. I mean, first game against Blacklist, they lost to a marksman gold lane. You get what I mean? Feeling ko talaga, nung linabas nung Blacklist yung ganong klaseng strategy, yung ganong klaseng rotation, that's bound to be the new meta here right now for this particular patch in Mobile Legends at least.
And if not, try it. Siguro, just do their best, like they did, again, against Blacklist, to just not care and play their game. Right?
Yes. Yun rin yung isang nakita ko sa Omega is they were composed even though they got shocked the first game.
Right. Yep. And I'm guessing Execration might have that kind of potential. Not in their draft. All credit to Coach Saire, not in their draft, more in their execution, right? Execution, they got the execution, and one way to do that is you have to have Hate step up. He's not as consistent as Hajizi, but if you funnel and you channel the Hate well enough, gagana yan para sa execution. You gotta take advantage of OMG's draft prioritization. What does this mean, Paolo?
Dun sa take advantage of OMG's draft prioritization, we noticed na nung kinalaban nila yung Blacklist, puro fighters yung dinadraft nila sa una. Pinaprioritize nila yung mga fighters. So this might be an opportunity for Exit to take advantage of that and maybe, again, ban out Heath kahit na may 2 additional extra heroes siya. Maybe. It could be a possibility.
Yeah, force the choke, right? I mean,
Yes.
you have 5 bans to do that with, and you have your own picks. So that's what it means. Also, don't go for gambles. Play patiently. Wag ninyong pilitin yung 50-50 sa Lord. Do not have that happen again, especially with the Hades situation. Dito, I'm guessing it's with the Hajizi situation now.
Yes,
and the Haze, it's just as likely to happen.
Yeah.
Haze, Hajizi, and even Heath. Also, know their win conditions. Ibig sabihin ba nito, make use of their scaling draft? Kasi parang doon sila malakas. Di ba parati natin sinabi, pagkatapos sila mag-draft, uy, maganda late game nito.
Oh,
Right,
tama.
right.
Oh. So that's what the win condition means. So most likely than not, they will most likely play hopefully passive early to mid game and then get to late game so that their scaling will take advantage of OMG.
If not passive, at least disciplined.
Yes, discipline.
Yes, passive is a little bit of a weak word.
You don't want to be bullied
Yes,
in lane.
yes.
there you
Stand
go.
your ground, and I think Sagitnu will put his foot down against Curtizi, pero sa totoo lang nakakatakot si Curtizi. Right?
Yeah.
Mechanical prodigy there, but last but not least, the key to the victory. Guys, alam nyo na to eh. Walang explanation na kailangan dito. The Chak Mamba mentality.
Talagang parang Kobe Bryant yan.
Oo. I
Mamba
mean,
mentality.
we lost Kobe earlier this year, but Chakno is honoring the man. All right?
Right.
Yes.
Ibang klase. The way he plays the map, parang hindi tank eh. It's crazy. He's able to
I
block.
know,
He's
man.
able to block out and make plays that no tank should.
Parang actually tank user siya, 'di ba? Pero
Yes.
parang yung playstyle niya or yung the way he sees the enemy, parang siyang assassin.
Assassin eh. Hindi mo alam kung saan susulpot eh.
It's crazy. And in the regular season, one of his strengths were like his angles, right? The
Yeah.
attacks that he's able to make. Maximum range for jumps, for initiates. But over the course of day one's playoffs, to be fair, five games yun. So talaga kailangan mo mag-step up. He showed us something new. And I'm excited to see what he'll be bringing out here. And of course, we're going to be talking about Omega's keys to victory. Number one, keep their composure. How do you do that? Well, you have the most fundamentally sound team in the MPL right now.
Yes.
And just make sure you keep that all together. To be honest, I've never seen Omega go just haywire. Parati naman silang kalmado eh. Kudos to Signal Ultra daw sila rin, but Omega is the same.
Yes, after that shocking Blacklist game number 1 against them,
Safe
they
pa rin eh.
still played composed. They're still disciplined. Hindi sila naapektado sa talo nila sa Blacklist sa game 1. I was so surprised about that. And good mentality na ginawa ni Coach Dale and sa mga players niya. Very well played.
Here's an interesting point though. Back to, and I think they can both come in together and be explained concisely. You gotta shut down Benny Cutie instead of Hate, and expect a farm Benny Cutie in the gold lane. Chin, paano nila gagawin to?
Again, I have to say it again. I think they can do it sa draft. Like sa drafting alone.
Doon nila simulan.
Oo, kasi I think Pao mentioned this, yung ginawa ng Blacklist nun. It was a 1-2-2 or 2-2-1. Pero in a sense, it was like a pseudo 3-1-1.
3-1-1, yes.
Diba? So, pag ganun, I think if you have more people there, like on that lane, lalo na sa early game, we're all in the same level anyway, mas madali mo siyang masya-shutdown. And also to add lang din, instead of Hate also, kasi let's face it, meron talaga siyang tendencies right now to be very, very, very inconsistent. It's either he's on or he's off.
To not be there.
Okay, so there's that chance na he won't be there. Diba? So another thing you could do is, aside from Benny Cutie, is just always have an idea of where Chakno is. Kahit yung ano lang, even if you just watch his videos, you'll know eh. You'll know kung saan yung mga favorite bush niya.
Tendencies.
Yes,
Mga habits niya, no? Habits.
Yes, exactly.
Habitat ni Chakno.
Oh,
where the Chak Mamba hangs out, right?
Right, exactly.
Okay. All right. And one more key to victory here is to avoid brawl-type team fights, which I think is what Execration does well.
Yes.
So, iwas na lang.
Thief. Oh, avoid it.
And last but not least, focus on objectives. Now, this one's a little harder given that Execration is going to be all in on you. At least 3 or 4 of them, with Chakno possibly behind real quick. It's going to be hard to focus on objectives. But, real quick, Paolo, explain to us, what does that mean to focus on objectives?
Ito kasing X mahilig silang mag-group up. Lalo na pag nagagank sila. Okay? Their microplay is not as good as Omega, as BREN. Like I said, they're not as methodical. But it's not necessarily a bad thing, all right? It's just a strength that they have, okay? The methodical play, that's, I would say it's more Indo style in the methodical play, and then more PH style on the team fight type of way. But yeah, that's what I mean by focus on objectives. Just keep their methodical mentality for OMG.
Yeah. If anything, there's a real big difference here. I think Omega is more strategic. Kasi papasok pa lang sila sa draft, alam na ni Dale kung anong gagawin niya eh. On the other hand, Syre, leading Execration, they're more tactical. They make the decisions as they come. Just like, again, as tactical as it gets. Do we go 50-50, coach? I don't know if Syre's call, right?
Yeah.
Chances are, or maybe even Chakno's call. Siguro sabi ni Chakno, sige, take it. Because, to be fair, as risky as it is, ladies and gentlemen, Chakno has stolen a Lord.
Yes,
This
yes,
playoffs.
yes. Sa Signal, na last hit niya yung Lord with Kufra, I believe.
With concussive blast.
Yeah.
For sure, it was off of a...
Or the ulti, I'm not sure.
or a basic. Just Pwede naman. But yeah, that being said, ladies and gentlemen, sobrang init ang laban na to. Hopefully, you can stay with us for just a little bit more. We are setting up the draft. We'll be throwing it over to our casters very, very soon. But for now, we're going to be asking you guys to share the stream and, of course, support your favorite teams. Hashtag #ExeShot and hashtag OMG. Because I'm expecting today, mapapasigaw tayo lahat ng OMG regardless of what happens.
I think so too.
I gotta ask, like, do you see a number? Kasi earlier today, we were talking about it, how much we were expecting at least a 3-1 from both series, from day 2. Dito, now that we have a more solid semifinals and we discussed the potential factors that will be coming into this matchup, meron ba kayo nakitang number? Game 5? Paolo?
Ako, I think it's gonna be a 3-1 for Omega. Only because, kasi, nahirapan ang Exe sa Signal, which is considered I'm not saying Signal is weak, but, you know, considering that they're in the bottom of the bracket, they should have done better. And then Exe is on the top of the bracket. The groups, I mean, they should have done better, right?
Right. So, 3-1.
Yes.
Okay, real quick, Chin, you have a number for us?
Not really. I'm thinking baka I think I'm still looking for a game 5, I think.
Oh, okay.
Game 5?
For Omega and Execration. I don't know. Like,
you can't say.
I don't know, pal.
Okay.
Kung Execration or Omega.
All right.
I think I mentioned this before we started, pero for me, I think Execration is stronger.
Ibang klase, no?
I think mas malakas ang yun na, yung isa sa mga keys to win nila is if Hate steps up, right? If that happens, tingin ko matatalo ang Omega.
I agree. There's a big chance. Yeah, I do agree. But if Hate keeps playing the way he does, I just don't see
We'll
it.
see.
We'll see.
I'm so nervous for Hate. Ladies and gentlemen, simulan na natin to. Wag na nating patagalin pa. It's going to be a best of 5 between Execration and Omega. Are you ready? Here we go.
Hashtag ExeShot.
Hashtag ExeShot.
Hashtag ExeShot.
ExeShot.
Hashtag ExeShot.
Omega non.
Go Omega. Go Omega non. One big fight.
Let's go Omega. Omega non.
OMG.
Go Smart Omega! Omega nun!
Hashtag ExeShot versus hashtag OMG. For the first time in forever, isa sa kanila ang makakarating sa Grand Finals. Kami po ang inyong mga kasama for today. Ako si Manjit Faldas. Kasama ko ngayon si Rob Luna. Rob Luna, gaano ka ka-excited para sa laban na to?
Excited. Bukod sa excited, kinakabahan at the same time. Kasi, kumbaga, sa mga lumang format natin do MPL, ladies and gentlemen, this is para na rin siyang upper and lower bracket finals. Wala tayong upper and lower, pero ganito yung pakiramdam.
Yes, nag-agree ako sa iyo dyan. Yung pakiramdam na pwede ka nang agad matanggal, and naramdaman to actually ng dalawang teams natin nung Thursday. Which is actually pwede ring advantage para sa kanila dahil pwede nilang aralin bigla yung alam nilang next na makakalaban ng isang araw. So for sure, nagkaroon ng preparation itong dalawa. Unlike sa mga teams na nanalo kahapon.
Totoo, I agree.
Diba? Ang BREN at saka ONIC, isang gabi lang ang preparation. Pero dito, I think, Rob Luna, napag-usapan dito ng ating mga panelists na baka umabot na naman tayo ng 2-day event.
Yes, exactly. Parang hanggang alauna. So make sure, ladies and gentlemen, na naka-ready na. Yung kung bukod yung snack nyo ngayong hapon, meron na rin kayong pang midnight snack. Kasi talagang mainit itong magiging laban natin dito. Shot and Omega. Omega nun pa nga yung iba eh.
Yung iba eh, kasi talagang nabibilib. Napapa-OMG sila sa galaw ng Omega. For sure, marami tayong mga fans na in-scan na yung mga QR codes na nakita nila kanina for the execration side and ngayon naman sa Omega side para mapakita ang inyong suporta para dito sa dalawang teams na to. Gusto ko yung pinag-uusapan ng mga panelists natin kanina na ang daming kailangan i-check nitong dalawang teams na to para makuha nila ang victory. Para sa execution, kailangan nila yung win condition lagi nila ng late game. Omega naman, medyo iba yung style nila eh. Hindi sila yung type na gera eh. Mostly, sa lahat ng stats na nakita natin, low-scoring game lagi ang Omega.
Oo.
Madalas.
That's
Oo.
where nga yung fundamental na nanggaling kay Heat. Kasi para kung iisipin mo kasi, execration, they are superior in terms of team fight.
Oo.
Pero most of the time, the team fight happens around mid to late game.
Oo.
Pero kasi yung early game advantage ng Omega, yun yung literal na lamang nila dito for execution as they are the one who makes the tempo, and if Omega could be able to hold it up until mid-game, kadalasan sinasasara na nila yung laro from there. So, execution dito, kung nakita natin or nabasa doon sa mga parang winning condition nila, meron silang part doon that they need, or rather, yung Omega, meron sila doon na kailangan nila i-shutdown si Benny QT, and for execution naman, kailangan mag-step up ni Hate.
Yeah, ang daming mga actually feeling ko hindi lang din si Ben Cutie at saka si Hate parang this time pag nasa semifinals ka na, parang lahat na kayo dapat mag-step up no? Siguro may mga pangalan lang tayo na nakikita na again madalas na, for example sa side ng execution, they're really depending on the damage output ni Hate na medyo pag dumadating sa game siya talaga yung tina-target ng mga kalaban. Kasi alam nila na yun talaga yung power Tapos for the side of Omega naman, makikita natin dito na may isang game na si Heat for the first time na bronze.
Oo.
Natanso. So may mga teams naman din na tina-target siya.
Yes. And makikita din natin yun sa draft. Kasi kumbaga, had GC, yes, one of the top KDA natin, but that only happens if Heat and Haze are working well in the early game. The losses na nakuha ng Omega, those were the times na na-shutdown si Heat.
Tignan natin kung nakaplano ba ang execution dyan. Kasi ang match-up natin kanina ay ang Chuck Mamba laban kay Heat na magkaiba ang plano. At kung titignan mo ngayon, ang execution, mukhang may
si Kuya
may kakaibang pinaplano si Kuya Zapno.
Anong sa tingin mong meron dyan sa parang gusto kong ipa-flip kung ano man yung nandyan.
Actually, mapa yan.
Ay, oo, pwede. Pero
ayan
should we call pa rin ba si Kuya Chuck nung Mamba? Kasi yung buhok niya pang Chakuragi na
Pang-Chakuragi na no?
Diba?
Kumbaga, sabi niya, teka lang guys kinokompara niyo ako sa basketball player
Tapos,
pwede naman.
Ito pala yung Kuya Manjin. Si Coach Ansay maglalaro.
Si Coach Ansay?
Sa katauhan ni Kuya Eto Max.
Pwede, sakto.
Diba?
Parang onting kain pa.
Oo.
Pwede. Onting kain
buhok
pa, Coach Ansay na Pero yung buhok, nilapit niya lang doon. Pwede. Actually, interesting yung pinoint out mo, Rob Luna, no, na parang ang execution, nagpakulay sila. Alam mo yun, pang pa-refresh.
Yes.
May ganun di ba? Ano bang ikaw may kulay yung buhok mo. Ano bang pakiramdam pag
Teka, papalit nga ako
Ano
kulay.
kasi to Kuya Manjin, pagka di ba usually sa babae, pagka gusto nilang nag-move on sila,
Oo.
nagpapaikli sila, or basta nagpapaayos sila ng buhok.
Oo.
Pag sa lalaki, it doesn't work kasi lagi naman tayo nagpapagupit.
Oo.
So, ang pinakasagot doon is yung pakulay ng buhok. Oo, it makes you look interesting at the same time young.
Oo, kaya pala looking fresh and looking young ang execration ngayon, no? At interested ako sa pinag-uusapan kasi
nila, no?
Zapno tsaka ni Kuya Saire mukhang may literal na tinuturo siya kay Eto Max. Dito ka.
Oo.
Ikaw, you go here, you go there, and take the shot. Parang ganun yung ginagawa ngayon ni Kuya Zap.
Saka ang ganda nun kasi talagang team effort talaga in terms doon sa pagpasok. I mean, yung strategy baga si Zapno dito, parang charisma lang. Alam mo na yung ramdam mo na Zapno nanonood sa akin, I have to step up, I have to make a play, we have to be at our very best every time.
Ganon na nga. Ganon na nga ang ginagawa nila. For sure, pares, itong dalawang teams na to na ang taas ng pressure pagdating syempre sa pagre-representa at syempre sa paglalaro, lalong-lalo na't maraming fans ang tumitingin sa kanila ngayon. Kita naman din natin sa kabilang camera ay ang side ng Omega na ganun pa din ang pwesto, pero yung last time na nakalaban nila, yung Blacklist International, kitang-kita mo yung pawis kay Toshi, kay Hayes, naglaro sila ng MLBB, pero sobrang pawis na pawis.
Yung medyo naka-switch yung cam nun no? Sa kabilang side.
Kitang-kita kasi best of 5, after nun, kitang-kita mo na kinabahan, kitang-kita mo na munti ka na matalo. And with that, nakahinga sila ng onte. Yung preparation nila ngayon sa execration, I think, is better. Again, yung one day na nawala sila dito, Rob Luna, pero mukhang mas chill ang side ng Omega. Mas, hindi sila tumatayo-tayo.
Oo, no?
Oo.
Totoo yan. Kumbaga, mas relax. Mas relax sila dito. And this is something din talaga mentally. Nakakatulong kasi talaga yun. Yung iba nga may mga meditation pa, 'di ba? Para medyo mag-clear yung mind mo. Tapos may mga teams din tayo na nag-vacation pa even before the playoffs
Kasi pang inner lang yan pang inner peace.
And bukod doon, syempre, 'di ba, parang team building din kasi yun There are a lot of things na bukod sa chemistry nyo in game, even outside the game. Kasi iba yun yung parang tiwala, parang mas lalo mong nakikilala yung kakampi mo, mas lalo yung chemistry nyo na nabubuo.
At for sure, itong dalawang teams na to, Execration and Omega, napakataas na ng chemistry. Undoubtable na talaga na alam na natin na sabay-sabay sila nag-swimming, sabay-sabay, kung kulang na lang, sabay-sabay kumain at maligo.
Ay, pwede.
No? Kulang na, matulog pala, magkakatabi. Pwedeng gano'n na rin ang nangyari. So, yeah, in terms of game naman dito, Rob Luna, ang taas ng emphasis natin ngayon sa side ng Execration na gumagamit ng mga marksman side lane.
Yes.
Sila lang ang mataas ng win rate ngayon dyan. Meanwhile, sa side ng Omega, focused pa rin sila dito on the Hajizi, the KDA machine. Paano kaya to magbabago? Tingin mo ba may adjustment na gagawin ng Omega dito? Kasi mukhang hindi si Kenji ang maglalaro. Mukhang si Curtizi.
We're in yung parang nagiging pseudo carry nila. Parang he was like the Benny QT of Omega. Diba? So, yeah, like what you've said nga, Ramanjin, yung Execration, they do have their this certain draft na, speaking of, yun na nga sasabihin ko sana na naka-funnel lahat kay HGC, which is the link na kung maaalala natin during nung laban nila with Signal, all three na panalo nila is all link si Haji.
Yep.
But now, in terms naman doon sa Execration, they do have this Benny QT na even na medyo na ma-shutdown si Hate, there is this Benny QT na nagsi-step up most of the time in the form of Cho, in the form of 1-1.
Cho 1-1, minsan nga nag-aalis pa. Interesting to kasi Execration, nire-respeto nila yung link ng KDA machine na si Hajizi. Meanwhile, Kufraban naman para sa side ng Omega, parehas nirespeto ang isa't isa.
Yes.
Sabi dito ng Omega, Chakno pala kayo. Sabi ng Exe, sige, tanggalin rin namin si Hajizi.
Exactly. Ang ano pa kasi dyan Kuya Manjin, is that pagka si Chakno kasi, binigyan mo ng medyo somehow awkward na mga types of tank. That's the time na hindi na fully utilized ni Chakno yung usual niyang ginagawa, like providing vision. Yung masyado siyang angat sa mapa. Kumbaga, yun yung style niya kasi, na umaangat siya para mas magkaroon ng space and time si Hate na makapag-farm. And syempre, at the same time, medyo aware din siya sa ikot ng kalaban nila. Meanwhile naman, so pag binigyan mo siya like something na medyo squishy or other tanks, minsan nga napilitan pa sila na mag-rock. Though alam natin magaling siya mag-rock, pero it's not his specialty right now, lalo na ganito yung meta natin.
Totoo, no? Kasi meron talagang mga heroes na kahit nakapikit ka, kaya mo ma-set up yan. And mukhang si Chakno kasi yung type ng player na mas prefer niya, well, sa mga napapanood natin, itong mga set-up heroes na pwedeng pang-enable ng teammates niya pagdating sa clash.
Yes.
Meanwhile, iba naman yung style din ni Heat dito. Mukhang mas more on vision si Heat, mas more on nanggugulo si Heat. Talagang fundamental lang, macro play style lang, no? So, with that in mind, Rob Luna, ikaw, ano mas pipiliin mong tank? Yung tank na nang si-setup o yung tank na, sa meta ngayon ha, yung tank na nagbibigay ng vision?
Sa akin, I would go for vision. Mas gusto ko yung mga type of tank na medyo aggressive na agad as early as level 1 and 2. Yung talagang nag-i-invade kayo sa buff ng kalaban. Kasi that only means na pagka kayo yung nag-i-invade, there's a possibility that the side lane of your enemy would have to respond. So it's maraming factors 'yon. Pag nag-cut lane yung kaharap nun, there's a possibility na malate siya na mag-respond.
Na pwede actually mangyari dito sa game na to. Kasi ang execration, isa sila sa team na kapag may sumugod na isa, tulungan kita. Ganon sila eh. Teamwork makes the dream work. Lagi ang execration, and I like it. Na nasabi din to ng ating panelist na pag team fight ang laban, dalawang teams ang lagi mo makikita dyan eh. Una dyan ay execration, and I think up for debate, ONIC Magic. Ngayon, for the first pick, Rob Luna, execration, isa sa pinakamataas na win rate na heroes ngayon na carry. After ng Project Next, biglang bumulaga itong Roger pick na to. Ikaw, Rob, nagkikerry ka din, di ba? Gaano ngayon ka halaga na first pick itong Roger? Kasi ako, carry din ako eh. Pero parang yung Roger talaga ngayon yung isa sa priority pick eh.
Priority pick in terms of mas nagiging mabilis kasi yung ikot. Though yesterday, hindi naging maganda yung pag-pick ng Roger. That was actually on the Aura side. Kasi they do have this 2 carries and iniwan nila sa side lane ang isang Roger, which is didn't work so well for Aura yesterday. Pero eto kasi, alam na natin to, this is gonna be a hate hero. So, ang mangyayari dyan, it's gonna be funneled. And together, andito pa yung pinaka ito yung pinaka magandang pick for Benny Cutie, definitely is Cho. Kita mo naman Kuya Manjin, even sa buhok.
Sa buhok niya, ginaya niya eh.
Nagmamatch talaga. So, kumbaga, in sync para sa kanya talaga. Para sa kanya talaga tong hero na to. Going back naman dito sa Omega, they have the Tamus and the Farsa. That's gonna be a Haze hero. Actually, naipaisip ako, I was about to say kanina na Haze might go for a Selena, pero if they're gonna be going for a Farsa, they might be going for 2 core here, or baka gawin nila yung usual na ginagawa nila and make courtesy Yuzhong and get something, probably an assassin kung makuha nila yung lance dito para kay Haji.
Interesting yung sinabi mo about doon sa Farsa ni Haze na pwede nga natin makita ngayon. Kasi si Haze yung type ng mage support, killing support din to eh. Ngayon nandito yung Farsa sa side ng Team Omega. Besides the fact na kaya nilang kumil ng kumil, ang taas din ng wave clear dito ng side ng Omega. So yeah, man, nagbe-make sense. Ang gandang opening para dito sa side ng Omega. Pero ngayon, I think, isa sa mga trend ng meta, itong back shot pick na to. Third pick para sa side ng Execration. Hindi pa sila masyadong nagre-reveal ng supports. Pero anong meron ngayon dito sa Baksha?
Baksha, well, syempre of course yung sa parang siyang may innate na siya, di ba? Yung ability na para ka nang may necklace on the hero itself. Pwede niya nang cancelin kagad dito yung parang regeneration rate or kunat man lang dito for the Tamus. Then aside from that, ang bilis. Actually, pwede mo pang pag-isipan eh, is this gonna be really a tank Basha? Is this gonna be a side lane Basha that ONIC sometimes do? So pwede, so meron pang pwede pang pag-isipan to ng Omega, but I think this might gonna be a Chakno hero. Pero ang maganda kasi dito for the Basha, especially pag si Chakno ang gumagamit, mararamdaman mo talaga siya. He just on the map, nanggugulo, nang i-invade, pero yun nga, yung pinaka-special innate na characteristic ni Chakno is the giving the vision, and Basha would definitely fit that role.
Pasok kay Chakno sa pambubuli
Mhm.
ni Chakno dito. Meanwhile, makikita natin dito ngayon ang Omega banning the Yuzong. So dito na papasok yung sinasabi mo na magkakaubusan ng mga side lanes para sa laban natin. Yuzong, secondary phase ban para dito sa side ng Omega na I think isa sa mga highest win rate ni Sagitnu. Kahapon, last time nakita natin na itong execration, mahilig din nilang piliin. First pick, itong Yuzong na to. Ano ngayon yung mga natitirang options ng side lane sa side ng Exe? Anong gagamitin ni Sagitnu? May Khalid? Kasi wala na yung Yuzong eh.
Well, one thing Khalid is actually
Ruby?
pwede.
Oo.
Ruby. So does Xborg.
Oh.
Was even thinking for a Xborg dito para kay Sagitnu. Something to hold in for the late game. Pero siguro we have to check first kung ano yung magiging final ban dito na execration. Wala pang hero si Heat. They already canceled dito yung Jawhead. And I think ang tatanggalan nila ng hero talaga si Heat. Well, pinag-usapan din natin pre-draft is that yung mga nagiging talo ng Omega is pagka nasa-shutdown si Heat. And yun din yung nagiging punterya. But unfortunately, it's gonna be the Freya. So this is a respect ban para kay Toshi.
Para kay Toshi. Actually, hindi naging successful yung Freya ni Toshi last time na nakita natin nung Thursday. Pero favorite din kasi ni Toshi to nung regular season. Ilang beses niya rin napanalo itong hero na to. So, I like the decision from Execration. Nire-respeto nila yung Ling, nire-respeto nila yung Alice, at yung Freya ni Toshi. So, tatlo yung tinarget nila.
Totoo.
Si Heat, si Hajizi, at saka si Toshi.
Yes, well, as well with the Alice, di
Oo.
ba? Talagang, well, the only parang usual ban dyan is definitely the Barats. Kasi parang automatic you ban it. But still, I was really looking at na makpick nila yon during the first two picks nila. Pero still, they'll be going. So medyo this is a very aggressive approach for Omega.
For Omega, dito na sumegway
And
yung
I really
Omega
like it.
bigla.
Oo. The reason why I like it, Manjin, is that pag kasi, di ba, sinabi natin, execration, they tend to win it on the late game. It's not already a 100% dahil Omega rin yung nung streak na yon ng execration. Pero kasi, you still have to respect yung late game capability ng execration, and what's the best way to make that not work? Di, talunin nyo kagad sila sa early game.
Oo, why not, no? Parang, sinasabi lagi ng mga tao na Omega nagli-late game din, pero sabi ng Omega, kaya rin naman namin makipagsuntukan sa umpisa. Meron kaming Selena, 4th pick, 2 mage setup para dito sa side ng Omega. If I'm not mistaken, itong Farsa na to ay gagamitin ngayon ni Toshi. I think nakita ko na rin siyang ginamit to sa side lanes, and if I'm not mistaken, naging successful din. So ngayon, with the 2 mage setup, Akai last pick, Leo Mord, last pick para sa execration. Pinag-uusapan lang yan kanina ng mga panelists natin na baka pwedeng bumalik yan. Pangatlong beses na natin nakita ngayon sa MPL. Rob, anong meron dito sa Leo Mord na to? Side lane Leo Mord is back. Isa sa mga signature execration specialty yan eh.
Yes. And by the way, Sagit no rin talaga. Specialty hero niya rin niya way back on a couple of seasons. Pero ang kagandaan kasi dito for the Leomord, medyo squishy dito ang lineup ng Omega. But you still have to think that yung last pick dito for Heat, the Akai. So meaning to say, the Leomord will be forced to use or have a spell dito na purify, dahil kung hindi, pag na-pin down siya dito ng Akai, he'll just gonna get burst down anytime, any day. So, gusto ko yung naging pick dito, yung sagot dito ng Omega. Akai was the best tank that they can use against the Leomord. Tas as well with the Roger. Kasi yung Roger, yes, nagiging range siya, pero most of the time, whenever he does damage, naka-Lycan form siya.
Naka-melee.
Naka-melee siya,
At
yes.
ayaw kasi ng Roger yung mga heroes na tinutulak siya palayo. At isa dyan ang hero ni Heat dito, ang Akai. Guys, tapos na ang draft semifinals. Malalaman na natin kung sino ang magwawagi sa game number 1. Pero Rob Luna, ikaw, matanong ko, base sa lineup, Mukhang early game ang gustong gawin ng Omega dito at mukhang late game pa rin sa side ng execration. Kanino ka boboto? Draft lang.
Draft lang, gusto ko pumuso dun sa may Leo board, but the Akai, isa to sa pinaka nagpapahirap talaga sa mga melee na mga types of carry. Siguro I would go for Omega at least for game number 1.
Omega no? Oo. Sige, tignan natin boys and girls kung sino nga ba ang mananalo dito sa game 1. Looking at the items right now, you have 3 boots para dito sa side ng execration. Meanwhile, parehas ang rotation.
Oo, parehas.
Dito ng dalawa, except si Hayes at si Heat, Rob Luna, pinapula na kagad dito yung mga objectives. Isang mabilis to para kay Hajizi.
Bukod sa mabilis,
to.
Totoo yan. Saka parang naka-ready na din kagad kay Haji. Pagpunta niya doon sa may orange buff, binawasan na din doon ng Akai. Pero look at the pag-cut dito ni Courtesy. This is something Tingnan mo, makikita mo yung lamang dito ng pag-ikot ng Omega. Kuha na ngayon ni Haji yung dalawang buff niya. Mabilis na siya magle-level 4 at hindi pa nakukuha ni Hate yung kanya. This might be a possible na invade.
At talagang gusto talaga ng early game kasi yung invade na sinasabi mo, Rob Luna, online pa yung retribution ni Haji dito. So prepared ang execration, kumuha dito ng early game kills. Lalong-lalo na tatamaan ngayon si Courtesy. Medyo naging overconfident lang. So nagkaroon ng onting error dito ang Omega as Chaknu will punish that one. Naligtas pa yung purple buff ni Hate.
Yes, naligtas pa talaga. Pero by the way, Kuya Manjin, we do have here pala from October 27 hanggang November 13, we have to log in game and participate in the Trickster Village event and get a Halloween candies for a treasure spin. Each spin will cost 4 Halloween candies and you can get up to 7 each day. For completing the task, magkakaroon ka ng Terisla special skin na Hammer Giant and na guaranteed siya on 10 spin and you don't want to miss that one out.
Paikutin nyo na yung spin na yan. Speaking of spin, pinapaikot lang ni Courtesy dito yung kanyang mga sights sa top lane as we are now looking again sa ating preparations dito on the battle spells. Yung retribution dito ay hindi na nagamit para sa pag-invade ng side ng Omega. Ngayon, ang tanong ko dito, Rob Luna, magre-reset ulit yung mga buffs natin at mukhang sa side ng execration, nakaligtas sila.
Yes, nakaligtas sila sa early onslaught na pwedeng ibato ng Omega. Wherein nga yung mas mabilis na pag-level 4 ni Haji. So I guess that's a clear win for at least dito sa execration. Pero yun na, nag-Mountain Shocker na dito.
Mountain Shocker plus the stun, plus yung extra pang stun ng Garote. First blood. Joke lang, pangalawang kill. I mean, para dito sa Exe, pero yung Omega ay nakakuha ng isa. So reset ulit yung game. Level 5 si GC dito. Meanwhile, level 5 din si Hate. Rob Luna, gaano magiging kaimportante ang Mountain Shocker ngayon? Dahil ang execration, so may nagsiset up na sa Turtle.
Oo, may setup na sila dito. Pero walang mana dito si Hayes, There is so much he can do. Just an arrow probably.
Tingnan natin. Tingnan natin dahil si Sagitno ay namumula na ngayon. Si Chaknu ay mag-isang nakipag one-on-one sa tatlo at isa pang arrow ang tatama sa kanya dito. Hindi niya na backs out yung ibang members dito ng Omega as execution will back off.
Back off. Ang galing ng ginawa doon Hit. The reason bakit na-reset yung Turtle kasi nasa likod doon si Hit at naalangan doon yung dalawang members ng execution kasi pwede silang mapin down at nag-back na lang sila. Meanwhile, naipit si Chakno, nandun siya sa may bandang baba nung Turtle Pit at siya yung na-sandwich.
Oo nga.
That was
Klarong-klaro na nagkaroon ng miscommunication ang execration doon sa Turtle fight na yon. Ikaw na nagsabi, naipit pa si Chaknu. Instead of siya sana yung gagawa ng space, nalugi pa.
Nalugi talaga. And that was a perfect position coming from Hit. Yung binigay na, to be honest, I'm not sure kung nag-hurricane dance siya doon.
Nag-hurricane dance?
Nag-hurricane dance siya doon sa ibaba. That's the reason na na-cancel and nag-reset yung turtle buff. So, ang pinakamagandang nangyari doon is that bukod sa na-reset, napatay pa nila si Chakno. To be honest, hindi ganon din ka-prepared yung front lines ng Omega that time.
Oo.
At pwede ngang tuluyan na lang nila agad. And there's must be a possibility baka walang retribution that time yung execration. So hindi nila na-secure or hindi nila pinilit.
Or baka talagang sobrang layo. Kasi nga, again, yung pinag-uusapan natin kanina, Chakno versus Seed, pareha sila ng plano na box out yung dalawang heroes dito, pero si Heat, fundamental na pag-iisip, nag-hurricane dance para sure talaga na hindi makakalapit. Kasi again, yung back shot kapag rumorolyo, na-atake mo eh.
Oo.
'Di ba? Yung hurricane dance, na-atake mo nga, pero talagang itutulak ka palayo.
Totoo.
Oo.
Unless range ka para
Oo.
mabawasan mo yung Akai. Pero now, yung draft dito ng Omega, medyo unti-unti na nating nararamdaman. We're already heading into the mid-game. So
Oo.
may basag na silang isang Torres sa ibaba. Well, at least, saving grace pa naman for the side of execration. Hindi pa naman sila, pero mukhang mamamatay dito si Eto Max.
Oy, buti na lang kamo may onting shield na proc. Pero ayon ang tulak na mula dito kay Heat, attacking the Chak Mamba. Pangalawang pitas na naman. Make that 3 na pala na pitas dito kay Chakno. Mukhang favorite ng Omega ngayon itong si paring Josh.
Josh. Pero that's a clear miscommunication kasi wala nang buhay doon si Eto Max eh. And what's the reason sa pagtalon doon ni Chakno? Even though na makapag-pin, makapag-ulti siya, those were 3 heroes. Inhaji was even there. So, there's no point doon sa pagpasok na yun ni Chakno. Meanwhile, namatay pa si Hate.
I think ang gusto lang din talagang gawin ng execration dito, yung sinabi mo kanina na iligtas ang isa't isa sa kapahamakan, iligtas yung tower na nasa gitna. Even though si Eto Max, muntikan na kasi siyang mamatay doon eh. Kaya talagang nangyari. Again, kaso ang problema, it's a trap.
It's a trap.
Diba? May vision
Indeed.
kayo ng Mountain Shocker and everything. So, hindi nag-work ngayon yung space na gustong gawin ng execration para sa mga carries nila, Rob Luna.
Yes, dominant din as well si Curtisi doon sa may top. So does the Leomore dito, hindi siya makapag-push kasi dahil dito sa Farsa, laging clear yung minion wave sa baba. This is what Omega really wants. Talagang mag-shine sila dito at ipitin at i-choke definitely ang execration. So ngayon, napupunta na ngayon ang execration to the point that they have to turtle it out. Kailangan nilang mag-hold up until late game para at least mag-shine yung mga hero nila. Kasi they have this innate heroes pa rin naman na mag-shine, mag-outscale dito sa mga heroes ng Omega, pero that's only on the late game.
Kailangan nang wag paabutin ng Omega dito kasi narinig nila din yung panel eh.
Yep.
Sabi nila, lagi nang gusto ng execration ng late game pala o di early game natin, sabi dito ni na Coach Dale. And mukhang yun talaga yung nangyayari ngayon kasi sinurpresa tayo nitong 2-mage setup na naman ng Omega na hindi natin madalas makita.
Yes, yes. And this is perfectly executed right now for Omega, mga kaibigan. And look at how Hayes, siya yung isa sa mga nagbibigay talaga dito ng perfect vision for the whole Omega squad. Not only on the traps, the consistent na yung aggressive na mga panay. Look at that. Lagi nilang alam kung nasan yung mga pwesto dito ng mga members ng execration.
Oh my, speaking of pwesto, hindi na nakapwesto si Sagitno. Nakakatakot na ngayon ang Yishun Shin, Benny Cutie sinipa, pero si Toshi dito, tumitipi-tipi pa.
Kasi alam niya na wala na hindi na papasok doon. Pero look Selena dito medyo nakabang.
Hayes.
Papasok sa trap doon.
Hayes! Eto, inatake ngayon si Benny Cutie. May trap para kay Hayes dito. And Hayes, of course, with the veteran moves, triangle opens na naman. Arrow will connect. No, will not connect, I mean. As Omega will take the tower in the bottom side. Omega ngayon, Rob Luna, what are we seeing?
We're seeing
7 minutes
7
in.
minutes in. Mukhang ayaw na nilang paabutin to ng late game, Kuya Manjin. I would just like to props it out to Hayes. Grabe, that was IQ more than 100. Alam mo yung paglagay niya ng trap doon kay Benny Cutie? In-advance niya sa loob ng bush kasi alam niya na doon magsusunpo, doon papasok si Benny.
Doon dadaan. Sabi ni Hayes dito, nauna pa ako sa first.
Nauna pa talaga siya sa first dahil dito, sabi ng Gillette Instant Replay, hindi na natin yun nakita. Pero ito, ang ganda ng Mountain Shocker dito. Just to start, tinamaan ng pana si Eto Max. Everything went sideways para dito sa side ng execration. Now, well, hindi pa naman to totally out. Wala pa namang Lord. May turtle pa. Execration, this is where they shine best. Holding on. Turtling it out. Kaya pa rin naman. They have these heroes na pwedeng mag-defend. And I guess, they have to use where they do best talaga. Yung pang late game. Yung 18 minute, kung doon tayo malakas, paabutin natin
Paabutin
18
natin.
minute.
Rob Luna, ang sinasabi mo ba sa akin, kailangan nang i-unlock ng execration dito, yung favorite technique nila. Alam mo ba kung ano yun?
Ano yun? Ano yun?
Ang tiis, pogi, technique.
Tiis, pogi, technique. Mukhang gusto ko yan.
Yung tipong sobrang tanghali na, sobrang init, pero dapat naka-long sleeves ka pa rin.
Ay, oo.
Tiis, pogi
High-
technique.
Totoo yan.
Oo.
High beast yung
Oo.
datingan mo.
Kasi
oo.
mukhang ganun yung laging ginagawa ng execration.
Oo.
Tiis-tiis lang hanggat sa maging pogi sa huli.
Totoo yan. Totoo yan.
Mukhang ganun eh. Kasi,
Kahit madulas yung daan, kikiripo ka dapat.
oo, kay Kripok ka
Oo.
para pogi.
Pogi ka
At
talaga.
mukhang lahat ng games na ginagawa nila kasi ay umaabot sa ganito.
Mm.
3 tore na lang yung natitira sa likod.
Actually, minsan
Oo.
nga wala pa eh.
Minsan nga wala
Oo.
pa. Pag na-outplay, ito na yung tiis pogi technique. Nakikita na natin ngayon.
Totoo yan,
Oo.
totoo yan. Though may items pa rin naman dito yung mga carry na execution, but look at that. A good
Naku
pin down
po.
dito para kay Chaklo.
At mukhang hindi na kaya ata ng tiis pogi.
Medyo
Roblona.
mahirap, to be honest,
Oo.
mahirap kasi Chakno dito, kaya rin siyang balatan ng mga cores dito ng Omega. Tapos
Oo.
given pa na dalawa halos yung mage damage. Look at that.
Oh,
Just
so
an arrow.
Ang nakita mo yung kung gaano kalupit si Hayes doon, sinundan niya ng pana
No.
yung kabayo.
Oo. So, kumbaga parang nagtago yung abyssal arrow kasabay ni Barbiel.
Kasabay
So
ni
hindi niya
Barbiel.
masyadong nakita.
155 IQ moves.
That's the IQ plays coming
Parang,
from Hayes.
Sabi ni Hayes, papunta ka pa lang, nakadating na ako, bata ka pa, boy.
Bata ka pa,
Ganun
boy.
si Hayes maglaro eh.
Oo. Pero I guess Kuya Manji, nagpapainit pa lang dito ang execration. This is still a 10,000 lead. Commanding to, of course, for Omega. Pero this is where they draft. Ito
Oo.
yung winning condition talaga nila eh.
Oo.
Now, they have to win it early to mid-game. At ayaw na talaga na umabot pa sa late game wherein sumabay at umabot yung mga items ng exe.
Ganito ang lagi nating nakikitang karakteristik sa side ng execration. Ang lakas makapinoy talaga. Yung tipong magtitiis, buong maghapon magtatrabaho, tapos pawis na ilalakad mo pa rin.
Ay, oo.
Yung papunta, laban lang talaga. Lagi, para sa side ng execration.
Exactly.
Oo.
Naalala ko pa si Kuya Billy, may post yun. Sabi niya, ang bida nagpapabugbog sa huli.
Parang ganun nga So, pero sabi kasi ng Omega dito.
Ay, sa una pala.
Sa una.
Nagpapabugbog sa
Oo.
una.
Sa huli pwede rin.
Pwede rin sa huli.
Kasi bugbugan na talaga sa huli.
Oo.
Pero una.
Sa una.
Actually, tama ka nga dyan, Roblona. Kasi eto na naman, ilang minuto na lang ang natitira. 7
oo.
minutes,
7.
ticking time bomb. Totoo ba ang curse? Kasi nga, mind you, Roblona, ang nag-break nung 18-minute regular season wins ng execration ay walang iba kung hindi ang Omega na meron ng Lord ngayon.
Oo. Considered nga sila na tinawag na sila yung mga sumisira
The streak
ng mga streak.
breakers.
Oo, the
Oo.
streak breakers. Pero ito na, well, this is still not a Luminous Lord. Pero ang ganda ng hold ng Omega dito. Sasabay both lanes together with the Lord sa bot lane.
Tignan natin dahil inaatake ngayon dito si Chakno. Makakatiis pogi pa kaya si Chakno dahil si Barbiel ay papasok na. Ikot, magbumula dito kay Hit. Yung pana ay hindi tatama. Pero ngayon si Curtizi ay nasa loob na ng base at mukhang itong side ng Omega ay magiging disiplinado lang dahil sila ay magbabak. Yung Lord ay mawawala at wala ring magagawa ang side ng execration kundi magstay lang.
Oo,
Kundi
magstay lang.
maghintay.
Totoo.
Maghintay lang ng maghintay.
Well, I guess it's still good for the side of execration. Yes, nabasag yung gitna nila dito, but they perfectly defended the Lord. Yun nga lang, hindi na nila kayang hold pa yung gitna dahil naubos na nila yung kanilang mga skills during doon sa my first Lord. I think they could be able to hold this one out. Pero Hit dito, mainit.
Mainit talaga si Kuya Hit dahil si Chakno ang kanyang first na atakihin. It's killing spree and Mega Minions. OMG! Ang sigaw ng mga fans dito dahil ang Omega ay nakakuha na ng Mega Minions. Benny Cutie, sinusubukan niya ang kanyang best. Pero sabi ni Toshi, saan ka pupunta?
From downtown of either airstrike yung pinakita doon ni Toshi. Wow, this is a very dominant game coming from Omega. Not even losing a single outer turret dito.
Parang kiniliti lang yung Torre doon sa baba. And Team Omega, napaka-dominanteng performance para dito sa game number 1.
Wow, they look not only refreshed, they're really looking very confident as well din. Manjin, that Akai pick, ang laki, ang daming nagawa doon ni Hit. I mean, yes, Hayes, like what we've said, Hit and Hayes, if you cannot be able to shut down both of this tank and support, talagang mararamdaman mo yung si Haji. Actually, parang this is definitely a team effort, pero ramdam mo yung dalawang side lane, pati si Haji nag-perform. Even Toshi on the far side.
Correct. Rob Luna, babalik ako dyan Heat, Haze. Pag yan nag-activate, may isa pang H na dadagdag.
Sino?
Si Hajizi. Kaya Triple H ang tawag nila doon sa combo na yon. Kasi talagang gana May isang nagba-box out sa harap, may isang mage na dumadamage, tapos may isang nagpa-farm lang na carry, nagbubuhatin yung hanggang late game.
Oo. Kumbaga parang complete package. Pero syempre, execration, this is just game number 1. Yan yung mga tipo ng parang
pinapainit
kumbaga sa gasolina, diesel
Oo
na parang kailangan mo muna painitin yung karburador.
Oo, may ano muna, kalma lang, hindi mahina kalaban.
Mahina kalaban,
oo. Ayan nga, men, ako, na-surprise ako na ang
likewise.
taas ngayon ng kills ng Omega. Ang tanong, makikita pa kaya natin yan sa game number 2? Why don't we throw it away sa ating pinakabagong favorite analyst na si Wolf?
Thank you so much sa mga casters natin. Of course, makikita natin ang napakagandang timing-based composition na pinakita ng Smart Omega ng Omega. And this victory, ang kanilang pinakaunang pagkapanalaban sa execration ay masasabi kong all about timing. Ito yung nakasulat sa notebook ko dyan. But, let's actually look at our heroes and yung mga napili nilang item. Actually, konti lang naman din talaga ang gusto kong pag-usapan dito dahil masasabi ko na ang Omega ay napakatalino sa kanilang pagpili ng mga heroes. In fact, meron tayong mga nakikita mga traditional na counters or answers dun sa mga hero ng execration. Kaya naman nung nakita ko yung draft, parang na-feel ko mas madali talaga yung laro para sa Omega. For execration, it's gonna be really difficult. Well, I just wanna say na yung back siya ng execration ay na-force dahil inuubusan din ng heroes para kay Chakno dahil yun ang pinaghandaan ng Omega. Yung Omega yata parang during their preparation, inisip nila kailangan nating sagutin si Chakno. Tapos, syempre, para naman sa side ng Omega, ginawa nila, nag-last pick sila ng Akai. Meron din silang Selena na fourth pick na parang nagulat din ng execration kasi akala nila Farsa na yung pipiliin. And we can see now na nahirapan yung lineup ng execration na greedy, lalong-lalo na melee-based sila. Puro sila melee dito. At least yung kanilang mga heroes like the Roger, as well as the Leomord, and then the Cho, di ba? Tapos, syempre, dahil may Akai dun sa kabila, tapos meron ka pang Farsa, dun na nga tuloy-tuloy na nagkaroon ng dominance ang Omega doon sa mga team fights. And actually, maybe we can look at the items. And you can see that in this particular game na nadurog talaga ng Omega ang side ng execration at kung titignan naman yung mga stats, talagang nalugi. Well, if you're looking at the damage, you cannot ask anymore mula sa side ng execration. Kahit nga yung kills nila ay dalawa lang. Dahil yung Omega, yung kanilang lineup ay talagang natuluyan yung execration. Hindi normal na sabihin natin na merong mga naka-outdraft na mga teams, lalong-lalo na playoffs na ngayon. But in this specific game, yung Omega, sa game number 1, sagot na sagot nila yung composition ng execration. Just like what I explained later. And honestly, pag tinignan natin yung mga highlights, konti lang yung makikita natin talagang banggaan or 5v5 clashes. Kasi ang Omega, ang gusto nilang gawin ay ang tinatawag natin ng timing-based lineups. Una, ang kailang unang-unang timing syempre is the laning stage. At yung laning security nandun na nga. At makikita natin sa side ng Omega, every time na kaya nilang humanap ng pagpita sa lineup ng execution, ginagawa nila. Guys, unfortunately, hindi tayo pwedeng magbase sa mismong highlights para malaman kung gaano kaganda yung ginawa ng Omega sa game number 1. Dahil bonus na lang yan. What really is surprising dito sa ginawa ng Omega is inabuse nila yung mga strength ng kanilang lineup, which is number 1 timing. Sa laning stage, walang kayang pumersa sa Farsa ni Toshi, as well as yung Yi Sun-shin hindi din napigilan dahil si Chakno at si Etomax hindi nila kinayang i-invadean yung Yi Sun-shin. So nakapag-farm ng todo yung Yi Sun-shin, and obviously courtesy with the stamps, unstoppable din yung farming. If you're looking at this game, talaga nasa match-up lang ang nangyaring labanan. At unfortunately para sa execration, parang kailangan nilang pag-isipan ulit yung draft laban sa Omega dahil yung Omega handang-handa dito sa laban sa execution. Hayes is our MVP of the game at kitang-kita nyo naman yung malulupit na mga pana at mga tinatawagan nilang 155 IQ or kung ano man. Basta the next level plays coming out from half man, half amazing Hayes dahil nga na-zone out nila ng sobra-sobra yung mga members ng execration. And I feel that execration coming into the next game, baka i-consider na lagi itong Selena ni Hayes. I believe na pag tinignan natin yung mga stats, ang Selena ni Hayes ay mataas ang win rate and I think yung fact na na-bait ang side ng execration na akala nila yung Farsa na ang magiging support para kay Hayes, dun sila nadali. So, there's a lot of things that I said all throughout this analysis of game number 1 pero ang gusto ko lang na tandaan ninyo para sa keys to victory nung ginawa ng Omega. It's actually gonna start with the draft. That's it for game number 1. We are hoping na ang execration ay bumawi sa game number 2 ng malupit nilang mga galawan, di ba, sa late game. But we don't know if that will happen kung hindi nila ayusin ang kanilang draft muna. I think that's where they have to start. For you guys, kung gusto naman din ma-enjoy ang MPL pa lalo habang nanonood, ay meron kayong makukuha mga giveaway codes all throughout this series. And do share your, do scan this code. Nakikita nyo sa ilalim ko, by the way, to show your support to all of the teams out there. Lahat ng teams na maglalaro ngayon, syempre meron ng QR code. If you scan that out, you will matutulungan nyo nga ang mismong team na sinusuportahan ninyo. And bukod dyan, syempre, do visit the fb.com/MPL-PH official to know more about the actual MPL-PH playoffs. Actually, nagulat din ako kasi parang laging may mga tanong yung mga tao, but actually, kung gusto nyo ng mga quick answers about the league, yun, dun lang. Siyempre, if you fill in this survey, you can win rewards from MPL-PH. Scan nyo lang yan. Napakadali lang. And bukod dyan, syempre, ay magkakaroon nga tayo ng mga giveaway codes for you guys as you watch this this season. And I feel that we're gonna have 3 giveaway codes per game. So, sana guys, kapag tapos ng game, manood pa rin kayo. Sabihin nyo sa mga tropa nyo na habang nag-a-analysis kami dito after ng game, manood din kayo para mas marami kayong matutunan, mas maintindihan yung laro, at meron ka pang chance na manalo ng mga giveaway bonus code. Obviously, this game is gonna happen, this series is gonna have a potential game 5. So, hindi tayo mauubusan ng mga giveaway codes para sa inyo. But, hopefully, ang execration ay makapagpuwersa pa na mas marami pang games laban sa Omega dahil mukhang marami din talagang fans ng execration. For Omega, if they keep on doing what they're doing, man, simula sa draft until sa execution, pwedeng mapabilis itong araw na to. But syempre, hindi pa natin masasabi yan. My name is Wolf, your analyst. Let's pass it on back to the casters for game number 2.
Maraming salamat sa napakagandang analysis, Wolf, and tama siya eh. Parang pag tinuloy-tuloy ng Omega itong sorpresa nila, baka nga ma-GG bigla ang execration. Ikaw, Robluna, pinag-uusapan natin kanina dito is yung kung paano kaya nangyari yung game number 1. May pinag-uusapan ka about sa draft eh. Anong nangyari dito sa draft bigla?
Actually, expound ko lang. Actually, sinabi
sige.
din siya kanina ni Wolf. Ang ganda ng pag-bait doon ng Omega na, yun nga, nilabas na nila yung Tamos, yes, given, that's gonna be a side lane. Tapos pinik nila yung Farsa. So, what that makes execution think, ay, may pause for na sila, ay, meron na silang mage support. So, they took advantage na hindi nagagamit to na si Lina. I remember sinabi ko kanina, bakit hindi si Lina yung pinik ni Hayes? Kasi open. Pero yun nga, it was part of the plan na kukunin pa rin pala nila during the 4th pick.
Oo. At I think dito papasok yung isang napakalupit na characteristics para sa side ng Omega. Hindi mo agad-agad mababasa yung draft. Kasi marami silang mga heroes na flex eh.
Mm-hmm.
'Di ba? Meron kang show minsan sa kanila. Minsan may Hilda ka pa na hindi mo alam kung side lane ba o support para sa kanila. And this time nakita natin Farsa side lane pala.
Oo. Yun yung this gives, well, it's gonna be easier for the coach to do this if your players are capable of doing it.
Oo.
Diba? Pero kasi pag, for example, nakita mo let's make an example for execution. You see that show. It's rarely used by Chakno. Kasi pwede natin gamitin na parang pwede pa natin, baka kay Benny QT yan, ay kay Chakno yan. Pero we all know that they rarely use it for Chakno. So alam mo na agad kung saan pupunta yung mga certain na mga heroes. nalabas nila kanina doon yung Roger, that's gonna be a hate hero.
Oo nga.
So parang
nung
alam na.
Nung nakita na ng Omega yon, okay, may hero na si Benny Cutie. Hindi na natin yan problemahin. Pwede na nating targetin dito yung mga players na wala pang hero.
Oo.
'Di ba? Kasi kanina, yung Farsa pick na yon, mas maraming tao ang titingin doon at parang ito na yung hero ni Hiza.
Yes, yes.
Gagano na sila eh.
One thing to note din doon is there's a part of me, yung draft ng execration was already been built. Parang the Selena was picked on the 4th para sa Omega. So meaning to say, Execration has the chance to get it during their second phase of draft. Pero hindi nila yon ginawa. Kasi nga, they already thought that was the Farsa.
Na yun.
Oo. So parang, and somehow, the reason ba't sinabi ko na it's already a pre-draft sa kanila. Kasi in-expect na nila na hindi nila makukuha yung Selena. So, yung talagang draft ng Execration was really meant to have a Leo Mord regardless of the pick ng Omega.
Mukhang pre-practice nila itong Leo Mord na to, no? Ikaw sure ka na parang nag-Leo Mord practice na nakalimutan na bigla yung tendency na yung Omega pwedeng sumegway bigla ng mga picks no?
Saka there's a part of me, baka nagkataon din in scrims. This is just a theory of me. Kasi we only been seeing the Leo Mord netong playoffs So meaning to say, during the almost 2 weeks na from week 8 papunta ng playoffs, yung mga nakalaban nila dito or probably yung mga napagtryan nila, they saw or they have this Leo Mord work. So nakikita natin yan na ginagamit predominantly ng mga teams ngayon dito sa MPL, even with BREN yesterday.
Correct. Parang parang akala ng ex na bago na yung baon nila.
Yes.
Na nagulat sila na meron pa palang extra.
Yes, oo.
Itong Omega, parang Leo Mord kayo? Okay, parang gumanon So
that was where the Akai fits in.
Yun nga na nag-Akai pa bigla. So, itong Omega, they're prepared for a Leo Mord pick. The pressure is now on Execration. Pipersahin pa rin ba nila yung Leo Mord or babalik sila doon sa old ways nila?
Mm-hmm.
Na baka pwede silang mag 1-1, baka pwede silang mag sideline marksman na Benny Cutie?
Yeah, pwede. I think pwede.
Tingin mo, mas better ba yun?
I think ang mas maganda is mas ma-prioritize nila na mag-enable si Etomax pati si Chakno. Hate, I think, could be able to work around, probably put him into the Harith role. Kasi definitely magpa-perform. We've seen Hate na medyo nahirapan on getting his buff during the Signal Ultra match, pero nag-godlike pa din yun. So, might as well put your eggs, if you're an Execration fan, na doon kay Chakno, doon kay Etomax, kasi sila yung magiging parang set ng tempo for Execration. Meanwhile, ganun din kasi for Omega, di ba? It's about haste, it's about heat. So, how do you fight fire with fire? Di ba? Parang ganun yun ganun yung mangyayari doon So, labanan na lang natin kung ano din yung strength dito. Though, alam naman natin, Chakno and Etomax could be able to go toe-to-toe doon sa tank and support ng Omega.
Gusto ko yung pino-point out mo dito, Rob, no? Kailangan yung tapatan yung duo supports. Kahit anong mangyari. Etomax and Chakno, kailangan mabigyan ng space si Hate.
Yes.
Ito na yon kasi ganun yung ginagawa talaga ni ni Heat at saka ni Hayes Parang nakita natin kanina opening pa lang nung laban na nag-jungle agad si Heat, nag-jungle din si Hayes. Tapos yung ginawa ni Hajizi, talagang kinalabit niya na lang yung
parang
kinalabit niya na lang yung mga jungle.
Nakahain na. Parang, Kuya Haji, kakain na.
Parang ganun lang yung ginawa. Kasi Haji, ayoko niyan, gusto ko chocolate.
Oo, ganun. Parang may choice siya. Ano bang gusto ko? Orange or purple? Ganun. Pero I really like how ni-utilize yung mga heroes dito ng Omega. Isipin mo yon pagtapos ng pag-clear ng minion wave, diretso purple buff, binabawasan na yung orange doon ni Heat. Yung rotation the first minute rotation dito mga kaibigan ng Omega, you really have to check kung paano dahil sobrang linis. Yun lang yung masasabi ko.
At sa tingin ko, hindi yun in-expect ng Execration kasi nag-start yung Execration ng isa lang yung nag-orange. At sumama dito yung Kagura kay Roger kasi nga hindi rin ganun kabilis yung sa Roger
Totoo yan.
Hindi ganun kabilis yung wave clear
Saka
so mapipilitan talagang sumama yung Kagura.
Exactly. And one thing then is that they have this Kagura, 'di ba? So parang it also tells Omega na hindi ito manggugulo. Kasi there are other tanks na paired with a certain support na pwedeng mag-invade which is wherein yung ibang Selena, hindi nila agad nilalagay yung mga abyssal trap nila sa purple kasi
Oo.
alam nila dadaanan lang yun ng tank.
Oo.
Dahil alam nila na hindi yun gagawin ng execration, they already anticipated na hindi yung gagawin. That's how brave or that's how Hayes utilizes his hero na nabigay niya agad yung purple buff papunta kay Haji.
Gusto ko yan yung mga yung mga teams na pag nakakita ng Selena, sige magtalagay ng trap yan. 'Di ba? Nakita natin si Chakno na ginagawa niya yun eh. Yung pupunta siya doon, kukunin niya yung traps, ka-cancel out niya, pero hindi nangyari yon. Ngayon, kailangan ba ng execution dito ng mga heroes na malakas sa invade at hindi kailangan ng onting wave clear? Parang makikita ba natin ngayon yung Natalia? Or kukunin ba yung Selena this time?
I guess siguro ang para sa akin, they have to work if they're gonna go again ulit sa parang trio in the mid, kailangan nilang isama si Hate. I mean, that's the reason why it's trio, di ba? What I'm trying to say is that don't have Hate just go into your jungle. Isama niyo siya sa invade kasi most of the time, it just haste and hit eh. Diba? Going for the invades and just leaving Haji out na mag-farm ka on the jungle. Now, if you go for a trio dito sa support and tank ng Omega, you could probably take them down and somehow magugulo or mafo-force si Haji na bumalik sa gitna.
Oo. Man, Rob Luna, hinihintay na lang natin yung draft dito magsimula. I think it's clear na yung gusto nating mangyari dito, kailangan talaga mag-step up nung trio.
Yes.
Dito, ng side ng execration. Let's talk about side lanes.
Yes.
Naman dito.
Yun yung yun yung interesting dito on both teams. It's just that na those side lanes were already strong on their own. Like for example, nagre-rely yung ng side lane is kung paano nagwo-work yung mid nila.
Yung tatlo.
Oo, kasi pagka hindi nag-work yung mid nila, there is one side lane that are forced to help it out.
Oo.
At doon siya nagmamad. That's the reason why we're not really talking about the side lanes kasi alam natin na may ibubuga, may gagawin niyang mga yan. So, ang pinofocus natin dito is ano yung ipapakita sa atin nung nandun sa gitna.
Yeah, and I think Benny Cutie, Toshi, Sagitno, at saka si Curtizi, may kanya-kanyang strengths na rin eh. May kanya-kanyang may kanya-kanyang, ito yung hero ko side lane. Panalo niya yung gitna
Oo, totoo.
Panalo niya yan kasi sure ako, ubusin ko yung minions dito eh. Ganun yung mangyayari. So, moving on. Execration will now go to the red side. Omega on the blue. Ipaprioritize ba ngayon ng execration ang support nila? O magro-Roger first pick na naman ba? Kasi open ngayon ang Roger. Same bans na naman na nakita natin, Kufra, but this time Hellcurt.
Yes, Hellcurt.
Para sa side ng Omega.
Totoo. Well, the only dominant thing about that is yung mukhang hindi nagagamit. Mahihirapang gumamit ng mga set heroes. Yung isa sa pinaka-signature tank dito, si Chakno, wherein yung Kufra. Pero there's something different din for the side of execration. Mukhang they are already willing to give the link. Kasi yan yung first ban nila kanina.
Unless iba ban nila ngayon.
Yes. And
Pwede pa eh.
Pwede naman. Pero actually, ang banat kasi dyan, I think for the draft is bigay mo na yung link kasi definitely they're not gonna first pick it. For me,
tas kunin mo.
Yes, probably kunin nila or if ever man na pag kinuha nila yung link, marami magiging open ngayon for execution.
Totoo. Kasi, for example, hindi nga link to. Pwedeng mag-open ng link si Lina. Pero binan na lang yung
binan nila,
so, pwede mag-open ng link or thumbs.
Yes.
Dito ang exe. Kung open ang link.
So ngayon, medyo torn ngayon dito ang Omega. We're gonna be take the link. Yes, kunin natin yung link. That's how confident they are for Haji. Now, there's a lot of open dito. Ngayon, ang choice ngayon ng execration. Do we get the Yuzhong wherein mataas dito ang win rate ni Sagitno?
Yes.
Or we already get something for Chakno ba? So, sino ang magiging priority nila dito ng mga players in terms of their heroes?
Pwede ba nating i-consider ulit ang heroes ni Hate?
For me, I think wag na muna. Pwedeng maging situational siya. Wag naman yun sa dulo, yung hero ni Hate. They could probably pick it on the third pick, yes.
Yeah, so pwede silang mag-support na dito or isa pang side lane.
Yes.
Which is much better.
Much better, definitely. Yeah, support in a side lane or pwede rin dalawang side lane agad for you to be able to deny at least a hero dito from Omega.
Siguro Tams?
Was thinking
Khalid
for
Yuzhong?
Yuzhong eh. It's gonna be an
Alice.
Alice and the
Yuzong.
Yuzong.
Okay.
Okay. So definitely alam na natin kung sino mga gagamit niyan. That's a Sagitnu and a Benicuti hero. So now, ano ngayon ang gustong gawin dito ng Omega? Would they want to have a hit hero na dito? They could be able to bring out the Jawhead. Kung gusto pa rin nila talaga na i-prioritize dito yung kanilang mga ano. Kaso nga lang, ang mangyayari, pagka pinik nila yon, mawawalan sila ng sideline. So I guess the Tamus will work on them.
Tapos isang support. I think
Farsa.
Oh, there you go.
Yes, Farsa.
Okay. So nilabas na nila yung same face na picks, Rob Luna.
Oo eh.
Farsa on the second pick. Ligaw na naman ngayon ng execution kung support Farsa ba to o sideline Farsa ba to.
I think that's gonna be definitely a support already since ban naman na yung Selena. So there's no other heroes I can think of right now na pwedeng pumalit sa role ng isang Selena. Gonna go for a Popolin Kupa. That's not gonna work. Pero I think ngayon for the side of execution dito, they were just thinking, kukunin ba natin na ang hero dito on hit? We could pick the Lancelot, we could pick the Roger once again, pero I guess the Lancelot makes more sense than a Roger right now. Oo.
Sa tingin ko kailangan na din.
Oo, kasi if you will be having the Lancelot, level 4 pa lang this could actually work for them, but they actually took the Khalid.
It's a Khalid support.
Or rather a tank.
Yeah, Khalid tank support.
Tank support. Oh, that's gonna be a Chaknu hero kasi there's no
Nilabas
way
na.
you're placing yung Alice doon sa gitna.
Yep. So, Chaknu, nilabas na yung kanyang hero. Ubos ngayon ang options.
Oo.
For sure dito ni Hit. Kasi mukhang ibaban na to ng side ng Omega.
Mukhang tatanggalan nga dito
nila
ng
ng
hero
carry.
dito si Hit. And
Oo.
most likely Jawhead will be banned dito. I doubt an Akai would work for Omega sa game na to. To be honest, hindi siya ganun kakailangan. Hindi mo naman basta-basta mapipin down ng isang Yuzhong since we have the Black Dragon.
Yeah. Tsaka yung ano din, yung Alice, hindi mo rin agad mahuli.
Totoo yan.
Wala, makikita natin. Ngayon, sa side ng execution, ano ang kanilang ibaban? Nagban na.
Oo, hindi lang nag-show.
Nagkaroon lang ng
graphic bug. Yes.
Graphic bug. Pero, yes, I think we're gonna check it out in a while. Pero for sure, ang sinasabi natin dito is, pwedeng maban ang Jawhead. Pwede ring maban dito ang mga carries na natitira para sa side naman ng execution. Kasi nga, wala pang Lancelot. Yung Roger ay open pa din. Hindi pa natin nakikita. Ang nagbaban na ngayon, I think, is the side of Omega.
To be honest, I was thinking there are a lot of heroes na pwedeng gamitin dito. They could be able to use YSS nga eh, honestly.
YSS?
For hate. I mean, ang daming option. That's what I mean. Pwedeng may Harit, pwede ring mag-YSS. There's a lot of things. Even Roger fits Lancelot. So, I think hate has all a lot of options para dun sa carry role.
So mas magkakaroon tayo dito ng emphasis sa supports.
Yes.
It's not about the carries na ngayon kasi ano mga supports na open. Okay, so yung Farsa medyo nasa 70% na tayo na yun na yung support.
Yeah.
Ano ngayon na magiging hero ni Mr. Fundamental? Kasi yung Jawhead ay pwedeng i-ban. Pag na-ban ang Jawhead, wala na rin Kufra, anong matitira?
Jawhead ban, Kufra is out. Still thinking, well, they could still use the Basha, to be honest. Pero, since it's work as well with Alice and as well with Yuzhong.
Pwede. Yung Baksha is perfect. Para sa Omega dito, kailangan iba ng Exe.
Yes, and I think ibaban din talaga nila yun. And I definitely know that Execration knows that and that's gonna be part of their ban. So if in case na mawala yung Jawhead and as well with Basha, so Hit will be placed on an awkward position in terms of the tank. So unless they are willing to do the usual na ginagawa nila during regular season, which is Hilda. Oo. Pero if they're gonna go for the Hilda, their support is Farsa. I guess it might work. Pero
Hilda Farsa?
Medyo parang awkward siya. Kasi
pero,
maganda
pero
kasi.
agresibo nun Hilda Farsa
Oo, pero at the same time, squishy ang Farsa for that. The only time you would go for a Hilda is that pag ang support mo medyo yung matatapang din like Valir. Or even Loyi nga.
Loyi, pwede rin. So, ibig sabihin dito, ang possible bans ng Exe ay targeting Hit.
Yes.
So, pwedeng mawala na yung Baksha, which is best option para sa side ng Omega, at pwede rin mawala na rin yung Jawhead. So, 50-50 kung i-hilda mo.
Yes.
So ano, makikita ba natin yung Atlas ulit?
Masyadong ano na eh.
Parang masyadong
pilit.
lugi eh. Oo,
May
eh.
part sa akin na pag nag-Atlas it's medyo pilit na eh.
Oo, kasi
Oo.
ang hirap mag-Atlas kapag kalaban mo ay Yuzong
Mhm.
at saka Khalid.
Totoo.
Tapos may Alice pa.
Oo, parang ang
kalaban.
hirap humuli ng more than 2. Siguro at least maximum of 2 na.
Kasi ikaw pa yung mamamatay.
Yes, ikaw pa yung mamamatay doon. But it might work. Even Tigreal could be an option if they
Ooh,
want to.
yeah.
Kaso nga lang, medyo mas magiging mabagal dito ang Omega if they chose that path. To be honest, I'm thinking for a certain fighter pa na pwede na mag-tank for them. Inisip ko nga kanina is Popol and Koopa.
Pwede ang Popol and
for
Koopa
as a
eh.
tank.
Oo eh.
Kaso, kung ganun yung magiging tank nila, kasi Ling sila eh. They have a Ling eh. Whenever you want to have a Ling, you want to have someone na nandun agad. Kumbaga meron ka ng parang meat shield.
Oo.
Before you actually go in. You don't want to be a Ling na ikaw ang mauuna.
Oo.
Then mapo-force ka mag-Tempest of Blade nang hindi kailangan.
Ang gusto mo yung mga heroes na merong setup.
Yeah.
Or kahit hindi setup yung kahit nandun lang para pwede ka mamulis.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I like it. I like your point. Ang curious ako dito, makakita ba tayo ng side lane carries? Kasi ang 1-1 ay open. Ang Claude ay open din.
For sure, hindi na gagawin yun ng execrations kasi we already
May side
know
lane
there's
sila
side
eh.
lane.
Oo eh.
So for the side naman dito ng
Omega,
we might
meron
actually see
may possibility.
possibility for a 1-1 but yeah, actually pwede. Kasi nasa kanila yung far side. So meaning to say, they could be able to hold it
hanggang late game.
Hanggang late game dahil sa Feather Airstrike.
Oo.
Diba? Kaya nilang patagalin yung laban dahil walang minion wave.
At saka, knowing na meron ka mga makukunat dito sa side ng execration, like yung Yuzong, yung Khalid, the best ang 1-1 sa mga ganong pang shred.
Totoo.
Sa mga heroes. Kahit mag-dragon yung Yuzong, habulin ng 1-1 eh.
Oo, totoo yan.
Kapag
totoo
nag-ulti. So, malayong tira, baka nga makita natin ang 1-1 dito para sa side. Who knows? Toshi is a former marksman eh. Kinakilala natin yan eh nung unang pasok niya sa Omega eh na carry main,
Yes.
Claude main. Nagpaturo pa nga sa atin mag-carry.
Totoo naman.
Oo,
Oo
tropa
naman.
natin si tropa natin si Toshi.
By the way, mahirap ang far sa game ng Omega dito ah. Kasi may Raging Sunstorm.
Yeah.
'Di ba? Whenever pagka nag-Feather Airstrike ka kasi you're just into one position. There's a lot of thing to cancel you. Meron ditong yun nga like what I said, Raging Sandstorm, Black Dragon.
Yeah.
Ang daming pwedeng pumasok sa iyo. This actually happened on the match. I guess that was from NXP yesterday na pinapasok yung YSS na ni H2O. This is almost the same thing na pwedeng mangyari dito for Omega. Yung parang yes, parang meron silang frontline. Yun nga lang, yung hindi nila maprotektahan na yung likod nila wherein yun ang plano ng execration is pasukin ang backlanes ng Omega.
Hindi ka kagad makakakuha ng magandang ulti eh.
Yes.
No, kasi may Farsa pa na pwedeng mag-flowing blood sa'yo. Ay, Farsa, sorry. May Alice. May Alice pa na pwedeng mag-flowing blood sa'yo. So, again, it's going to be hard. Pero ako, meron akong pakiramdam pa rin.
Ano yan?
Na side lane Farsa eh.
Side
Parang
lane?
gustong i-push pa talaga eh. Kasi, hindi to yung first time na nakita ko yung Omega ginamit yan eh. Pero,
but, if you gonna go for a side lane
anong
Farsa,
ipapalit mo dun sa Selena?
Oo, anong
Kasi
ipapalit?
naban na eh.
Oo, yun ang mahirap, to be
Yun ang
honest.
mahirap nga eh. Oo,
Unless, hindi pwede ang Natalia,
Hindi rin pwede Valir.
Hindi
Or
rin.
baka-
Masyado ng
squishy.
mabagal, oo.
Chang-O ay open pa.
Well, masyado ng
Kaso,
greedy.
masyado ng
That's too
greedy,
greedy if you're gonna
oo.
get the Farsa and as well with the Chango. Yes,
Yeah.
meron kang mga long range na mage damage, pero gaya ng sabi natin, this is execration going into your back.
Gera yun eh.
Oo, so
Oo.
parang mau-awkward ka lagi and parang ang setup mo dyan, magiging reactive ka. Kasi ayaw mong mag-ulti dahil alam mo na mayroong pupunta sa'yo. So you want muna na makita yung mga skills ng execution before you actually initiate.
Yeah.
And that's already a disadvantage.
Makikita natin siguro sa draft. Actually, mga heroes na nakita natin dito na interesting sa MPL, no? Blacklist International, meron pa silang Digi.
Oo, yung cheese strat
Yung
na ginawa
totoong
nila.
Digi, oo.
Oo, Digi
Popol
and
and
Popol and
Kupa.
Kupa. Gusto mo makakita pa ng mga
oo
ganong
nga
klase
eh.
ng mga type of
Hindi malayo na pwede natin makita sa Omega yun eh.
Ay, oo.
Kasi kanina, double mage. 'Di ba? So ngayon, malay mo naman, pwede na nga silang mag 1-1, pwede nga sila magpopol. So yeah, interesting. pero ang execration actually, pwede rin nilang baguhin itong itong setup nila ng last two.
Totoo.
If I'm not mistaken, yung Harit ay open.
Open. To be honest, kay Hate, sobrang dami niyang option dito. Pwede siya mag-Harit. I mean, may apat na naiiwan na ban pa naman. Pero yun nga, in terms of option, meron siyang Harit, YSS, Lancelot, even Roger is open. I think, it's either pumili na lang dito ang Omega kung ano ba talaga yung ibaban nila. It's either a support or manghirap kasi pag ang tinanggalan mo ng hero si Hate, may ma-open pa for Etomax. You would want Etomax na maging awkward yung kanyang support. Probably balik siya sa Kagura. Oo, kasi yung Kagura kanina ng execration, parang it's meant to have its winning, or yung power spike kasi kanina na execration was during the mid game. Pero syempre dahil continuous yung aggression na binigay sa kanila ng Omega, hindi na sila nakasabay.
So pag napuwersa bigla dito si Etomax ng mga ganong heroes na hindi gaano bugbugan sa umpisa, doon sila tatagilid. Baka puwersahin to ng Omega ngayon.
Pwedeng puwersahin.
No?
And Etomax is sometimes being forced to use certain Lunox, yung mga Lunox nila. So, yeah, I guess Omega pwede nilang took advantage yung ganong mga situation. Pero I think banning heroes for Hate, probably a Lancelot siguro, a good ban lang at least doon sa isang ban ng Omega.
Mamimili lang sila ng poison. Mamimili lang sila ng carry na ibaban, no? Pwedeng Lancelot, actually mas gusto ko pa nga Harit eh.
Harit?
Oo.
Actually, naging part yan sa ban ng Signal eh.
Oo,
diba?
Naiban. Kaysa Lancelot. Kasi parang kung Lancelot, alam na nila eh kung paano i-handle eh. Pero pag Harit, may times kasi na yung Harit pag nag-snowball, di mo na mapipigilan eh. Yung Lance, pwede mo pa mahuli eh. Totoo. Yung Harit, pag talagang may purple tapos magaling talaga, mag-Zaman Force, hirap patayin eh. Kasi yung Lance, may dodge lang.
Yes.
Yung Harit, may dash at may shield.
Totoo. But that only works if you get your buff. Pero since alam natin dito how Omega plays, they are one of the teams na laging innate na sa team composition nila gusto nilang mang-invade. Gusto nila na makita kung anong ginagawa ng kalaban doon sa buff.
Never gonna happen.
Yes, never gonna happen.
Never gonna happen. Ang daming possibilities nitong draft na to. Ang daming pwede mangyari. Last 2 picks ang natitira. Why don't we throw it away sa ating mga panelists kung ano pa ba sa tingin nila ang mga pwede mangyari? Leo, ano sa tingin nyo?
And we shall catch it. Thank you so much. Once more, my name is Leo, your panel host for today, day number 3 at the MPL-PH Season 6 playoffs. I'm with Chin and Paolo, and just like that, dudugtungan lang namin. We're gonna add to the discussion that our casters have already had, and we can't help but look back at how, I hate to use the word, underwhelming, nakakakulang. Parang yung Chuck Mamba, wala siyang kamandag dito because of that Baksha pick. And while we're waiting for the redraft from Execration and Omega, I guess we should just add a little bit more of insight as to what happened, no? Hindi kita dito, guys, pero yung bans also played quite the role here. I believe Jawhead was banned out, Kufra was banned out, and these are all heroes that Heath and Chaknu are looking forward to. Let's look at some moments. Paolo, off the top, what do you remember from game number 1?
Yung sa keys to victory nga nakalagay doon, they focus more on Benny Cutie's lane, di ba? Talagang na-shutdown, walang kill, walang assist si Benny Cutie.
On the show.
And again, Hate did not step up. Kaya hindi sila nanalo. 0-1-0 si Hate. Couldn't do anything.
0x, yeah.
Yes, si Chuck Mamba naman, he has a Baxia, a hero that cannot make plays. You're using Baxia to control the map and open up the map. It's not a hero to make a play, right? You're kind of like a meat shield. More of a meat shield. Kaya yun, talagang na-outdraft ang X. Napakalupit ng pinakita ng Omega. Man, seriously.
Yep, more than just a point for Omega, it's a point for Dale. Medyo na-corner niya dito si Syre.
Yes.
The draft forced Execration to, again, choke out Heath. That's one of the keys, right? Pansinin mo from the regular season, I think that's what Syre's doing, for sure, right? This was definitely something he was considering to stop Heath from doing fundamental things. But
may naalala lang ako, binan ng Exe yung Freya, but the Freya
Yes,
did not.
last ban.
Yes, the Freya did not do good on the Signal series. Exe versus Signal, sorry. Blacklist versus Omega series.
On Toshi.
Yes, on Toshi. So, what's the point of banning it kung alam mong, I mean, yes, there might be a chance na, okay, pag pinili nila yung Freya, Toshi might do good on it. But considering na it did not do well against Blacklist, you know, they could have banned Akai or who was the other open one? Hilda instead.
To force out either.
Oh, yes, to force out either.
Ito pala, looking at the post-match data, kasi I remember Omega already made a fatal mistake eh. Like in the playoffs, I think that would be a fatal mistake. Nagkaroon na sila ng miscom dun sa invade nila, in which case they lost Kurt TZ.
On the Tams.
So ang nangyari ngayon, yung funnel ngayon ng execration had the freedom to farm. At actually nakita ko there was actually footage of the Roger being able to move around the jungle very, very freely.
Yeah.
Pero kung titignan mo dito sa post-match data, ang damage ng execration mostly is coming from the backsha pa.
Yeah, he had the most damage.
Kung makikita natin, the least damage pa is coming from our Roger here.
Where was Hate?
Wow.
Where was Hate?
Dito pa lang sa post-match data, parang, oh my God.
Yeah.
OMG.
You know what?
OMG,
That's a good
wala.
question.
Yeah.
Kasi nga sabi ng Black Eyed Peas, di ba, where is the love?
Yeah.
Ang tanong ko, where is the hate?
Kasi, so yun nga, parang, we already saw that mistake eh. 4 sila nag-invade, pero biglang nag-second thoughts pa sila. Hindi, kung magko-commit na kayo ng ganun, you go for it na. Nandun na kayo, 4 na out of 5 players ang nag-commit to that strategy. Biglang, wag na lang. Tapos naiwan pa nila si Kurt TZ, which is very crucial to this lineup.
And then yung execration, they could have capitalized on that mistake.
Early game.
The early game mistake that Omega did with leaving Kurt TC behind sa purple buff. Okay? So yeah, now that you pointed out, Hate, yung Roger niya, low damage nga. Ngayon ko lang nahalata yun. Hindi ko nakita yung post-game stats
I think
after.
it all went by so fast. Again,
Yeah.
13 minutes. To be fair, you're starting to wonder if this is Hate's record, right? 0-0, very low damage output. Pero tinaman man yung buffs claimed, he was getting something.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I'm wondering now, where is the Hate? Kasi ang dami nangyari sa mapa for sure. It's just hard to just watch where Hate is. I'm sure our solo analyst and our casters from either broadcast pointed it out. But looking at the number, it's just so difficult to explain. No? Paolo?
But ito nga yung sinasabi natin kanina, 'di ba? Yung exit team fight talaga. Pero parang walang team fight na nangyari, no? Walang masyadong team fight. It's all like trading, getting objectives for Omega. Tas pinaikot-ikot lang ng Omega yung execration sa buong mapa. And they just got towers one by one, objectives one by one until na-suffocate na sila and they ended up winning the game.
Literally all of them.
Right.
Yeah.
9 plus the base. That's why it's 10, guys. 9 plus 1 kaya
Plus the
base. That's crazy. I could have sworn that Execration had something in there. Their draft looked good. Their draft looked okay. But, Paolo, your thoughts?
At first, actually, yung Omega, yung far sa offlane, medyo kine-question namin ni Chin kanina.
Kasi sayang.
about that.
There's so much coverage on Toshi there. Why would you relegate it to the side lane?
But to make up for that, yung making abilities ni Hayes with the
Yes.
Selena,
It opens up
that opened up
so-
so much. How many abyssal arrows did he hit? Okay? Tas si Haji, he's always there for the follow-up. Si Tamos naman yung aggressiveness niya, yung si Curtiz nga kanina, super good. Yung mga hurricane dance ni Akai, super well played.
Yeah. Yung counter argument dito for Execration, which made me think this was an okay draft, or at least a draft that was closer to 50-50, is because, sure, you have the Abyssal Arrows, and yes, you have the wards, the traps. Eto Max is 100% win rate on that Kagura. So I'm guessing the bush check with the umbrella could at least help out, but I guess it just wasn't enough. Meron ng bawas yung 100%.
Also, fun fact, Kagura is supposed to counter the Farsa. But there's a lot of vision game with the Selena.
And the Baksha too.
And the Baxia is supposed to counter the Farsa
Yes,
as well.
diba?
Yes, because when she turns into a bird or wind, whatever you wanna say, you can actually cancel the bird form para maging human form siya ulit.
Yeah.
That's why Baxia is so good, yung movement speed niya.
I guess. But guys, papasok ulit tayo sa draft. I do believe the game is about to begin once more. Throwing it back to our casters, it's Execration versus Omega in the semifinals, game number 2.
Maraming salamat, panelists. And syempre, maraming salamat din sa mga observations nila about that. Now we're going back into the game. Game 1, na-explain nila dito na halos parehas din eh. Parang nabigla talaga eh.
Oo.
Yung ano eh, yung
Nagkagulatan.
nagkagulatan eh. Yung execration. Ngayon, papasok tayo ulit sa ating fourth pick. Hindi pa natin to alam, Rob Luna.
Oo.
Pero mataas ang hula natin na Jawhead ban, back siya pick, or back siya ban.
Yes.
Magkakaubusan ng mga tanks.
Magkakaubasan talaga. And na-realize din naman nila kung ano yung strength dito ng Omegas. More specifically, nakita rin natin yun on game number 1. The Akai did a lot for the side of Omega. Not only the Akai, even yung Haze Selena. Well, it's time and time again. That's the reason it's part of the ban ng Execration ngayon. Talagang nagpapanalo. Haze Selena, all throughout, even on the regular season, talagang nagpe-perform yan.
Wag mo na ibigay.
Wag mo na.
Wag
Definitely.
mo na ibigay, no? Parang ang interesting, no? Kasi si Haze nandyan pa din, na nagsisilina. Tapos yung dati niyang kalaban din, na si Few, maiba lang, no? Umabot lang tayo sa ibang players, no? Ay, ganun din, nagsisilina din. So parang yung mga old-timers dito sa MPL, talagang malakas pa rin. Meron pa din.
Totoo.
Kahit season 6 na.
Exactly. And not only that, yung Selena rin kasi talaga, ito yung masasabi ko na isa sa mga hero na playmaker. 'Di ba? Parang ano siya if the Selena works on the early game, there's a lot higher chance, talaga literally more than like 80 to 90% na talagang pwede kayong manalo.
Yeah.
Kasi from the snowball na naibibigay ng Selena, bukod sa magkaka-space na yung mga kakampi mo, you could be able to scale into damage as well. Pero, syempre, going back naman pa, if ever na hindi naman mag-work yung Selena nyo, pwede pa rin siyang mag-utilize or maging utility, provide vision through the traps, or probably on the late game, yung term natin, makahula, or makatama ka ng specific hero, syempre, na importante dun sa kabila at walang purify, you could be able to jump on it and kill it at the same time.
Bagay talaga sa mga playmaker heroes itong Selena na to. Kung ikaw ay mahilig sa mga kill. First blood.
Yung yung ayaw ng mga nagpa-farm lang basta-basta. Yung talagang gusto nila yung talagang na-utilize nila yung buong mapa. And this is how Omega really plays it.
Yeah,
Hindi sila yung tipo ng team na parang tara hintayin muna tayo ng labas ng turtle or tara hintayin muna tayo na mag-level 4 si ganito. They already know one of their mostly pala ng kanilang mga winning condition is their early game.
Early game talaga. Early game. Isa yan sa mga early game. If I'm not mistaken, one time lang naglaban ang Execration at ang Omega. And yung Omega ay nakascore pa dito ng 2-1. So right now, it's 3-1.
Yes.
Kung ika-count mo tong laban na to. So, uulit lang yung ating draft dito. Makikita natin Barats, Uranus. Wala na palang Hellcurt. Wala na rin yung Esmeralda pala dito. So talagang supports ang iniintay natin. Here we go, the Alice and the Yuzong. For sure, ito na yung mga hero sa side lane. Dito papasok yung sinasabi mo, no? Alam mo na kung sino yung gagamit agad.
Yun yung yun lang siguro yung difference in between the teams. Kasi sa Omega, they have this choice pa na paiba-iba yun. Though, their mid lane definitely gonna be Haji all the way. Pero dito kasi sa Execration, their side lane is gonna be Benny and Sagit to whatever. Pero it's look like Roger
nagbago
ang napili dito ng Execration. So, meaning to say, they already secured the Roger. Kumbaga, kanina pinag-usapan natin, they might hold it for up until that situational pick, yung 4th and 5th nila na slot. Pero, ayaw na nilang i-risk yun.
So, hindi pala Khalid. Hindi pala Khalid, guys. Nagkaroon lang kasi ng tech difficulties yung mga players natin. So, pumayag naman ang ating mga league ops. No? Kasi naman yan pag may mali, double check ng league ops kung viable, then go.
Yes.
No, baka kasi marami nagtataka na
bakit Roger?
Kanina
Khalid.
Oo, Khalid. So, we got information na nagkaroon ng onting bug dito yung pag-pick ng Khalid kanina and hindi sinasadya. Hindi talaga sadya, no? Ng Exe. Kaya ngayon, napasab. Roger talaga yung totoo nilang pick. So, nagbago lahat. Yung usapan natin ngayon dito, Rob Luna, kanina ng mga tanks, wala na. Baksha and Akai, yun,
Oo.
yun lang yung binan. Pero open pa yung Johed.
Yes, so clearly, Execration is banning hits hero. Siya yung sinashutdown nila dito. Meanwhile, yung pinag-usapan natin kanina, yung mga matatapang na pwedeng gamitin ni Etomax dito, pino-force talaga siguro siya dito na magkagura.
Lunox. Oh, Kagura nga.
Oo, this might be, or
Ninakawan.
Angela.
Oh!
Alright. This is kinda slow for the side of Execration.
Parang wala na rin pakialam actually si Mr. Worldwide nung pinik yung Angela.
Yeah.
Pansin mo, parang nung na-pick nila yung Johed at saka Lunox, umapir na lang si Mr. Worldwide, hindi niya natinignan
Yes.
yung Angela pick. At ganoon siya ka-confident dahil sinabi mo nga this is kinda slow para sa side ng Execration.
Oo, definitely. This is very slow. I mean, there are two ways you're gonna use your glorious pathway. It's offensive and defensive. And most of the time, this is gonna go for a defensive. Kasi there's no way na mag-i-invade dito or rather yung draft dito ng Execration. Kasi this is gonna be somehow a farming game. Yes, tingin ko they could be able to hold the side lane but their mid lane, given
Oo.
talagang magsisecure ng buff to si Hate. Then as well, babantayan dito siya ng Angela. The only thing na pwede mangyari dito is that ilipat probably yung Angela, hindi nila agay-agad ilagay doon sa gitna. Kasi sobrang magiging reactive nilang dalawa dito ni Chaknu, pati ni Etomax.
So maano na naman, mawawala na naman yung sinasabi mo na tapatan.
Yes.
Yung pagiging aggressive dito ni Hayes at saka ni Heat.
Oo, at definitely, ganun ang gagawin nila dito. They do have the Farsa, they do have the Johed. Sila ang manggugulo dito para kay Hate.
Let's see, dahil game number 2 ay paparating na nga. Angela, composition, defense is the name of the game. Para sa side ngayon ng Execration, ang taas ng kanilang sustain dito, Robluna. Healing galing, kunat, tagel ng blood odd, at kung ano-ano pa, parang puro sustain heroes
Oo, sustain talaga. The only thing about Execration, they don't have this specific na burst damage. Oo, compare dito sa side ng Omega. Courtesy dito, he has the execute, he could be able to deal damage doon sa kalenya mismo. Even ang kalaban mo dyan is Yuzhong, kaya-kaya patay niyan.
Gusto ko yung pino-point out mo dito, no? I think you're trying to say na hindi agad makakapatay ang Execration kasi halos lahat ng damage output nila rip. Hindi yung bulaga.
Oo.
Hindi ganun parang mabagal na bulaga.
Mabagal na
ganun
bulaga.
No.
Gusto ko yan.
Kidding aside kasi DPS damage Hindi siya yung isang suntok agad no? So, mostly baka kay Hate yon. Pero yung mga ganong burst, nasa side ng Omega. Tingnan natin dahil si Kurt Easy ay nahuli dito ng puppets on the string. Here comes the law of punishment na meron ang hero ni Chaknu and yun yung Reap. Pwede ka naman mag-burst sa early level.
Pwede.
Oh.
Well, at least, nire-recognize yun ng Execration. A good rotation coming from them. Kasi, literally, nalulugi yung dalawang side lane nila dito. Sa top lane, si Toshi, siya yung dominant doon. Even Courtesy, yes, namatay siya doon. He was about to kill. Ang ganda lang ng pagkakabait doon ni Sagitnu.
Ang ganda nga talaga. So, medyo in-underestimate ni Courtesy dito yung galaw ng Execration doon sa baba. Pero syempre guys, since kayo ay nanonood, mag-log in lang kayo sa October 27 to November 13, mag-participate kayo sa Tricksters Village event natin at makakuha kayo ng mga Halloween candies sa Treasure Spin. Kada spin ay nagkakos ng 4 na candies lang and you can get up to 7 each day ng habang kino-complete nyo yung mga taso. Ano pang hinihintay nyo? Go na dahil mukhang nagka-go na nga sila dito sa bandang gitna. Si Heat ang namatay but it's now a 2-2 para sa laban natin.
It's gonna be a 2-2. I guess, Execration, they're really doing well sa mga ikot nila dito para sa Omega. But still, side lane of Omega dito, I think sila pa din yung mas superior.
Speaking of side lane, mukhang ang taas ng kalamangan ngayon ni Toshi. Doon sa top against kay Benny Cutie. Parang hindi nakakaporma ngayon si Benny Cutie. Look at Toshi right now. Siya yung laging umaabante. Swerte na lang ni Benny Cutie dito kasi nga mystery shop siya. So makakahabol pa rin siya sa items.
Makakahabol siya. But yun nga lang, yung power spike kasi, alam naman natin ng Lunox, once it gets level 4, definitely kayang-kaya niyang i-outscale dito ang Alice since hindi pa naman ganun kadami yung kanyang orbs.
Oo nga ang gagawin lang siguro ni Benny Cutie dito ay spam ng waves, pero mauuna si Toshi pagdating sa poke. Speaking of poking, Glorious Pathway hindi na pinapunta doon. At si Toshi nandito sa gilid. The Heart Guard will not save Chakno. What a play para kay Mr. Fundamental. Saan ka pupunta? Dito ka muna with the ejector. Hindi din naabot yung pangalawang ejector na yon. So Omega getting eto Max and Chakno, pero libreng turtle para sa side ng Execration.
Yes, but that's just a consolation for them. At least, merong nakuha doon yung Execration kasi talagang mag-snowball dito ang Omega. Kung nangyari yun, tapos sila pa yung nag-initiate doon sa Turtle, well, at least Execration are already recognizing kung saan tayo nagiging mahina, doon tayo muna sa kabila. Kasi ang rotation talaga dito, specifically on the early game, pakita sa atin ng Gillette instant replay. Almost na makakatakas dito si Chakno. Medyo nagkamali doon ng ulti si Toshi, pero patay pa rin. Ito pa mahirap, no? Pagka sa Angela, kadalasan nagiging buy one, take one.
Yun nga eh. Buy one, take one. Tignan natin kung sulit nga ba yan dahil si Benny Cutie ay unang magagalawan. Ang ganda dito ng kanyang ultimate para mabuhay pa siya. Pero yung Chaos Balls ay tatama na sa kanya habang si Hate dito nag-buy one, take one na din. Sa kanyang Angela nakakampi. At si Hate ay mukhang magbaback na lang din. Execration will actually get kills. Pero may ejector na gagawin dito si Hate. And si Hate ay makakakita ng isang bonus kill. So sabi ni Hate, teka lang Hate, bigyan kita ng extra kill.
Oo, ang ganda. Ang ganda na naging movements doon ni Hate. I mean, yung pagkaka-ejector sa kanya, medyo napaganda pa. Kasi nakuha niya pa doon si Hate, which is lumaban pa doon sa may bush. Pero this is gonna be it. Hate really needs to work his way dito papunta ng mid-game dahil para makahabol yung kanilang side lane.
At napakagandang opening na to para kay Hate. 2-0-1, ang ganda ng nakakilling spree, ang ganda ng farm, level 9. It seems like ito na yung pagbawi niya sa nakaraang game. Speaking of pagbawi, mukhang babawiin nila ngayon si Toshi. Puppets on a string, tama dito kay Kurt DZ. At mukhang walang makuha ang Exe. Again, walang burst damage. At dito na ang back up! Hajizi! Mula sa malayo, mula Batanes hanggang Hulo, inikot ang buong mapa para umabot dito sa baba. Nakakuha sila ng 2.
Yon. Siguro anticipation coming from Haji. Na akala ko, ang gagawin niya na kagad kasi ang una niya lang nakita doon was Chakno. Pero alam niya rin na nandun din yung Angela and this gonna be the second turtle. Execration ulit ang mag-i-initiate.
Pero tignan natin buhay ngayon si GZ para dito sa turtle take. Nandito rin si Heat, inaabangan. Execration, actually. Libreng turtle. Nasa harap ng Omega, hindi nila kinuntes.
Yes, looks like Hate dito. Ito na yata yung hinahanap natin dito na step up game para sa kanya and it's really working well para sa side ng Execration. Though, yung kalamangan in terms of the network and nandun pa rin sa Omega, this is all because yung early game advantage nila. Now, Execration, they're dancing on the tune dito ng Omega pero sumasabay sila.
Sumasabay na no? Kumbaga, kung kumanan yung paa, kumakaliwa ka naman ngayon.
Yes.
At ngayon, nakita na natin dito yung Wind Talker ni Hate. So nauna siya dito kay Hajizi. Ang tanong, paano niya to ma-activate? Robluna. Actually, he's 1 level ahead of Hajizi. Meron pa siyang mga turtle buffs. Ngayon, ayan DHS, kakabuo pa lang ni Hajizi dito. It's time for Execration to unleash the Hate.
Yes. Unleashing the Hate nga talaga dito, Manjin. Kasi ang maganda pa dito sa laban na to, wala pang tore na nababasag. Either of the two. Yes, Omega, sabi natin dito, one of their winning condition, or rather power spike, is the early game. Kaso hindi nila yun na-utilize, na-maximize. Dahil sinabayan sila dito ng Execration.
So baka nga umabot pa tayo doon sa late game na gustong gawin lagi ng side ng Execration. Speaking of basag, hindi nga nila nabasag bigla si Chakno dito. So kahit papano, nagkaka-items ang Execration, sumasabay na din.
Sumasabay talaga. Saka malalaman mo na medyo nalugi talaga dito ang Omega. Kasi courtesy dito, yes, he has this execute, pero hindi niya magamit.
Hindi talaga, pero si Heat ay nandito na para mag-back up. Si Hate, tumatakbo, Heat and Hate, magka-rhyme, pero napakagandang unstoppable force. Killing spree na pala sa kabilang kanto. Dito si Hajizi. Habang si Chakno ay hindi na nag-survive. Yung turtle ngayon na pangatlo ay mag-up na. Benny Cutie, sa spam niya lang yung kanyang ultimate para maubos dito ang minion. So, failed attempt para kay Heat, pero si Heat may libreng kill na naman.
May libreng kill. Looks like hate talaga dito. Sabi nga natin kanina, parang diesel. Nag-iinit na talaga ang karburador dito ng lobo na to, Manjin. And this is what we want to see for Execration. Yes, malakas tayo sa late game, pero sumusuntok din tayo sa umpisa at sa mid game.
Kumbaga sa bida, nagpapabugbog muna sa umpisa. Rob Luna, ayan ang kasabihan dito ng mga Pilipino. Kaso again, this is Omega, methodical, parang halos lahat ng ginagawa dito ng Execration ay hindi nag-work. Pero nandito na Wolf Pounds ni kaibigang Hate. Ayun yung ultimate dito ni AGC at sa wakas, nakuha nila ang KDA machine. Hate, nagwala na! Sumigaw, oh, wow! Hate with a double kill.
Wow, this is very spectacular. Ang ganda ng pinapakita dito ni Hate. Kung mapapansin mo, talagang yung pang-hold, even with Chakto doon, inabangan niya yung Order of Brilliance. Pero Hate dito might want to have an ejector sa isang miyembro ng Execration.
Nahirapan dito ang Omega na mahuli nila yung early game kagaya ng sinabi mo, Rob. And mukhang online na. Galit na si Hate.
Yes, galit na galit. And not only that, naiwan na rin nila si Benny Cutie. Yes, nandito si Hate, pero wag nating kakalimutan that Benny Cutie is one pseudo carry din para sa side ng Execration. And Sagit, no, just to rub it in.
Nag-iisang Benny Cutie. Siya na nga lang ata ang Cutie.
Oo.
Dito sa MPL na pwede pang maging problema ng side ng Omega. Kung napakalaki ng problema ni Hate, paano pa si Benny Cutie mamaya? Pero napakaganda ng ejector dito para kay Chaknu. Here comes Chaknu, pero pulado agad si Chaknu hanggat siya'y nawala. Pero eto na naman si Hate. Kumalmot ng Berserker Barrage. Habang si Benny Cutie ay nagla-live steal doon. Nilabas ni sa gitno ang Dragon at mukhang wala nang patutunguhan yan. Bukod kay Hajisi na nagpa-farm lang dito sa bandang taas. Execration once again getting another team fight.
Yes, getting another team fight. But Omega still, sabihin na natin dito that Execration are winning left to right, pero yung gold natin dito, sumasabay pa rin naman for the side of Omega.
Kasi kahit papano nakakapitas pa rin yung Omega at mukhang sila yung nagdidikta lagi ng tempo.
Yes.
Kung kailan magsa-start ang laban. At ang ginagawa dito ng Exe, nagre-react lang.
Nagre-react. So, the question is, how does Omega utilize? Yes, working pa rin naman dito si Haji. Look at his KDA, 4-1-4. Most of the time, nandun pa rin siya sa mga team fight. Kaso nga lang, medyo nadadrag down sila dito ng mga side lane nila ngayon.
Oo. Meanwhile of side lane, mula sa gilid dito si Heat with the ejector. Benny Cutie nag-pop ng kanyang tagal ng kanyang ultimate. First kill going blood, wala siyang mahuhuli. Yung Lord natin ay buhay na. Nagsiset up yung dalawang team. 11 to 10. Nagalit yung Lord. Sabi ni Lord, uy, magulo kayo.
Oo, nagalit nga talaga. So I really like how courtesy na yung pag-adapt niya dito, going for the Deadly Blade and now the Curse Helmet. Ang tingin ko dito, magiging pseudo tank na ang trip dito ni Courtesy.
Speaking of pseudo tank, siya na nga tumatangin na lahat dito. Nako, yung Angela ay pumasok na rin sa kanya. Hindi siya mapatay. Blowing blood out para kay Benny Cutie. Si Heat ngayon ang unang mawawala. Eto Max nandito na rin. Puppets on a string. Hajizi tumalon doon sa pader. Habang si Toshi ay pulado na din. Tinamaan siya ng mga hangin ng Windtalker hanggang naging yellow na lang si Benny Cutie. Killing spree para sa kanya. Ubos ang team ng Omega.
They can finish it.
Execration. Tatapusin pa nila yung laban. Mukhang oo nga.
Kaya to. Kaya
Kayang-kaya
It's
nga
only Heat. Ang tagal pa ng susunod na hero.
Mr. Fundamental, nandito. Tatapusin pa. Hindi kaya ni Heat. Execration will tie this series 1-1.
Wow, Execration! From the first game na sobrang down, binaliktad nila, they returned the favor ngayon sa Omega and clearly, Manjin, wala tayong magiging 3-0 sa araw na to dahil ang Execration, Exe-shot, they do have a shot in this series.
They're not throwing away their shot. Ganon na ganon nga at nakita mo si Sagitno nung pagkatayo niya. Nung sinasabi niyong 3-0, 3-0. Hindi pwede. Sa amin yan. Napaka-intense ang laban na to kasi one-sided yung game number 1. Ngayon itong game number 2, hindi malayo eh. All out execution. Nung hindi naging effective yung sinasabi mong Omega strategy ng early game, bumuhos bigla ang Exe.
Bigla ang Exe. Not only that, kakaibang hate yung nakita natin sa laban na yun. Hindi yun yung hate na nakita natin during the first game na medyo nagiging reactive. Now, siya yung nag-set ng tempo. Though Chakno, isa rin siya sa pinaka naging rason kung bakit tumapang at yung early game dito ng Execration ay naging maganda.
Uminit na si Hate at uminit na yung dalawang teams. Actually, may magpapainit pa dahil mainit din ang ating analysis na hatid sa atin ni Kaibigang Wolf.
Thank you so much, man, Gene, and syempre sa mga casters din natin all throughout the Tagalog broadcast and the English broadcast. My name is Wolf, your analyst, and what a game number 1 mula sa Omega and Execration bumawi ng game number 2. Sinabi ng mga casters natin na parang diesel engine down na nag-init. And you can really feel that happening in game number 2. Dito sa ating draft, nakakatuwa na ang Execration ay nagpakita ng kakaiba. Yung mga tipong mga heroes na sila lang ang nagiging successful. Let's just say na ang Angela ay isang hero na kahit sinong namang team ay pwedeng gamitin. But we're happy to see Execration showing us something different in this game. If you're looking at the lineup of Omega, konti lang talaga yung kayang makapatay agad ng heroes, well, in the early stages. In the late game, surely Lunox, malakas ang burst niyan, and Farsa and Ling. Pero sa lane stage, mid-game, hindi nila kakayaning patayin si Chakno or si Sagitno or si Benecutie dahil sa tulong ng Angela ni Etomax. This is a defensive play ng Execration, pero ginamit nila in an offensive manner. Binigyan nila ng confidence boost si Hate at si Chakno. Imagine this, laging nagda-dive sila Hate at si Chakno na walang katakot-takot dahil sa tulong ng Angela. Actually, nung mga unang stages ng game, kakabahan kayo kung fan ka ng Execration. Kasi bakit sila nagda-dive? Bakit sila nagiging aggressive? Nung nagkaroon ng magandang timing, si Etomax nakakuha siya ng item, yung ultimate niya naging available na. Tapos kumunat na rin after the first set of items for the tanks and the side lanes of Execration, hindi sila tumigil sa paglaban. Masasabi natin hindi yun yung pinaka-safe na play, but it worked for Execration, so we cannot blame them for that. Now, we can see, syempre, mamaya sa participation ng bawat player dito sa ating laro, nataas ang damage output ni Toshi on the Lunox as well as had GZ. But, again, wala silang pang closeout. Unfortunately, para sa Omega, isang clash lang ang nakadali sa kanila sa Execration. Siguro pwede nating argue na pag nagkaroon nga ng late game situation, Ling, baka kayanin niya yung Roger, or at the same time, Roger, kakayanin niya yung Ling. As well as this Lunox, magsiscale siya with Toshi. However, hindi nga natin nakita yun because of that one clash. And I think that if we see the highlights later, makikita natin kung ano ba talaga ang nangyari doon. But again, I would want you to focus on the fact na yung timing ni Etomax on this Angela and as well as yung timing ni Hate sa pagiging aggressive niya ay naging crucial dito sa mga nangyari nga sa clash in the highlights of that match. You see the early stages, obviously, balitan lang dito ang pare sa teams natin. Kakabahan ka din talaga kay Chakno dahil masyado silang aggressive. And they're trying their best. Pero nakikita mo naman, Chakno can play aggressively dahil sa nakikita nating plays out of this Angela. And nagkaroon ng palitan ng plays ang pares na teams. There came to a point na ang Execration ay nagpe-play around dun sa fact na kaya nilang mag-push. And that's something na kailangan nating i-comment sa Execration. Meron silang objectives after taking down their opponents sa kills. Ang gandang bait play din nun. Chakno, siya yung kadalasang namamatay sa side ng Execration dahil napapatay siya ng Omega. But the fact that Hate is not being punished at all by Omega, that's good. Ito yata yung na-try ni Hate na tumakbo at makakatakbo siya afterwards. I think Farsa will be here after. Hindi yung isang clash pala yon. But you can see si Sagitno, kaya din niya maging aggressive. Tapos may wrap around mula kay Hate at kay Chakno kasi nagbuhos na sila doon kay Sagitno ng mga skills nila. And that is when you know that Execration knows kung ano yung magandang timing sa pag-clash. Katulad ng dive na yun ni Hate. Tapos, rinse and repeat mga clash. I think this is the clash that we can see yung Execration ay unti-unti na nga makakuha ng advantage. Una sa lahat, naging aggressive sila with Benecutie. Dumating yung timing ng Winter Truncheon ni Benecutie na available na siya. They know na pwede talaga sila mag-dive. This specific clash right here, as you can see, hindi na natin ipopause kasi kita-kita nyo naman sobrang bilis, di ba? But that is off of the aggressiveness and the respect of timing para sa side ng Execration. Siguro, maiisip nyo yung sitwasyon sa bootcamp nila habang pinag-uusapan nila yung clash na yon. Siguro sinabi ni Benny Cutie na, oy, may winter trance na ako, pwede na kayo maging matapang dyan. Tapangan nyo lang. And then, everybody just chimed in. Talagang coordinated yung pag-atake nila. And this guy, Hate, the MVP, 6-0-6. I would agree with what the caster said. Ibang klase yung pinakita niya sa game number 2 from comparing his performance in game number 1. So, what are the keys to victory? What are the breaks of the game? Para sa side ng Execration, napakasimple lang. Let hate. Channel the hate. Kumbaga, yun na lagi natin sinasabi. And if you want to support Execration, scan nyo lang tong QR code na yan. What they did for Execration was all about kung paano sila coordinated sa laban, sa kanilang communication ay nandyan. We know that Execration is a team na parang magtutropa talaga sila lahat. And that really is what they need to be banking on. Para naman sa Omega, if you want to support them, scan this QR code. And maybe what they can do para sa game number 3, para makakuha ulit ng panalo laban sa Execration, honestly, just do what they're used to be doing. Kung ano man yung recipe nila sa game 1 at game 2, hindi naman masama. It's just that ang Execration ay mas confident at mas maangas sa game number 2. By the way, do visit the new official MPL-PH page by scanning this QR code para naman din updated kayo sa lahat ng happenings sa mundo ng Mobile Legends. Also, would like to ask for your opinion sa mga insights ninyo. We will be showing some QR codes that you can fill in with the surveys. May mga katanungan po tayo dyan at matutulungan natin ang improvement, of course, ng Mobile Legends. Another survey. Do hope na nagpa-participate kayo sa ating mga surveys just by scanning the QR code. At syempre, para din naman makabalik sa inyo mga nanonood ngayon, mamimigay kami ng mga malulupit na giveaway codes all throughout the playoffs. Every single game, marami po tayong mga giveaway codes na ibibigay. At nangyayari yan every time na mayroong analysis segment. So we do hope you stay in sa panonood habang tayo po ay nagbibigay ng mga analysis para hindi lang kayo mananalo ng mga codes, marami pa kayong matututunan at pwede nyo pang magamit sa inyong mga laro. That has been game number 2 and all of a sudden, 1-1 na nga ang ating score. Napakabilis na game number 2. Talagang nag-snowball bigla, nag-death ball bigla ang side ng Execration. And I'm sure that Omega is gonna be shocked. But we don't know. Ano nga ba ang magiging adjustments ng parehas na teams coming into game number 3? Alamin natin yan. But perhaps, balik natin sa mga casters natin.
Maraming salamat sa napakalupit na analysis, kaibigan Wolf. And yes, game 3, naging best of 3 ang ating semifinals. And I think in-expect natin na pwede nga mangyari itong ganitong setup para sa side ng Omega at sa side ng Execration. Rob Luna, may sinasabi ka kanina about kay Mr. Fundamental Heat na kapag tinarget mo talaga to, maapektuhan ng todo ang side ng Omega.
Oh, exactly. I mean, not technically na siya yung na-target kasi nakuha niya pa rin naman. Signature hero pa rin naman hit yung Jawhead. And I was really surprised. Hindi tayo nakakita ng mga the usual invade that they're doing.
Oo, kasi may Farsa kayo, may Jawhead kayo, pero parang ang nag-i-invade pa yung Execration eh.
Oo. Not technically nag-i-invade. It's more on sila yung nagsiset ng tempo sa mga ganks. Kasi kung maisip natin, lamang sobra yung side lane ng Omega, like on the first before actually lumabas yung turtle, during the laning phase at least, the 3 minute and 40 seconds hanggang sa mawala ang energy shield. Kung maisipin mo, almost, kaya masyadong malalim si Curtis sa baba kasi lamang siya kay Benny Cutie doon sa may Alice. Kaso nga lang, from the rotation na pinakita doon nila Chaknu, napunahan nila. Tapos sa top naman, rather baliktad pala. Yung Alice pala yung nasa top, Yuzhong pala yung nasa baba. So anyway, yung taas naman, lamang din, si Toshi.
Lamang si Toshi.
Sa Alice, yes.
Oo.
So, meaning to say, really game, lamang yung mga side lane nyo. So, the only one na hindi nag-perform, at least for the side of Omega during second game, was their mid lane. It's not necessarily Haji, it's just that na hindi natin nakita yung aggressiveness ng tank and support dito ng Omega, wherein yun yung ginawa nila nung game number 1.
Oo. Which is, I think, kapag dumating tayo sa early game, first 3 minutes of the game, pangalawang beses na natalo ang Omega. Kanina, akala natin panalo sila eh. Kasi nakuha niya GZ, dalawang buff, pero sila yung namatayan. Is this mean na mas marunong ang Execration pagdating sa mga first blood takes?
Posible.
Oo, eh.
Posible. Pero, yeah, not really. Napaisip ako dun eh. Kasi, first blood, mahirap din i-pull off yung first blood sa trio nila sa
Sa
gitna.
trio
That is,
oo.
yun lang eh kung yung medyo magkakamali ka during the first minion wave na medyo lalaliman mo, pwede kang madikitan agad ni Chakno, then suddenly wala ka palang flicker, pwede mangyari yun. Pero that's the only thing. They don't have this specific na matagal na stun like what a Selena could be able to do para to pull off a first blood para doon sa side ng ano. Kumbaga, may yung early lang ng execration, kailangan lang nilang mapag-farm at least si Hate. And nakita naman natin nung medyo naging maganda yung ikot niya doon sa early stages of the game. Una nga nakakapatay-patay o sumasabay yung Omega eh. Pero the only thing na bawi ng execration during that time is that, yes, patayin nyo na yung side lane namin pero kunin natin turtle.
Oo. Men, si Hate pa din, no? Kung magiging paulit-ulit yung ganitong laro ni Hate, baka pwedeng i-exe na eh. Kasi si Ajizi tumabla sila eh.
Yes.
Kanina eh. Pero kasi si Ajizi, siya yung type ng carry na hindi siya yung mauuna lagi. Lagi siyang police. Diba? Lagi siyang sweeper. Pero kanina ngayon, si Hate, siya pa yung nag-i-initiate. It rhymes.
It rhymes talaga.
Umaabot pa nga sa point na binabato siya ni Hate, pero papunta pala sa kampi niya. Papunta pala sa point na pag binato si Hate pa yung mga arangkada. Binato mo ako sa kampi mo, o sige, kakalmutin ko.
Oo. Bukod doon.
Ganon eh.
Oo, bukod doon, the reason bakit din nag-enable ng ganon na kalupet si Hate was actually Chakno. Grabe, kung that was, sabihin na natin, it might look simple na humaharap doon yung Hylos, pero sobrang nakakainis yung pwesto lagi ni Chakno na parang ang awkward pumasok for the side of Omega.
Lalo na, yun talaga ang power ng isang Hylos eh, no? Lalo na't nadagdagan ng concussive blast. Parang dalawa yung yung low punishment mo. Yung second skill na nasa baba, tapos yung may concussive blast pa. So, ang daming damage output na naibibigay ng isang Hylos at level 1. So, napakalupit nga nun. And yung space na naibibigay, kagaya ng sinabi mo, on Hate is great. So, moving on, Rob. Exe this time ang pupunta sa blue side at Omega naman sa red side. This time, I think mas prefer ng Omega ang 2 picks lagi.
I guess.
Kasi mas nakakapag-set up sila ng drop eh.
At ito something to note in with execration they're already willing talaga na ibigay yung link. Kumbaga it's part of their plan na sige, kunin nyo na yung link. Yes, you have 100% win rate dito sa playoffs, pero kaya namin patunayan na kaya namin sabayan, and that's what happened on game number 2. Now, what's gonna be the priority dito for the side of execration? Is it gonna be
Pwede
a
nilang
hero?
nakawin eh.
Actually, ang iniisip ko nga sa kanila is it gonna
Yuzong.
be the Yuzong? Yeah, this is it.
Sagit, no?
This is like almost the same how Aura PH was drafting yesterday. Na
Yuzong.
pinaprioritize nila talaga yung Yuzong. But the only difference is this is the type of Yuzong na hindi sobrang aggressive. Kasi maalala mo, si Kiluwas yesterday was going on the execute pero hindi niya na ma-maximize. Pero dito, si
Correct.
Sagit nung he was on the flicker. So that only says, sinasabi lang no, na hindi siya ganun ka-aggressive, going for just bloodless axe and definitely parang pampakunat na. Kasi kung isipin mo, in theory, execute works best kung gusto mo lang pasukin yung backlanes dito nung kalaban nyo and an easy kill to their support. Pero para sa the way execution drafts, gusto nila tanky yung kanilang Yuzong.
Which is actually, kaya nga Sagit no pangalan niya. Tigasno.
Tigasno.
Pag binaliktad mo yung Sagit, Tigas. So, this time, Yuzong, okay, Yuzong opening, pero mukhang Ling pa din.
Oo.
Ang side ng Omega dito, Rob Luna. So sabi nila dito, bigay nyo sa amin ha. Ngayon, nakaw naman ang side ng execration ng Farsa.
Oo.
I like it. Ikaw ba?
Definitely, I like it. Saka ang bilis eh. Kumbaga, hindi na nga sila halos umabot ng 5 seconds, alam na nila kagad. Sige, pag na-open Farsa to agad, then kuha agad yung Roger. But still, this is almost the same what Omega did pick sa first 2 nila, rather itong pangatlo. So ngayon, since nawala ngayon ang Farsa sa kanila, wala rin sa kanila ang Selena.
Ay, wala palang Selena.
They might get forced dito. I'm not sure kung pipiliin dito ni Hayes na gumamit like at Shango
or Valier.
Valier?
Maybe Valier?
Posible. Tingin ko Valier works best since meron naman sila ditong Basha. Or
okay.
Or I was still thinking na kung gagamitin nila tong Basha on the sideline. Pero that's a very good pick to be able to deny para sa side ng execution.
Execration. Kasi pwedeng gamitin ni Chakno yan. Ang inintay natin dito ay hero din ni Chakno para sa side ng Exe. I like the Choban dito, Rob Luna, ng side ng Omega. Tinanggalan ngayon si Benny Cutie. Hindi pa natin alam yung hero ni Benny Cutie dito. Pero again, open pa yung mga marksman. 1-1 is open against the back siya.
It's gonna be, actually magiging awkward siya pagka nag 1-1 pa dito ang execution. I was thinking for like a Harit.
Harit na lang,
Oo,
no?
kung sakaling hindi man ito yung magiging hate hero. Pero if ever we'll be thinking ng side lane, buhay pa din naman dito yung Khalid. Still gonna be a fine option para sa kanila.
Yep.
They could potentially use a Ruby on the side. To be honest, naghihintay ako, Manjane, nung mga tipong those supports like the Kadita, na pinakita sa atin ng BREN yesterday.
Yes.
Or even if ever man may gumamit, mag-try ng Veil, I'm not really sure it's not gonna work dito sa meta natin sa Pilipinas.
Ako gusto ko makita ulit yung yung mga Lunox talaga eh.
Pwede.
Lunox support. Kanina yung Lunox side lane eh.
Side lane, yes.
Mukhang mas pinaprioritize ngayon ng Omega yung mga mage side lane.
Oo.
At ayan na, Claude,
I like the ban. Kasi that fits well para sa draft ng execration eh. Na yung the usual avarice type. Na pang side lane talaga.
Na Claude,
definitely.
So what is the last ban ngayon ng side ng Exe? Ang kulang sa Omega ay support. Or isa pang side lane. Baka Freya?
Your team is
Angela. Okay. Support Angela for the Angeling. I like it. At mukhang napangiti si Curtizy.
Mukhang it's not part of their plan eh. No? So, what's gonna be it for the side of Omega? Is it gonna be at Chango? Will they take it just to hold on para sa kanilang papuntang late game insurance? Or gusto ba nila na mas maging aggressive? Are they gonna pick for Aloy? I don't
Kailangan
think so.
nila ng stun eh.
Yes,
Ang
kailangan
Omega
nila
eh.
ng isang magandang pang crowd control dito. But Kagura, it's the Chango, okay. But Kagura yung sinabi ni Madam.
Hindi, ka lang, hindi mo lang narinig Chango.
Ay, Chango pala.
Parang ang sinabi kasi, can you?
Oo. Medyo na pala. Pero anyway,
Pero Chango,
that works for them. So meaning to say, ganito yan. They have a potential na pumake dito ng another carry for the side of Omega, or pwede rin sila that they could go very aggressive dito to pick another fighter na palaban. Oo.
Pwedeng Khalid?
Is it
Siguro?
Khalid?
Wanwa, ayun na.
Oh.
Sinabi natin to kanina, Rob Luna. Open ang 1-1, maganda sa Valier. Maganda sa back siya. Plus isa pang side lane. Tank pala. Okay, side lane na pala yung 1-1. Isa pang tank, ayun ang gusto kong sabihin. Akai Parsa combo, may 1-1 late game ka. Anong sagot ngayon ng Omega?
Yun talaga ang tanong. Pero I like how these two picks went on for execution. This is it's like a Viva RRQ type of lineup. Hindi ito YSS, pero I guess gagana pa rin naman ito with a Roger to pair up. Pero yung Akai kasi dito, this would definitely do wonders para sa dalawang marksman dito ng execution.
Nag-agree ako dito sa Akai pick na Toro Blue na para sa side ng execution. Ang daming pwedeng setup para sa Parsa, lalo na tang Exe, gusto nila yung mga kill type. Pero early game, for Omega with the Natalia.
Mukhang so we already know, mga kaibigan, what's gonna be both their winning condition. If this goes late, Execration has the higher chance to win this, but Omega, if they could pull off all throughout the other two games, talagang they're really banking on their early game.
Early game talaga kasi sabi ng Omega ay wag na natin paabutin doon kasi ang taas ng decision making prowess ng side ng Execration dito. Yes. Rob Luna, binago ng Omega yung formula nila. Wala silang masyadong stuns ngayon, pero yung early game damage sila, meron another side lane mage para kay Toshi. Nawala na sa kanya dito yung mga Freya, Nawala na yung mga Tams, nawala na yung mga X-Borg. Pangatlong side lane mage. Mababago kaya nito ang tides ng game? Kasi 1-1, as a side lane, kailangan pang maging safe sa umpisa.
Yes. Definitely magiging parang stalemate for the side lane dito kung saan man yung Chango. Pero what excites me dito for the side of Omega is how Haze utilize the map. Kasi Natalia, definitely, siya ang magsiset ng tempo sa laro na to.
Saan pupunta si Haze dito? Game number 3 is coming your way, boys and girls. Mag-uumpisa na naman sa orange box si Heat. Habang ang Omega ay bibigyan lang ng time. Si Ajizi, execration actually. Chakno spotting out Heat. Tignan natin kung magka-counter-invade ba sila.
Oo, pero looks like hindi na. Dahil parang sinilip lang ni Chakno kung ano yung ginagawa doon sa may orange box.
Oo. Sakit.
Ito yun eh. Ito talaga yun eh. Ito talagang papansinin nyo mga kaibigan kung saan umikot ang Natalia. The first 3 minutes, talagang pasasakitin ang ulo dito ng execration.
At saka kasi kung akay ka, wala ka masyadong gagawin kung wala ka pang Townsend Pounder eh. Meron ka lang nung Pragi. Yung Pragi lang, yung second skill lang yung ano mo, yung magagamit mo for a time. Pwedeng pang poke, pwedeng pang normal, pero hindi ka rin makakalapit. So talagang wala dito yung execration early game na first 5 minutes bugbugan. Pero ngayon, level 2 na siya.
Oo, level 2 na
Ayun
siya.
na.
Ayun na.
Okay.
Sabi ni Chakno, kanina ka pa.
Batuin kita ng blender.
Oo. So now, mga kaibigan, it's about Omega. Medyo at sila talaga yung papasok dito. Giving Haji. Kumbaga, ang setup ng tank and ni Haze and Heat dito ulit is that to provide Haji the time na umikot sa mapa, mag-farm, get left and right, o top or bottom ng mga crab, and possibly get a pick-off.
Oo. Pick-off type ang gusto laro dito ng Omega. Now looking at the preparations, Rob Luna, pangalawang beses natin nakita, Weakness Finder plus Aegis. Second time, 1-1 Aegis side lane. We're back to Season 1. Para dito kay Benny Cutie. And nagiging effective to para sa kanya.
Oo, effective yung Aegis talaga. No sense din naman since meron na silang Red 3.
Speaking of Red 3, Benny Cutie, actually kakabati lang natin. Yung Aegis ay hindi naging effective para mabuhay siya doon. Hitang na mula dito, binabaton niya na lang si Eto Max as Toshi will save him by using the Meteor Shower. So Haze making the plays para dito sa side ng Omega.
Oo. Speaking of plays, we do also have here mga kaibigan from October 27 hanggang November 13, mag-login kayo sa inyong mga laro and participate in the Tricksters Village event and get Halloween candies for treasure spin. Each spin will cost 4 Halloween candies and you can get up to 7 each day. At pag na-complete nyo yung task, magkakaroon kayo ng Terisla Special Skin na Hammer Giant. Guaranteed yan sa 10 spin and of course, you don't want to miss this one out.
Kunin nyo na yan, baka kunin pa ng iba.
Yes.
Yan, spin lang kayo ng spin. Speaking of spin, hindi na makagalaw ngayon si Benny Cutie dahil nai-spaman siya dito ni Toshi sa top lane. Kaya pinoprotektahan talaga siya ni Chakno. To the point na hindi na nakakagalaw si Chak dahil Omega na ay nagko-control ng mid at saka ng bottom.
Yes, but we also have to take note, Manjin, na ito talaga yung power spike ng Omega, yung early game. And there's something to note. Yes, nakuha nila dito yung first turtle of the game. Pero 1 kill in just 3 minutes, hindi nila na ma-maximize yung uptime dito ng execution ng Natalia.
Totoo, kasi parang babagal pa din eh. Yung pag-kill ng pag-kill. To the point na nakakapag-farm si na Benny Cutie. Meanwhile, Omega setting something up dito sa bandang top lane. Sumubok mag-push ang execration dito. Pero it's still gonna be Omega on getting the gold. And mukhang sila pa rin ang in control ng tempo ng laban. Speaking of tempo, ayan, kakasabi lang natin.
Yun na yun. Those were the things talaga na i-expect mo for Omega for in this type of draft. Kailangan talaga nilang maging aggressive dito. Yes, the turtle will probably be there, pero ito mukhang bawi dito sa top ang X.
Bawi talaga ng Deviant Sword. Ito na ang Tempest of Blades. Aegis coming in para kay Benny Cutie. But Omega will punish Benny Cutie's overextension doon sa top lane. At sila ang makakalamang pa rin. 12,000 gold against 10. Sa Gitno, nagpa-farm lang sa baba. Pero still, itong top lane, mukhang nalulugi na si Benny Cutie. Kailangan na ata nila mag-switch.
Possibly a switch or rather tiisin. Kasi if you gonna switch the huge song doon sa may top, is almost the same thing. Kasi medyo nakakapalag yung Yuzhong dito
Kay
Sagino.
Tams.
Yes,
Oo.
sa Tamos, nakita natin nagka-cut lane pa nga doon si Sagino. That's how confident he is. So I guess okay lang na muna na medyo masacrifice dito yung buhay ni Benny Cutie as long as the other two cores ng execration dito nakakapag-farm.
Okay pa rin naman kasi pagdating sa late game, hindi na nagmamatter yung mga napitas ka ng 2 beses.
Yes.
Kung ikaw si Benny Cutie. So ngayon, pinoprotektahan siya ni Chakno, pero agresibo pa rin si Heat. At si Toshi, makikita nila si Chakno dito, pinaulanan ng mga meteor shower! Boom! Sakto pa sa pinakahuling pixel. At mukhang hindi pa tapos ang laban dito dahil yung Dragon ay papasok na. Turtle coming in. Nalasit dito ni Eto Max dahil sa kanyang ultimate with the Curse of Crow as well. So nakabawi ng onte ang execration. Pero tingin mo, panalo ba sila dun sa exchange?
I guess they have to take it one way or another kasi compare na namatay na nga doon sa top. Medyo siguro na-anticipate din ni Benny Cutie na hindi kakayanin ng buhay doon ni Chakno. He could be able to block the meteor shower from there kaso hindi niya nagawa or rather yung normal attack niya nag-force na mag-lip siya doon sa bandang kaliwa.
Oo. Speaking of lip, kasam lip para dito kay Curtizy. And kung nakita natin yung mga items doon kanina, Rob Luna, no? Buo na yung magic, yung burning sensation para dito kay Toshi. Kaya talagang tinutuloy-tuloy niya yung pagbuhos ng meteor shower.
Yes. Pero something to note for execration, as yes, sila yung medyo nahihirapan dito going into dito sa early to mid game natin. Pero yung si Eto Max is doing his job. Wag lang mabasag agad yung gitna dito na execration. Like for example, up to 10 to 12 minutes, yung mga side lane, yung mga cores nila dito would have enough time na makabawi.
Nag-agree ako sa Rob kasi again, kung ikaw ay type ng lineup na gusto mo ng pitas kayo, kailangan nyo na mas maraming opening.
Yes.
At kapag ang gitna na yan ay sarado pa, may tori pa dyan, hindi ganun kadali pumasok sa mga jungles ninyo. Mas mabagal yung pasok mo.
Oo, mas mabagal. So, medyo na-realize din yon ng Omega na hindi sila pwedeng maging hold lang sa gitna and they have to make something happen at yun na nga yung dito sa ibaba.
Talagang pipilitin na itong laban na to dahil si Heat ay pulado. Si Hate actually ang lalasit sa kanya by using the pounds. So, Heat is down for the count. 18 seconds left. Meanwhile, tuloy-tuloy pa rin ang laban dito sa baba. Haze naman! Nag-give up ng 2 kill doon ng Omega after the switch. And execration with a snap nakabawi. Ano nangyari doon, Rob?
Medyo na out of position, honestly, doon si Hayes. And I guess bigla rin siyang na-reveal. Pero ito yung turtle dito. Another one for execration.
Isa na naman para kay Heat dito at tutulong na si Heat. Okay, Rob. Execration. Nalugi sila dito ng early doon sa top lane. Pero kagaya ng sinabi mo, yung mga heroes nila dito, okay lang hanggat si Benny Cutie nagsasacrifice 2 deaths. Nakakuha sila ng mga biglaang kills. Ano ngayon ang conversion na kailangan nilang gawin? Kasi ang Omega mukhang na-disrupt bigla yung rotation.
Oo, na-dismantle yung early game strategy nila dito. They can still fight it naman. On the late game, they still have dito Haji, uncontested, nakakapag-farm 2-0-1 with KDA. Pero kasi ang mahirap dito, Manjin, is that yung isa sa power spike ng Link is yung ability niya na lumipat-lipat ng lane. Pero kung mapapansin mo dito, yung 1-1, and as well dito si Sagit, nandun lang sila sa respective side lane nila. So meaning, hindi basta-basta si Haji dito na makakapag-split push.
At saka hindi niya rin kasi kaya mag-isa yun eh. Yung 1-1 at saka yung Sagit, kailangan talaga ng Omega dito ng 2 tao o 3 tao para kumuha ng kill. And eto, Max, wow, nabuhay pa doon sa attempt ng Omega. Mukhang itutuloy ng Omega to. Kailangan nila yung kill sa gitna. Hajizi with a killing spree. Sabay buo pa ng Blade of Heptasis ni Hayes.
I think sinacrifice na ni Etomax yung buhay niya doon. Kasi if ever na hindi niya ginamit yung ultimate niya doon, mababasag yung gitna. And that is something na nag-hold. Kung bakit nahihirapan i-penetrate ng Omega dito the rest of the jungle in as well with execration dahil buhay pa yung Torre sa gitna ng Exe.
Yun na nga. Pero speaking of Torre, nawala ang gitnang Torre ng Omega. Imbis na Omega may makapag-push, execration pa dahil dun sa mga side lanes na space na nagawa nila. It's still an even ball game, Rob Luna.
It is.
Ang hirap na sabihin ngayon kung sino lamang, parehas lamang, 10 minutes pa lang. And kung iisipin mo, styles clash yung nangyayari eh. Kasi Omega pumipilit ng laban, execution ngayon yung order na teka lang, saglit, di tayo lalaban tayo pag tama na yung panahon.
Oo. Yun din yung yung hinihintay din talaga ng execution. They know their power spike. Alam nila their win condition could be, their chance on getting into the late game is high, or rather winning the game kung ma-hold nila to going into the late game.
Speaking of hold, in-hold dito ni Chakno yung tower dito sa bottom lane. As the tower will fall down, launch attack daw. Sabi ng side ng execution, pero sabi mo nga, alam nila kung kailan lalaban. As Sagitno will back off.
Yes. For now, we're already heading into the late game. So, Omega, hindi nila mapasok dito yung gitna. So, I think one way for them to be able na ma-extract nila palabas. Kasi yung ginagawa ng execution, hold lang natin to. Mag-ultimate dito si Etomax sa gitna. Hindi makakapush pag-push yung Omega. And parang paulit-ulit lang, cooldown ulit, ganon, same thing will happen over and over. So I guess, for Omega dito, they have to make something happen dito sa Lord.
Kailangan persahin na. Hindi na pwedeng ligaw sa magulang. Dapat rektatanan na. Ganon yung gustong gawin ng Omega dapat dito para may mangyari.
Pero mukhang ang mangyayari, yung execution pa, yung papasok.
Naku po, sabi ng execution, tanan pala, let's go! Naku, pero sabi ni Cardizzy, makunat ako! Habang si Heat ay nandito! Huli ata si Sagitno! At pero hindi pala! Huli pala si Chakno at saka si Etomax. Habang sinabi ni Cutie, hinabol si Ace dito pero wala siyang maaabutan dahil dalawa na ngayon ang nakuha ng Omega at mukhang may bonus pang Lord na libre.
Yes, ang ganda. Ang ganda ng diversion na pinakita. Bukod sa nabasag yung gitna, mukhang may libre pang uncontested pa itong Lord na to for Omega. Perfectly executed. Medyo nalito na wala sa formation dito ang buong execution, even Chakno and Etomax.
Men, dito papasok yung sinasabi mo na dapat maging patient yung execution na Omega yung pumasok. Omega yung magpuwersa ng sapak. Pero ang nangyari kanina, para bang nanggigil sila? May hurricane dance naman ako bakit di natin pwedeng unahan?
Totoo yan. And I think we have to thank, or rather Omega had to thank Hayes doon. Kasi siya yung nagbibigay nung parang anxiety for the side of execution na alam nila na nandito yung Natalia. So parang nanguhula sila in terms of the skill, nagkakas sila dun sa mga brushes. Then suddenly, iba yung nangyayari na parang nawawatak. Nagkakawatak-watak sila sa mapa to the point na nasisingle out sila, and that's where Omega is going in.
Ang ganda ng pinoint out mo dun, Rob, na pag may kalaban ka nga talagang Natalia, lagi mong iisipin nasan yun eh. And execution, knowing na wais sila sa game, pag nakita nila, nahulaan nila yun, pasan sila, ninja, manggigigil talaga sila sa kill. To the point na, basag na yung tori nila dahil nga na-sacrifice nila yung patient game nila kanina.
Oo.
Look at this.
Yung pag-hold nila kanina parang naging balewala na.
Balewala talaga dahil mukhang may laban na. Tignan natin, papasok si Hayes dito. Chukchak. Habang si Hayes ay, actually, tsumani lang dahil tore lang ang target talaga ng Omega. Heat is always there as well. Wow! Team Omega with a snap. Isang clash lang ang kailangan. Rekta, tower na kagad sa taas.
Yes, rekta. At nasasaktan na rin talaga sila dito with Toshi's damage. Yes, wala sa kanya dito yung mga kill. Pero he's the one, aside from the zoning out na binibigay ni Heat, yung may kasama mayroong backup na meteor shower.
Parang ang tawag dyan, Rob, cover fire technique.
Oo. Cover fire.
Nasa harap si Heat, umiikot-ikot, sabay malayo pa lang si Toshi, tinitira ka na.
Ay, mahirap yon.
Para siyang marksman, pero mage yung gamit niya. Oo. Pero, kaya hindi makapwesong execution.
Yes. Pero syempre, hindi natin pwedeng i-out dito. Execution, this is a lineup that has to work on the late game. They don't have two marksman. They still have here a pseudo tank with damage as well. Sagitno dito for the Yujo. If ever they'll be the one. Ma-disrupt nila dito yung backlanes. They could be able to pick off dito si Hayes or rather si Toshi. Magkakarumble pa rin naman dito ang Omega. So that's the reason ang ganda ng pag-back ng Omega. They know na pwedeng kumambak dito ang Exe.
Totoo, no? Kaya ito yung maganda sa Omega eh. Alam nila kung kailan din sila lugi eh. No? Kaya out instant, scatter out tayo. Kasi execration, pag nagdikit-dikit, gusto nila yan eh. Kasi meron silang Hurricane Dance. Meron silang setup ng Farsa. So ngayon, sa side ng Omega, Rob Luna, how can they end this? Lamang na sila. Paano nila papasukin yung loob? Kasi merong Farsa ngayon na mataas yung spam. Meron pang Akay na pwedeng pantulak ng minions.
Oo, I guess they still need to wait for the Lord or get a pick-up na posible doon kay Sagitno. Now, the top lane is open dito for execution. Now, dito natin mararamdaman na yung the split push na pwedeng gawin dito ni Haji kasi hindi na pwedeng magstay dito yung side lanes nila. Pag didikit-dikit na yung execration na yan and of course, yun nga, bawal nang humiwalay. So that's where Ling, that's where Haji gonna shine best. Pwede nga dito, since Toshio has damage, pwede, or even Hayes, kaya nilang kunin yung Lord while Haji was on the other side lane just wanting na mag-react doon ang execration.
Ito yung magandang pag-i-evolve ng Ling sa game eh, no? Yung parang hindi na siya basta-basta carry lang. Umaabot din na bandang late game. Siya na yung nag-split push.
Yeah.
Hindi nga split push, siya yung nagkakat. Kasi madali niyang makakat yung mga minion waves dahil nga sa kanyang flinch voice. So, dito na papasok yung pagiging objective-based playstyle ng Team Omega.
Yes.
Dito kay Haji Z.
Totoo yan. Look at this. Ang ganda. Mukhang may pick-off pa yata na mangyayari. Napilitan gumamit ng Black Dragon sa Sagitno.
Totoo. At napilitan din mag-ultimate dito yung Farsa. May mangyayari kaya, mahuli niya kaya si Hayes sumabog. Because of the passive, Hayes actually miscalculated the damage. Let's see, can Execration pull it off? 18-minute mark. Rob Luna,
Ilan na lang?
nakatingin tayo. 1 minuto na lang.
1 minuto na lang. I guess they need to force a Lord dito. Omega, we've had a hard time dito. Wala si Hayes, wala yung nanggugulo. They have to push this one.
Habang wala pa yung Natalia, habang wala pa yung CCTV, nagkakaroon na rin ng items dito si Benny Cutie. Hayes, napaka-crucial nung nangyaring death. Let's see, can Execration get this?
Ganda ng pwesto dito ni Haji.
Set up. Tignan natin, kalahati ang buhay. Hito, umikot-ikot. Eto na yung meteor shower. Haji doon sa bandang kilid. Tinatarget niya ngayon si Ito Max. Ito Max, kalahati na ang buhay niya. Nako, napaflicker siya. Boom! Tinusok na parang quick-quick si Ito Max. At ngayon, si Ajizi. The KDA machine came to play. Napakaganda ng flank at 3 ang nawala sa Execration. Omega will take the Lord and probably this mid lane tower.
Oh my, ang ganda. I was really looking kung ano ang gagawin doon ni Haji. He went actually on the back lane, pinuntirya niya dito si Eto Max, katabi na rin doon yung 1-1 and the rest is history.
Hindi pala sila yung nakakuha. Actually, hindi ko na alam eh. Basta alam ko, the rest is history na nga. Rob Luna, Omega, with a 2-1 victory, Mr. KDA Machine, Hajizi, with the clutch plays sa bandang hulihan.
Clutch plays at the same time, hindi na nila pinalampas pa ng 18 minuto dahil baka nga yun ang kalakasan ng Execration. Mga kaibigan, match point tayo.
Grabe, no? Sumakto pa sa buzzer beater.
Oo eh.
Na hindi nag-18 minutes.
Talagang siguro binilangan din nila yun. Sabi nila 16 minutes na yung kanina. Natin. Well, I'm not gonna blame Execration for going into that Lord. That was one of, they have the excess shot that time. Wala si Hayes, 4 versus 5. The only difference is Haji with the clutch plays, positioning himself doon sa may orange buff ng Execration. Possibly hindi na siya napansin. Eto Max went for the feather airstrike. Tinalon siya doon ni Haji. Tapos na, yung 1-1 napilitan mag-back, siya yung sinunod.
Yung positioning eh. Na positioning ni Haji, dinaan sa position and man, I think dito rin papasok yung mga sinabi ng panelists natin na mahilig din ng excess sa mga 50-50 Lord takes. At this time, hindi sila naging successful. Now with the match point, Rob Luna, ang taas ng pressure ngayon para sa mga fans ng Execration and sa Execration themselves, Omega. one victory away para maabot na nila yung inaasam nilang finals. Ibato na natin sa ating analyst na si Wolf.
Thanks so much, casters. There's a lot of things to talk about in this game, and I would say yung execution, maganda yung plano nila, but Omega is far prepared for this. My name is Wolf, your analyst, and let's talk about Game 3 of this best of 5 laglagan series ng execution versus Omega. Looking at the draft, I want to say ang ginawa ng execution, planado nila ang pagkuha sa 1-1. They know that Omega eventually ay pipick up yan ng Baksha, ng Thams. Binigay nila sa Omega. At ang kanilang sagot is to have the double core setup. Professional players actually prefer nila magkaroon ng Roger laban sa Ling in the late game. Tapos sasamahan nila ng isang marksman na 1-1. 1-1 is also a hero that professional players love against Baksha, Thams, yung mga support, mga sustainable na side laners. Kapag makunat nga naman sila, hindi free game yon para sa 1-1 basically speaking. Kaso may mga conditions. Kailangan mag-buy time. Yan naman ang keyword para sa execution, to buy the time. Kaya naman sila kumuha ng Farsa at pati na rin ng Akai. Yuzong is their way para meron silang panglaban sa early stages of the game. At makikita natin mamaya sa highlights kung paano nga ba in-achieve yon ng execution. Para sa Omega naman, real quick, I love the fact na nag-last pick sila ng Natalia. Kasi ito nga naman talaga yung pipiliin mo na hero para hindi makapag-farm yung mga double core setup dahil sa kanyang invade potential. Maybe we can see in the post-game stats, post-match data, hindi nga tayo umabot ng 18 minutes. 17:58 bago pa din tapusin ng 18 minutes. I mean, Omega was also banking on Toshi on the Chango. Nakikita nyo yung hero damage niya? Ito yung way ng Omega para hindi pag-farmin yung execution. Toshi even using this para hindi pumatay. Pang zone out lang kasabay ng Lord, for example, ng unang Lord push ng Omega. Tapos, Hajizi, of course, the machine. The KDA machine. Si Hajizi, dahil sa kanya, maganda ang naging resulta para sa Omega. And we will see that later. Now, if we're gonna be looking at the highlights, isa sa mga una nating makikita dito is yung first blood dahil makikita natin ang priority ng Omega. We did say earlier, di ba? Sinabi natin na ang condition para sa execution ay makapag-farm si Benny Cutie on this 1-1. And actually, ginagawa naman nila yung mga tamang gagawin mo kapag gusto mo makapag-farm yung iyong side lane na 1-1. Manggulo sa ibang part ng mapa yung iba mong mga members, as you can see here in the bottom lane, that's Yuzhong as well as Roger. Tapos si Chakno, babantayan lang niya si 1-1 para makapag-farm at makapag-buy time. Also notice the positioning of the Farsa, it's there. However, Omega, sinetapan nga nila yung first blood na ipe-pressure nila sa tamang pagkakataon ang members ng execution. That's when handa na nga silang lumaban. So, with 3 members here up top, walang makapag-survive. Kahit may Aegis, and syempre meron kasing Tempest of Blades na pwede ka talagang mang-dive. And it will happen once again after 2 minutes, di ba? Or less than 2 minutes, ginamit ulit nila yung Tempest of Blades para mag-dive and 1-1 is out. Toshi, yung paggamit niya ng ultimate dito to really just put down the members of execution and then nagkaroon na nga ng farming battle. Actually, yung execution, nung mid-game, tama yung ginagawa talaga nila eh. You would say, makikita mo sa kanila na hindi sila nag-hard engage, kumukuha lang sila ng mga pick-offs, nilalabanan lang nila, at tinatry lang nila talaga na mag-survive against Omega. So, tama naman yung way nila para ma-prolong yung game. And they're on a good trajectory. However, this play happened at i-credit talaga natin kay The Machine, Hajizi, ang mangyayaring laban. So, Lord Bush, look at the positioning of Hajizi. Perfect. No way for execution para makita siya. At bukod dyan, yung mga tropa niya sa Omega, naghanap na ng gulo dun sa Lord area. As you can see right now. At, di ba, ang pinag-usapan natin, ang condition sa execution ay makapag-defend. And what are the tools to defend? Farsa, as well as 1-1. Nakita na ni Hajizi, The Machine, nahabi niya, meron na ang free pass dito. Ginamit na yung ultimate ni sa gitno. Ginamit na yung nandun sa gitna yung Akai at wala siyang magagawa para makapag-depensa. So, in all totality, sabi ni Hajizi, naisip ni Hajizi, pwede ko nang i-go. And that's exactly what he will do right now, going for the Farsa first dahil kaya niyang patayin yun na mabilis. At kahit napunta yung Lord sa execution, wala silang nagawa. Ang ganda ng laban actually ni Hajizi versus Benny Cutie dito, but the fact that there's no ultimate at wala na ring stock at tama yung timing ni Hajizi, The Machine, the KDA Machine, ay nanalo nga yung Omega dun sa fight na yun. I mean, we can say na napunta sa side ng execration yung Lord, but that didn't matter dahil hinard push na lang sila ng Omega, and this is your MVP of the game. My goodness, all of a sudden ang Omega na ngayon ay nasa match point, and with this 2-1 na victory over execration, baka naman kabahan talaga execration. But then again, execration has been in this part before. But if you want to support Omega, well, we do have QR codes for all of you para matulungan at suportahan nga naman ang hashtag Omega nun, if I pronounce that correctly. Yeah, then again, for execration, they have been in this spot before. Nakita na natin sila na nag-force ng Game 5 nung mga maraming beses na before para mag-reverse sweep. And if you want to support this team, just scan this QR code. We also like to ask for your support naman sa Mobile Legends by scanning this QR code as well or going to the link ng fb.com/mplph.official. And I'm sure that we also want to know what you think about the MPL and Mobile Legends so far. And all you have to do is to fill in the surveys na makikita nyo sa inyong mga screen. Makakatulong po ng malaki ang inyong mga feedback dito sa amin. But then again, here we are in the match point analysis for execration. And habang hinihintay natin yan, gusto ko lang encourage kayo lahat na manood. Mag-stay with us dahil bibigyan din naman namin kayo ng mga giveaway codes. We will have 3 giveaway codes every single end of the game. At syempre, malaman na analysis every time na the post-match happens. Now, in this particular game, in this particular series, ang unang umabot sa threshold or sa match point ay ang side ng Omega. An execration, we know this team. Iba yung parang never say die attitude ng execration. And I'm sure that all of the fans out there are still hoping na mapo-force nga nila ang game number 5. Tingnan natin nga lang, dahil balita ko sa panel, ay nandun ang anak ni Ginoong Valdez. So hindi natin alam kung ano mangyari, but that's it for me from Wolf, the analyst, the solo analyst segment, at ipasa na natin sa match point analysis segment.
Wolf, maraming salamat. Back here at the panel, my name is Leo with Paolo Expert and of course, the heir to the Valdez estate. Chin! Ano sabi ni Papa?
Actually, kanina, nag-text na siya sa akin eh. Kanina nung patapos na yung game ng execration tsaka Omega. Tapos ang sabi daw niya, okay lang daw na... Ay, wait. Oh. Yes pa. Sige pa. Okay. Sige. Sige, thank you pa. So ito na. Hindi, nagbago na yung isip niya. Okay lang daw sana kanina yung 3-1. Hindi na daw. Kailangan daw natin mag-game 5 talaga.
Okay, interesting.
Okay, mag-game 5 na daw talaga tayo.
Alright. So, yesterday, correct me if I'm wrong, Ginoong Valdez's predictions or his requests were not given.
Hindi, actually, pinagbigyan naman, actually, mali lang daw pala ako.
Miscom.
Hindi ko daw naintindihan yung instruction niya.
You know what? I kind of want to hear how Ginoong Valdez talks. Kasi kung yung anak niya mismo hindi nakakaintindi minsan, then, I don't know, I'm just curious. But, kidding aside, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the panelist desk. Here's the desk. Let's talk about this matchup. Ito yung game 1. We already covered a little bit of this. Yes. But I think now seeing game 2 and 3, medyo may context na tayo. Meron ng narrative itong 3-game series na ito. At tama nga, sabi nga ni Wolf, ang unang umabot sa threshold, ang unang nagte-threaten ng elimination ay ang Omega. Lamang sila dito and they're looking to take away Execration's one last shot. Let's remember this, yung unang pagkapanalo ng Omega. What was the key here again? Was it shutting down Hate?
It was shutting down Benny Cutie.
More Benny Cutie. There you go. More Benny Cutie on the choke.
Yes.
Alright, and I think because of this, napatanong ako, no? Sabi ng Black Eyed Peas, where is the love? Tayo, where is the hate? And I think in game number 2, that's where really Hate showed up.
Yes.
And we'll be showing it here via the draft results. It's not necessarily because of Hate eh. Parang iba ang rason.
For you?
Ang dahilan kung bakit nag-online si Hate kanina is yung confidence niya, yung aggressiveness niya, nagbago dahil sa Angela pick. Okay? okay siyang mag-tower dive because of the Angela pick. Pag papatay na siya, may shield na biglang maano sa'yo. Tapos extra movement speed pa and
Right.
sustain.
Yeah.
That's why he was so aggressive on game 2.
Which is not present here, no? Parang
No.
dito, medyo dapat independent ka eh.
Oo, nung game 1.
Lalo na't yung tank mo is back siya. It's not a setter.
Right,
You
right.
have to make your own plays.
Yeah. So, Chin, do you agree? Is that the kind of thing that Hate needed?
Well, yeah. Well, that was one. For me also, I think for me, it was the draft din. Kasi nga, very ang titigas nung draft ng execration eh. Tapos yung main damage nila would be the Ling nga, 'di ba? So I was explaining to you guys kanina off cam. Ako as a Ling user din, actually at some point naging Ling main din ako. Sabi ko mahihirapan akong i-burst down yung heroes nila.
This game 2.
Yeah, nung game 2 with the Yuzong, the Roger, Alice, and yun nga, may Angela pa. So parang very, very hard sustain talaga. So it was looking very steep. And like Pao mentioned kanina, Angela activatable lahat ng
Yes,
heroes
lahat.
ng execration.
Yes.
So na-maximize nila yung draft nila.
Even Chakno, the Chak Mamba came back online, pero medyo iba itsura. I like that medyo may versatility dito si Chakno, at least in the playoffs. We're so used to him doing big ticket plays. Dito parang very reliable. Like,
Reliable.
papasok ako, okay, gusto mag-back out ni Hate, I got you. Pero kung papasok tayo sa siege, pwede rin.
Pressure in the front line,
Yeah.
tama. For the early game for execration here with the Angela pick, si Roger yung gumagawa most of the plays. It was Roger and Angela doing most of the plays. Pero sa late game yung Alice, no?
Yes.
Yung Alice, tas nag-ulti yung Angela sa kanya, ang hirap patayin.
Yeah.
Ang hirap patayin. Not to mention yung late game, pag inultihan rin yan ni Angela late game, it's so annoying. And yung Omega, kung titingnan mo yung draft nila, ano yung solid crowd control na mai-offer nila?
Jawhead.
Only Jawhead. You cannot contain Roger, Alice, and Yuzhong with just Jawhead.
And you're running into Hylos.
Yes, napakahirap. Kaya I think, actually, Omega got outdrafted game number 2.
Exactly, yes.
Yeah.
But let's now look at game number 3 kasi game number 2, sabi nila, where is the Hate? Nandito lang. Kasi si Eto Max nag-aabang. Right? Si Eto Max nag-aabang, si Chakno nag-aabang. And game number 3, ladies and gentlemen, it was a different story. It was somewhere in the middle na parang Hate wasn't shut down. Benny Cutie did some things despite the watchful eye of Hayes. At I think here the draft, you'll see nasaan yung Natalia. Yan, nasa gitna yung Natalia dito. Omega win, but it was placed at the very last moment. And I think it has to be stated here, guys. I believe, I don't know if our analysts believe and agree, you never pick Natalia super early.
Yun yung one of the biggest common mistakes na ginagawa ng ibang team. Sino-show nila yung Natalia kagad, whereas Omega, they drafted this last pick.
Last pick Natalia sila.
Di talaga expected to, but since Exe kinda just shot themselves in the foot with the 1-1 pick, napakahirap mag 1-1 dito at tatanungin ng viewers kung bakit. Bakit? Baxia, pag inultihan ng 1-1 si Baxia, yung ulti niya may damage reduction. Okay? So it's really hard to reset the 1-1 ulti when Baxia ultis.
I mean, you'll trigger it as soon as you can.
Yes.
Pag natalo nun or pag na-target mo, crossbow tang, yung Baxa sayang.
Sayang. Also with the Tamus, napaka-tanky ni Tamus. He's like a semi-tank. I would consider him a semi-tank hero. Si Natalia may immune, right? With the smoke.
Yep.
Si Ling naman, pag inultihan ni 1-1 si Ling, mag-ulti lang yan. Wala nang 1-1 ulti. The only good part here is 1-1 is good against Changi, I guess. Pag nahuli niya si Changi, sure. But Changi is most likely in the back line, which is super hard to reach.
May isa pa ako na note dito. It's in the same draft. The very last ban for Omega was awesome. It was the Claude.
Claude.
No? And that was for Benny Cutie. Kasi
Yes.
iniisip nila na, okay, it looks like they want to give Benny Cutie a secondary core. Nakita nila yon. So they forced the 1-1. Pero may ginawa yung execration sa ban nila.
Yeah.
Which could have been a hero that they needed, right?
Yeah, they banned the Angela, which
they
again,
could
shot
have used
themselves in the
on the Roger and the Yuzhong again.
Yeah.
Sayang yung ban nila.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, fun fact, Hajizi has officially reached the 200 kills milestone and is also the first to do so. So, in the whole of the history of MPL, siya lang ang naka 200 kills so far. So, congratulations to this young man, Hajizi. 200 kills!
That's a lot of kills in professional play. Out of how many matches, though? I don't know.
And to be fair, Hajizi has been here for at least maybe more than half of the MPL's history in the Philippines. I think, hindi ko alam kung nag-change name na ba siya or he's been with other teams prior to Season 4. But, yeah, congratulations. 200 kills.
That's a lot.
Get a cake, tas lagyan mo 200.
I actually thought Carl Tizzy was gonna get 200 first. I guess,
Oo nga.
guess not. Siya yung nauna sa 100, di ba? Si Carl. And then now Haji got 200 first.
Nag-uunahan sila. And, fun fact, at some point, Hajizi and Carl Tizzy were on the same team. So, parang itong Omega, ano siya, parang carry factory. It's like they're really good at making fundamentally sound players and then just letting them do their thing.
Feeling ko, by tomorrow, baka mag-change name na ako. Ako na si Chinizi. Feeling ko dadami na rin yung kills ko pag
That's the thing. Actually, you know what? We'll have to ask Flap how that's working for him. Saka mo gawin. Right? But we'll be seeing more of Flap and Carl later on in the second series of the night. But for now, babalik tayo. It's game number 4 here in this best of 5. Will Omega finally take out Execration, or will there be one more shot for Exe Shot? Balik na tayo to game number 4.
Maraming salamat, Wolf and panelist desk natin, Leo, Shin, and Paulo. Actually, Rob Luna, ikaw na lang ata ang iniintay kasi kung hindi mo na itatanong, ako si Manjizi.
Ay, Manjizi. Oo nga, no? Sige, pag-iisipan ko. Kasi para sa akin, it's a battle of the Noose and the TZ.
Ay, oo. The Noose Clan versus the TZ Nation.
TZ Nation or TZ Brothers.
Pwede, no?
Diba?
Kasi kaya na Zapno talaga nagsimula yung Noose Tsaka Cutie.
Totoo.
No?
Tapos dito naman, syempre, yung mga, yan, sila Curtisi. Minsan, there comes a time nga, even si Toshi, alam ko,
Nag-CZ din eh. Toshizi eh.
Toshizi.
Oo. Ikaw, paano sa'yo?
I have to think about that.
Robizi.
Siguro ako mag-robno ko dito kasi gusto ko lang ng Game 5.
Robno.
Kasi gusto ko ng Game 5 eh. Gusto ko ng Game 5 talaga. And I want to see how Execration bounce back dito sa laro. I think sobrang ganda ng mga points nung
Si Robno. Sorry, nawala ako doon. Natawa ako.
Parang ayaw mo Kasi ganito parang ganito na din niya, Kuya Manjisi ka. Siyempre, ako naman dito sa kabila. Sakto din yung pwesto mo, nasa Omega ka, nasa Execration ako. Diba?
Tama. Sige. Actually, kung iisipin mo nga, Rob Luna, lahat naman tayo, humihiling tayo na makakita pa ng mga mas malulupit na games eh.
Oo naman.
Parang minsan bitin pag 3-0 eh.
Bitin.
No?
Lalo na this is might be the last time na makita natin yung Execration kasi match point sila dito eh.
Oo. Let's see. Dahil na shutdown sila talaga. Parang yung game 1, game 2, ano yun eh, both of the teams, denominate nila isa't isa.
Yes.
Game 3 yung nagtable. Nadaan na lang sa late game mechanical execution.
Oo.
Ni GZ.
Tinawag nga, parang methodical nga daw eh. Methodical, yes.
Oo, in-outplay eh. So, ngayon, ano ang pumapasok sa utak ng Execration? Ano ang nakikita nila ngayon? Tilted ba sila? Stressed out ba sila? They're one game away from elimination. And ang story natin dito is that first time itong dalawang teams mapupunta sa Grand Finals.
Either of the two dito, yes.
Mawawala ba yun ngayon sa Exe? Kasi Omega, gustong-gusto nila kunin yan.
Totoo yan. And gaya nga ng tanong mo kanina, ano nga ba yung pumapasok sa isip ngayon dito ng Execration as they are about to get eliminated dito sa MPL Season 6 playoffs? Iba na natin, isa sa mga hero na sobrang dominant na ginagamit ni Haji.
Wala na. Tanggalin mo na. Respetuhin na lang natin.
Yes.
Sabi dito ng Exe. Kanina pa yan eh.
Kanina pa yan. Though, nabigyan natin ng game number 2, we don't want to face it again. Ibahin natin ang dynamic for the side of Omega kasi kumbaga in terms of momentum na kay Haji na eh. Wag na nating hayaan pa kasi to be honest, kahit nung natalo sila ng game number 2, yung Ling niya is still performing.
Iba talaga eh. Lalo na iba, meron ka talaga yung pag-master mo yung hero, kahit lugi kayo sa lineup. Meron yan eh, 'di ba? Pag kunyari ikaw, master mo yung hero na nanonood ngayon. Kahit makalaban mo yung hero na yan, alam mo kung paano counterin eh.
Yes.
'Di ba? Like for example, trip mo maggulat sa kanila na si Hate ang umaarangkada instead of Bene.
Yeah, well,
ganun eh.
I think it could go either way naman. To be honest, wala namang competition sino ba sa atin yung mas magiging magaling. It's just that na hindi nakakapag-add up doon sa pinaka-buong draft nila yung mga naging hero dito. Specifically on game number 3, yung 1-1, that was like a greedy pick for their side. Pero now, I'm somehow leaning for Omega dahil nakita ko agad dito ang Selena ni Hayes.
The Hayes Selena na nakakatakot, taas ng win rate ngayon sa MPL, pero look at that. 65.9%. Kakasabi lang natin na ang taas ng win rate. At naku po, ba't napapalakpak ka dyan, Rob Luna?
Napapalakpak ako to the point na kung kanina, pinanggulat nila yung Selena, kumbaga yung diversion technique nila, ay, eto na yung post-post for nila. Ngayon, pinik na nila agad. This is almost the same na ginawa nila nung game number 1, and that's also a deny pick para sa execution kasi Farsa would best fit dito ngayon sa lineup ng Exe.
Sa Roger at sa Tams.
Yes.
So ninakaw nila dito ang taas ng vision control ngayon sa side ng Omega. Kailangan maghanap ng execution dito ng pangsagot. Lalong-lalo na mukhang ilalaban na naman ng Omega itong early game. Sabi ng Omega, gusto nyo suntukan na talaga. Ngayon, Exe, Roger first pick. Naging trend to, Rob. Pero okay. Hellcurt third pick, dual core setup. Napapaturo ka dyan, Rob.
The reason why ko siya tinuturo, if it's gonna be Omega, kasi ang the usual answer, wala pang tank ang Omega dito. Execration is the one who picked the Hellcurt. Ang usual na iisipin dito for like drafting is that you want to have the Akai.
Oo.
Kasi it's normal, di ba? Kumbaga, pagka nag-darkness fall, dikit ka lang sa mga squishy hero nyo, rather your YSS or even your Farsa, then pag lumapit si Hellcurt, you can dance. But I guess both of the teams already knows that. So, it might be Execration want to take the Akai or rather ban dito nila para sa side, and that's gonna be it.
Oo nga, kinuha na nila. So, ano pa mga matitirang tanks ngayon? Rob, wala nang Akai, wala nang pang counter dito sa Hellcurt na kapag pumasok, Hurricane Dance, Gucci Wap. Ano ngayon? Kasi ang lambot ng side ng Omega, and mukhang sabi ng Exe, kala nyo naman, di kami marunong ng mga counter picks.
Oo.
Basic lang sa amin yan. Sabi nila dito, silence easy.
And mukhang ang inisip na kagad dito ng Omega, they might want to try kung ano yung nagpanalo sa Exe and which is the Angela, kaya naging one reason kung bakit naging matapang si Hate, just like Paolo did said kanina. The reason bakit naging aggressive si Hate because he knows there is the heart guard. He knows Etomax would back him up. But now the Angela was taken away dito from Omega para sa Execration. Now, what's available for Execration as their support? Chango could be an answer. Pwede rin tayo dito. Valir, I think, hindi pa rin naman nababan. But as for the tank, will they go for the Hylos? That's the question.
Yun ang tanong. Kasi Hylos, parang ako para sa akin medyo 10 bits eh. 10 bits yung yung late game. Yun yung akin eh. Pero actually ang lakas ng possibility. Ang lakas ng possibility. Nakita na rin natin yun kanina nung game number 2. Number 2 ba yun? Number 3?
Number 2. That was the Hylos game. Well, I guess Hylos might still work for them kasi the only thing that Hylos did during that game was just, of course, to tank. Number 2 is to absorb and to provide vision together with the Angela. Kumbaga, pina-funnel niya, talagang pinipilit niya na mag-react sa kanya dito ang Omega. But, the Hilda will be banned.
Hilda, hindi, pinik. Nagsalita eh.
We still don't have our final ban. It's gonna be a graphic bug, ladies and gentlemen. Pero with
Hilda pick para sa Exe. Okay, so we got the confirmation na Hilda pick para sa Exe. Yung bans, I think hindi na nagmamatter. Titignan natin ngayon is picks. Right? So, Hilda pick para dito sa pang-apat. We're waiting for Omega's last 2 picks. Rob. So, with the Hilda at Execration, ano ang options ngayon ng Omega dito?
Honestly, they could go for an Atlas dito
Atlas?
Kasi panay melee yung damage ng Execration and that's where an Atlas works best. Diba? Umaga, hindi ka na mahihirapan. Or was it the Jawhead?
Jawhead ang narinig ko. May
guess.
isa. Okay.
And Yuzhong.
Kasi hindi nagsalita eh.
Oo.
Nag-pick kasi hindi nagsalita si ate girl. So, Yuzhong and Jawhead. Dalawang makunat na frontlines. Dalawang pang setup sa arrows, sa Mountain Shocker, at syempre sa ultimate ng Farsa. Pero ang kukunat din dito ng Execration 4 na melee.
Yeah, Hilda kasi yung tank
Hilda
nila
yung
dyan
tank
So we're just waiting for what?
A mage.
Yes, a mage.
An Eto Max Zero. Hinihintay natin mage. Chang'o is, I think, hindi ako sure kung open yung Chang'o kasi hindi natin kita yung bans. Pero hindi nagsalita.
Hindi nagsalita. Silence. It might be a new
Luyi.
hero. Probably, oo. Kasi hindi nagsalita si Lady
Hindi
Announcer.
nagsalita eh. Wala pa ako naririnig. Khalid.
Ay,
Uy, 5 melee setup.
Is that Khalid for Execration?
Oo. Walang mage.
Wow. Brusco kung Brusco
Brusco
yan.
Brothers.
Oo. It might work to the point na since this is medyo squishy naman dito. Kumbaga ang setup nila dito is like run and gun. Tangkihin natin yung mga ibabato sa atin dito ng Omega. Pasukin natin yung backlines. Yun yung plano siguro dito for Execration. But meanwhile, of course, this is still mages. They have the reach advantage. Will they take advantage? Yun yung gusto kong sabihin.
Ang hirap sabihin. Alam mo, Rob, gusto ko talagang umabot tayo sa 5. Pero pakiramdam ko naligaw yung Exe sa draft eh. Ako lang sa part ko lang
Totoo yun. One thing din kasi doon is that the Mountain Shocker dito ng YSS.
Huli yun lahat,
Kasi melee kayo eh. So that only means na magdidikit-dikit kayo and the Mountain Shocker would works a lot. I mean, sobrang maximize nung ulti dito ng YSS.
Makikita natin kung effective ba itong kakaibang lineup ng Execration 2-tank setup. No mage on their side. Laban sa Omega na double mage.
Yes. We've seen this almost yesterday from NXP Solid. They did, but only the Jawhead.
Oo nga
The Hilda and the Jawhead. Kumbaga, somehow both utility tanks yung makikita natin. But, medyo mas, kaya ito siguro yung isang magandang way doon. Medyo mas nagiging aggressive ngayon ang Execration.
Oo, kasi alam nilang makunat sila sa umpisa. Kagaya niyan kay Chakno, pero makikita siya dito ng trap. Hajizi also falling low. There you go. Tama yung sinabo mo dito, Rob Luna. Magiging aggressive ang Exe, pero mukhang bawirin sila. Actually, hindi. Kasi delayed si Hajizi, so Exe getting that team fight.
Yes, definitely. And not only that, is that we also have here from October 27 to November 13. You have to log into your game and participate in the Tricksters Village event and get Halloween candies for treasure spin. Each spin will cost only 4 Halloween candies and you can get up to 7 each day from completing the task. Terry's last special skin, Hammer Giant, ay mapapasa inyo and guaranteed to in 10 spins and you don't want to miss this one.
Pero speaking of guaranteed, guys, kung nakuha nyo na yan, nakakuha ang Omega dito ng pitas and that's going to be Eto Max. Ang nakakuha ng kill ay si Hajizi. So bawi din si Hajizi even though nawalan siya ng buff. Even though level 4 si Hate, kukunin mo yun kasi gold pa rin. Yung nakuha sa yung nabawi niya.
Yes.
Oo.
Hindi naman totally nawala yung buff sa kanya na ano lang, napunta lang kay Hit.
Na-delay,
Kasi parang ililish niya dapat yung orange buff para kay Haji. Yun nga lang, ang ganda nung naging pwesto doon kanina ng Execration. Talagang inasahan din nila yung ginagawa. Kumbaga na-spot out na nila yun nung game number 3, nung akay si Chakno. So alam nila yung rotation ng Omega.
Yep. Okay. So, Execration with the lead na nakuha nila kanina, anong conversion ang makikita natin? Mukhang itutuloy nila ang laban dito sa bandang top lane. Hate, mukhang magbaback away na lang siya. Magsisigito ang matitira dito. Haze, tinamaan siya dito ng side. At tinamaan pa siya dito ng mga access. So, grabe. tama yung sinabi mo, Rob. Execration. Mas matapang sila ngayon dahil alam nilang makunat sila at level 1 up to level 4.
Yon.
At wala ngayong damage output pa ang Omega. Pero I've spoke too soon. Omega kahit papano na ibabawi nila yung mga kills na naikukuha ng Team Exe.
Exactly. Yun yung yun din yung power spike din talaga for execration. I mean, having Eto Max na continuous aggression, makuha agad yung power of wilderness, lalo na ang squishy ng tatlong miyembro dito ng Omega, that is from the Selena, the Farsa, and dito yung YSS.
Totoo. At mukhang hindi pa tapos ang paggera dito ni Chakno ha. Talagang itutuloy-tuloy niya. Matagal siya nabubuhay dito pero 4 agad.
Pero that is a cause for a turtle. That's only a diversion, Manjin.
Ay, naisusulat pala. Sabi ng Exe dito, misdirection ang ginawa nila. So, a kill for a turtle, execration still getting the upper hand sa gold. Pero okay lang ba yun, Rob? Kasi
I guess.
parang okay pa din eh, no?
Oo, okay siya. Why? Kasi pag nag-scale dito ang execration, if they could be able to build up like magic defense dito, go for the Athena, go for the Oracle dito, and somehow, matank na nila dito yung mga magic damage na ibabato. Yes, there is a YSS, Mountain Shaker was there, pero pag naging tanky na magka-antikiras dito, kumbaga ang setup dito ng execration is just to be tanky, tanggapin natin lahat ng damage at pag di nila tayo napatay, kami ang papatay sa inyo.
Totoo, Rob. Pwede ba nating sabihin niya na tanky next?
Pwede.
Ayos ba yun?
Pwede.
Naisusulat. Bumanat lang ako ng onte. Pero kasi, nag-agree ako dahil mukhang defense is the best offense ngayon sa side ng Exe. Habang si LGZ ay nandito naman, eto Max ay namula kinalmot ni Hayes. So yeah, men, ito lang naman yung kailangan gawin ng Exe eh. Bibuild sila ng mga magic anti-magic. Tapos okay na sila.
Oo.
Kasi yung Yi Xunshin, hindi niya naman ma-atake lahat eh. Unlike Lancelot, unlike Ling. So mukhang, baka ito nga yung bagong formula. Baka
Brusco
ano lang
brothers sila
talaga,
dito
idadaan lang sa pagka-brusco.
Oo, ganun talaga yung ginagawa nila and execration dito. Kumbaga, in terms sa ibang banat nila, minamama nila dito ang Omega to the point na pagka na-miss position dito ang Omega, pwede sila agad na mabigyan. Kung makikita mo nga sa mapa, walang nagpupush dito sa mga tore.
Nahihirapan sila. Tingnan mo, ang Omega tatlo ang tinatangki ni Eto Max. Talagang nilakaran lang nila. Eto Max, nilakad matatag niya lang eh.
Oo. And one thing about this dito sa lineup ng execration, they are self-sustaining. Meaning to say, yan, Chakno, manggugulo, half HP siya. Wow, wala naman akong pake. I could heal myself. Now, Hilda, manggugulo. Pwede akong tumambay ulit sa bush. Heal na naman ako. Hindi nila kailangan umuwi.
Strong, independent men.
Yes.
Pero si Hilda, women. Strong, independent men. Ganon yung mga heroes nila dito. Probably si Hate lang yung problema na mamamatay agad. Pero meron naman kasi siyang pantakas.
Totoo yan. And even the Hellcurt.
So, hirap ngayon ng Omega kumuha ng mga pick-offs. Yung lineup kasi nila na to, game number 1 nakita na ng Exe eh. Ngayon, sabi ng Exe, ang problema natin na mamatay tayo dun sa pick-offs nila eh. So ngayon, kailangan ng Omega, pag may nakita silang isa, dapat mapatay agad.
Yun.
Kaso ang hirap gawin nun.
Ang hirap talaga. Sobrang laki ng ginagawa ditong space dito nung dalawang support tank dito ng execration. Eto Max, together muntikan pa siyang makaligtas doon kung hindi dumating si Hit. Pero yung time na nabibigay, yung space for Benny Cutie, for Sagitno, or even dito kay Hate, sobrang laki.
At saka, parang ang nangyayari, yung Omega, para lang makakill, maghahabol sila na maghahabol. No? At lagi mong tatandaan, huwag kang maghahabol kasi pangarap lang ang hinahabol. Ngayon,
At utang.
Oo. At ngayon, ang Exe, kagaya nga ng sinabi mo, dahil sa paghahabol ng Omega, si Hate, okay. Hate is doing great.
Exactly. And even Benny Cutie, 0-0-0 KDA siya dito, pero that doesn't mean he's not doing anything. Kasi yung dalawang core hero din ng execution sobrang free farm.
Free farm talaga. At mukhang eto na kailangan na ata nila yung damage ng turret. Pero hindi pa rin sapat.
Hindi sapat.
Ito yung type ng laro ng Omega na kung ihahalin tulad natin sa panliligaw, binigay mo na lahat, binigay mo yung buong puso mo, pero bandang huli, hindi ka pa rin sinasagot.
Hindi ka pa
Ganon
din.
yung nangyayari ngayon sa laban na to, Rob.
Oo, ganun na. Binato na lahat dito. Pero may nabato pa rin naman si Eto Max.
Pero ang tagal nun.
Oo, ang tagal. Ilang beses na pangungulit yon from Eto Maxwell. He actually has 5 kills dito. That's a good pick-off, ha? Para
Oo.
sa side ng Omega, getting Benny Cutie there.
Pero sabi ng Omega, alam mo Kuya Manjin, ang kailangan lang namin ay consistency at persistency.
Yes.
Persistent. Tuloy-tuloy lang. Wala kami kahit napakatagal patumbahin. As long na napatutumba namin, gagana at gagana ang lineup namin at ganyan ang ginagawa ng Team Omega sa
Yes.
laban na to.
Totoo yan, totoo yan. At ito pa, isa sa mahirap dito for the side of Omega, they're going out to their, their winning condition, of course, is to burst someone down. Nandito yung pana ng Selena. They have this burst damage coming dito sa Feather Effect. Pero look at that!
Grabe!
Halos tinangkin na lang ni Sagit Nu yung damage dito ng Farsa.
Sabi-
And what more, yung sa iba pang miyembro.
Sabi ni Sagit, no, huyo. Dinaanan lang, Rob.
Oo. Ito na, ang nangyayari kasi dito, Manjin, is that nagbi-build up na yung mga items ng execration, their defense items were already up to the point na hindi na kaya ng mga damage na mababato sa kanila ng Omega.
Oh my! Ang daming binubuhos dito ng Omega, pero wapak sa Exe. Ito na si Hate! Pero na-miscalculate ni Hate yung damage output to the point na siya pa na-outplay apat dito sa side ng execution ng Gagana. Pero ayun yung ultimate ni Toshi. Tignan natin kung magkakakanselan habang si Toshi dito ay lilipad papunta doon sa kabila. Inaatake na ngayon ni Hajizi si Khalid pero wala pa ring damage. Oh my glove! Ang tagal mamatay dito ng Exe pero buhay pa din ang Omega. Still, it's a 1-1 exchange.
Oo, it's a 1-1 exchange at nakapag-invade doon si Benny Cutie. What a sneaky play, getting the purple buff dito ng Omega. I guess Execration is still winning this going into the late game. Nakita niyo, the only thing that namatay doon si Hellkurt kasi the-focus siya doon eh.
Oo.
Diba? Medyo naipit siya. Yes, napatay niya pa rin naman doon yung Selena. But kung hindi namatay doon si Hate, it's a definite win from Execration.
Oo nga eh, habang... Ay, nako! Royal Rumble na nangyari, Lob. Hindi ko na naiintindihan kasi yung Omega, feeling nila, lamang na sila. Yung alam mo yung tipong tumama yung pana, uy, ang ganda. Uy, tapos si Joed, uy, ang ganda, combo.
Totoo.
Na-combo natin. Pero yung alam mo, na-combo na nila lahat, tapos hindi pa rin patay.
Totoo.
Tapos yung execution, ay boy pa rin ako.
Yes, yes.
Ako, ganun yung nangyayari.
Saka mapapansin mo rin dito, Benjin eh. Had GC dito, he was used to have items agad like may BOD na siya
BOD.
dito, pero na-force siyang bumuo ng
Oo.
Dreadnought Armor. Kasi nga, yung brusco damage, yung raw damage na ibinabato ng mga execration, sobra-sobra para sa HP pool dito ng isang YSS.
Gusto ko yung tinawag mo doon, Rob, brusco damage. Yung dinaan sa brusco damage, hindi siya makunat eh.
Oo.
Yung damage yung makunat.
Yun kasi,
May ganun.
ang point kasi, yes, malakas yung damage nyo, pero kung hindi nyo naman matutuluyan, baliwala lang. Kasi
Baliwala.
maghihil lang din,
Ayan,
parang
ayan,
ganyan.
ako naman.
Muntik pang mabuhay from the Kotaran Inferno dun si Sagit Nu.
Yung akala mo sa boxing, mabibilangan na ng 10, pero hindi pa pala. Ganun ang nangyayari. Even though 11-6 ang laban, pero Rob Luna ang nangyari dito mukhang Omega, sila pa rin ang in control. Even though hindi nila napapatay ang Exe, wala ding nagagawa ang Exe na pang-control sa mapa.
Yes, pero take note, walang nababasag pa dito ang Omega.
Naku po, wala.
Parang talagang nagkatotoo yata yung tawag ni Papa.
Parang tumawag yung tatay ni Chin Valdez.
Oo, actually tumawag
Oo,
kanina talaga yung sa match point analysis ng panel natin.
Tumawag pa talaga.
Tumawag talaga. Regardless daw sinong manalo, we have to have a game 5.
Kaya naman pala, ang hirap. Guys, kung ikaw ay supporter ng Execration, ito na ata ang pinakamalupit nilang laro. Sustain is the name of the game.
Look at Chuck,
Tinuos na lahat ng Feather Airstrike pero buhay pa din sabay out ng Raging Sandstorm. Rob, eto na nga. Nagpagabi si Hate dito. Tinarget yung Dragon. Tatamaan ba si Hate? Hindi. Nasa likod dito si Benny Cutie. Habang si Curtizy, ako din. Makunat din ako. 100% na ito. Pero naku po. wala pa ring mapapala. Hindi ko na alam, Rob. Hindi ko na naiintindihan. Hindi ko na alam kung ano ba mas makunat. Chicharong na hanginan o execration ba? Napakahirap, pero sabi dito ng Omega, saglit lang, may damage pa rin kami. Eto na nga, Haze, Hajizi, trace this in. Habang double kill ang nakuha ni KDA Machine. Hit naman, mag-isa, habang si Benny Cutie kumalmot na. Roar, sabi dito ni Benny Cutie. Habang si Sagitno, Codrant Inferno, tumatakbo ang side ng Omega. Pero, nasan yung damage ngayon? Benny Cutie, siya na lang mag-isa. Yung panay hindi tumama. Shutdown, 3. Laban sa isang naging kapalitan ng laban.
Kailangan makuha ng Omega to, or kung hindi, masasayang lang din yung clash na yon. Pero looks like this gonna be an uncontested na Lord, and I guess Omega medyo ang ganda na pagdikit-dikit nila doon sa may bandang gitna, nasulit nila yon with the Gillette. Instant replay, makikita nyo rito, dikit-dikit dito yung mga melee heroes ng Execration. That's the reason kung bakit sumakit yung damage doon ni Toshi at nakaltakas pa siya doon.
Ay, kailangan lang pala ipagdikit-dikit eh. Hindi mo pa, alam mo, lagi mong tatandaan, Rob, paano mo masosolve ang problema? Kailangan mong isolve ng isa-isa.
Oo.
Ay, mali. Ewan ko na.
Pwede. Actually,
Pwede,
tama ka
oo.
doon. Kasi nagkaroon na ng specific na target dito ang Omega.
Omega, oo nga. Habang si Chaco dito ay tatamaan ng pana. Oh my, wala pa rin sila napapatay. Ejector ay lalabas dyan. Eto Max, kalahati ang kanyang buhay. Kurt Tizzy will also be tanky dito sa bandang gitna. Execration right now, holding on for their lives. Naku po, sa Gitno, he's falling low. Naglagay pa siya ngayon ng sights niya dito habang ang Omega ay uubusin na lahat ng mga resources na gustong kunin ng Execration.
Yes, ang ganda ng ginagawa ni Hit dito. Kanina medyo hindi sila nagkakaroon ng specific target. Kumbaga nagkakahiwa-hiwalay yung mga damage nila. Now, ang ginagawa ng Omega, ejector sa isa, i-focus natin yon.
Focus fire is the key. Makunat lang kayo, pero wala yung damage nyo. Sabi ng Omega dito sa Gitno, papasok mag-isa. Desert Tornado, nasa na? Yung mga kampi niya, wala. Naku po! Execration! Malapit nang masira ang pangarap. Malapit nang balagbagin ng Omega ang pangarap ng Exe-Shot. Omega getting near the championship finals.
Ito na, pasok sila dito. Sagit nung matigas pa nga naman din, I guess, ay okay pa yon. Nakat nila yung minion wave, I guess, Kuya Manjin. Hindi pa rin to basta-basta para sa Omega. Medyo risky to kung pipilitin nilang pumasok doon sa loob.
Kailangan ng Omega dito ng disiplina dahil onti na lang naaamoy na nila. Naaamoy na nagsiscatter all throughout the map. Ayaw na nila kasi pag may tumama ng pana, dapat instant kill.
Instant kill. And ito nga, yata baka sagit no dito. But anyway, isa pa pala, no? Hindi pala na-maximize dito nila yung Hilda rin. Kasi hindi siya umabot doon sa stack na kailangan
stacks,
niya.
oo.
Wherein pwedeng malaking power spike for Execration if ever man na-activate nila yung power of Wilderness.
Oo nga, nahihirapan ngayon. Ang Exe talaga sa damage. Bitin na bitin eh. Nako po! Pumapana! Sapul ka na naman!
E2 Max! Saan ka pupunta? The arrows! Oh my G! OMG! Clutch! Speak of 8 deaths ngayon, 32 seconds down si Edo Max. Meron pang Mountain Shocker para mas matat ang execration. Ito na ba ang Lord?
Malaki ang chance
Finale.
dito I don't think Omega wants to risk this one. Why? Dalawa ang retribution na hawak dito ng execration. Yes, posible ito na makuha ng Omega pero there's always a chance for a steal. And katulad niyan, ninakaw ni Hit yung
Okay.
orange dito. Dito,
Okay.
ni GC.
Hate, actually, inattempt pa ni Hate kunin si Hajizi. Doon sa game na yon, dito na tayo tutungo.